One day the sky suddenly went dark, as if the apocalypse had arrived, and that very day countless strange stone pillars fell from above. Shortly after, a gigantic barrier deployed and covered the whole world, and humanity watched in horror as towering columns of rock shot up into the sky. Then the monsters known as calamity spirit beasts broke through the barrier and invaded the human world, a colossal world-ending demon appearing and casually crushing living beings beneath its feet. Following it were countless other demons, swarming like ants. They slaughtered humans brutally, the air filled with panic screams echoing everywhere. Many people were killed instantly. Some desperately struggled to flee their claws. The big intersection had lost its usual look, left in ruins with bodies strewn about, fresh blood splattered, and savage monsters roaming. They seemed granted destructive power, sweeping everywhere, beams of energy lashing out at any survivors they spotted. A mother clutched her child and ran. In the face of danger, she shoved her child forward to protect them. Suddenly, a voice called Itsuki's name. Itsuki. Itsuki jumped and turned to Seiya standing beside him. She curiously asked, "What's up? You just zoned out." He replied, "Nothing." Seiya eyed Itsuki suspiciously. "Really? Look at your tear-streaked face." Then she asked, "So why are you crying?" Rimuru stepped up from behind, slinging an arm over Itsuki's shoulder. "You're sleepy, right? You'd usually be asleep by now. Today's an impromptu whole school gathering, and that teacher, his outfit is kind of weird." On stage, teacher Thurfong, clad head to toe in a peculiar outfit, announced, "After the spirit beasts appeared, individuals capable of resisting them rose within the community. They are called awakeners. 10 years ago, during the largest spirit beast assault at the north bank of the Lamb River, awakeners from around the world gathered, crossed the river, and pushed them back. That battle became known as the River Crossing War." He continued, "Since then attacks have lessened, but recently the number of falling stone pillars has surged. A large-scale attack similar to the River Crossing War could very well occur in the near future." Rimuru looked at him in surprise. "That man is the supreme commander of the northern continent, Nento." Itsuki mentally noted the name. "Nento, I'm sure I've heard that name before. I pictured an old hunched man with a long beard, but he looks weirder than I imagined." Rimuru added, "Despite his appearance, he's the first awakener. Thanks to him, we learned about the stone pillars and the spirit beasts. Furthermore, he's the most powerful awakener. Even Jin Taewa, the one titled the Light of Humanity, was once his student." Nento announced, "Recent research indicates that even ordinary people who haven't awakened can become awakeners with a certain probability by touching the stone pillar. Today I'm here for all of you to do just that. Become awakeners and dedicate yourselves to the fight against the spirit beasts." As he finished speaking, energy radiated from his palm and enveloped the stage, and a giant stone pillar rose up from the ground. The students shouted excitedly, "A stone pillar! Is this magic? What's so amazing about this? This feels like a dream. Please turn me into an awakener." Rimuru gleefully asked Itsuki, "Do you hear that? We finally have a chance to become awakeners." Itsuki hung his head and muttered, "Finally." Seeing Itsuki leave, Rimuru called from behind, "Hey, don't leave me." Seiya stepped in front to block him, calling, "Wait, Itsuki, wait your turn." But Itsuki ignored her and brushed past. His eyes flashed a sinister red, voice betraying excitement. "Finally, this day has come." On stage, people took turns placing their hands on the pillar to test it. A guard beside it announced, "No good. Next." Classmates voiced worry. "That guy set records in his first year. Even an athlete like him couldn't do it. How could I possibly?" A girl advised. "Maybe athletic ability has nothing to do with it. It's too soon to give up." The guard's calm voice rang out, "Next," but failures kept being called. The group muttered, "No one's awakened yet. I thought this would be easy. Is our school going to fail completely?" The next name was read. "Next, Hikaru Oshi." A girl called out, "I really don't want that guy to become an awakener." Her friend agreed. "He's already a bully. If he awakens, it'll be a nightmare." A boy pointed at the stage in alarm. "Look, the pillar's changing." Electric arcs crackled around the pillar, and Hikaru Oshi. He smugly thought, "After this, Nento and the beauty at his side will have to notice me." An info panel displayed. Hikaru Oshi, Humanity Rank 0 Profession. Elementalist, Lightning Talent. Private Rank 2 Stats. Attack 5, Speed 3, Defense 2, Mana 2, Total 12. Ajaha said irritably, "Finally someone at Rank 0. Total stat is usually 5, but he has 12. Guess he's better than normal." Hikaru Oshi was smug. "Didn't old man Nento have something to say to me? The first awakener is here." But he was shoved aside as Itsuki stepped forward. Hikaru Oshi, veins bulging, snarled, "What do you think you're doing? Touching me with your filthy hands. Want to die?" The students below whispered, "Who is that? He's cutting in line." Someone recognized him. "That's Itsuki from Class 5. He's doomed. Once Hikaru Oshi targets you, there's no escape." Ajaha whispered, "I feel an incredibly intense emotion from that student." Itsuki placed his hand on the pillar. He thought, I've engraved every detail of that day into my mind, so I'll never forget my hatred for the spirit beasts. My resolve is completely different from everyone else's. A look of astonishment appeared in Nento's eyes. Behind Itsuki, an awe-inspiring guardian deity seemed to manifest. The energy around the pillar surged violently. The space seemed to freeze. A mighty power bloomed like a giant flower, covering the stage and spreading across the school. Students covered their mouths in horror. Some collapsed. Insane. This looks flashier than Hikaru Oshi's awakening. That flower's hundreds of meters tall. Rimuru shared the excitement. Itsuki, you did it. Ageha couldn't hide her astonishment. This only happens when the rarest profession appears, the exterminator. Nento, intrigued. I wonder how strong he'll be. I'm very eager to see this young man. Hikaru Oshi was indignant, veins bulging as his aura was stolen. Itsuki was even more shocked. Where am I? Have I awakened? His consciousness was seated cross-legged inside a blooming flower. A notification panel appeared, astonishing Itsuki. Itsuki humanity rank indeterminate profession. Exterminator talent, Nirvana special grade fixed level. Stats increase when learning new skills, removes all negative effects and fully restores. Skill, Super Simulation Grade Z, analyzes enemy attacks and allows mastery of counter skills. Stats, Attack 0, Speed 0, Defense 0, Mana 0, Total 0. Itsuki scowled, everything is 0. A cascade of notifications popped up. Learn Z-rank skill, Super Simulation, Special Nirvana talent activated, all stats increased by 200. He rejoiced inwardly, I get it. If I learn skills via Super Simulation, I'll gain stats through Nirvana. Even if I can't level up, I can still grow stronger in my own way. This gave Itsuki fierce confidence. I don't know what level this makes me equivalent to, but I'm definitely an awakener now. I'll wipe out all those calamity spirit beasts. Light from the blooming flower radiated in all directions, making everyone gasp. So bright, my eyes. In that blinding light, Itsuki's silhouette appeared, full of swagger. That was unbearable for Hikaru Oshi. Hikaru flew into a rage, eyes glowing red. This can't be. He hurled a bolt of lightning through the crowd. A loser like you should know your place. The electricity snaked from the back toward Itsuki on the stage. Hikaru Oshi swore, I'll wipe you out with the skill I just learned, Silver Serpent. As the first lightning strike reached him, Itsuki's info panel appeared. Detected C-rank skill, Silver Serpent. Super Simulation activated. Analysis progress, 27%, 57%, 69%. In a flash, Itsuki transformed into a streak of white electricity and vanished from the stage. Classmates gasped, where'd Itsuki go? There was lightning and he just disappeared. At 88% progress, Itsuki appeared like the Grim Reaper behind Hikaru Oshi. He panicked and broke into a cold sweat. He's behind me. Damn it, I can't move. Itsuki's cold voice whispered in his ear, be thankful you're human. If you were a spirit beast, I'd have killed you 100 times over. After regaining his senses, Hikaru Oshi slumped to the ground in terror. Murmurs went around. Since when was Itsuki there? Hikaru Oshi freaked out and collapsed. When the progress hit 100%, Itsuki thought, since it's only a C-rank skill, the analysis is really fast. Silver Serpent analysis complete. Acquired C-rank skill, Thunder Seal 3. Thunder Seal 3 level 1 activated. Can absorb lightning attacks of C-rank or lower, increases speed by 50% when releasing absorbed energy. Uses 0.3. Passive, plus 5% speed per absorbed C-rank lightning attack, currently 0%. Learn Thunder Seal 3 level 1. All stats plus 10. Removes all negative effects and fully restores. Itsuki reappeared before everyone, lightning crackling around him along with blooming petals. Classmates marveled, now Itsuki's covered in thunder, the lights even brighter than Hikaru Oshi's. Hikaru Oshi panicked. How the hell did that guy learn a skill like that? His stats went up again. Suddenly the sky darkened and heavy raindrops began to fall. Classmates exclaimed, it was bright a moment ago, rain, something's falling. Through the downpour, a giant stone pillar fell from the sky. Ageha gasped, a stone pillar, why now of all times? Nento continued, and here whole school gathering is suspended. Everyone evacuate the campus immediately according to the drill plan. He thought to himself, no doubt about it, I'm their target. Ageha advised, run, fighting isn't our forte. Nento shook his head, if we run too, it'll only cause more panic. Look, that boy is braver than us by far. While classmates panicked and ran the other way, only Itsuki bravely moved forward, toward the pillar crashing down onto the stage. Ageha couldn't believe it. Why aren't you running? The stone pillar crashed down, causing a hefty aftershock. Dust billowed thick. Rimuru cried out in fear, hey, a spirit beast is coming, everyone get out of here. Itsuki said quietly, I'll wipe them all out. Rimuru worried, what are you saying? If you don't run, you'll die. Seiya agreed, Rimuru's right, you just awakened, you can't take it on. Let the other awakeners handle. But Itsuki wouldn't listen. His voice soothed them. Trust me. Seiya dragged Rimuru away. Fine, if you die, don't blame me. Rimuru still fretted. Is he serious? That's a spirit beast, a walking killing machine. No one knew that Itsuki was absolutely ecstatic inside. Of all things, the very first enemy after awakening is the same type that killed my parents. Talk about terrible luck. Wait, that's actually perfect. The spirit beast's info popped up. Bone Soldier 10,369, level 8 talent. Rank 2, plus 100% defense. Talent nullified if enemy attack exceeds defense skill. Bone Fire B rank stats. Attack 15, speed 10, defense 120 plus 120, mana 30, total 295. It loomed before Itsuki, ready for the first battle. Itsuki hesitated. Should I try the skill I just learned? Lightning flared around him. In a flash, Itsuki lunged straight at the Bone Soldier. He swore to himself, I won't let anyone die ever again. A palm crackling with lightning slammed toward the Bone Soldier. A thunderous boom rocked the stage, dust soaring into the air. From afar, classmates turned and gasped. Oh my god, Itsuki's so strong. Maybe we don't need to run after all. Can't believe he blew it away with one punch. Lan Lam thought to herself. A rookie just awakened who can blast an 8th tier calamity spirit beast. No to praised, Itsuki's courage and power are on a whole different level from other rank zeros. But even so, defeating a Bone Soldier seems impossible. They have two annoying strengths. First, a talent that massively boosts defense. Second is the Bone Fire skill, flames that can incinerate anything. On stage, Itsuki was being hit by Bone Fire. The Bone Soldier's undying blue flames engulfed. His two close friends shouted in worry, Itsuki. Hikaru Oshi sneered with glee. Know your place. When Bone Fire hits you, you'll be nothing but ash. A notification appeared. Detected B rank skill, Bone Fire. Super simulation activated, progress. 1%, 25%, Itsuki noticed. Analysis speed increases whenever an enemy uses a skill directly on him. Ageha worried, not even a level 10 Awakener would survive a direct hit from that. But seeing Itsuki completely unhurt, she marveled. Who would have thought a new genius could kill a calamity spirit beast before it matures? Analysis progress. 77%, 81%, Itsuki tore open his outer shirt. Inside, white bone-like structures showed through. He thought, so this is what being burned feels like, it must hurt. His mother's familiar face flashed in his mind. Half of her face burned away by Bone Fire. Nento watched and realized, Itsuki still hasn't used his full strength. He declared coldly, right, once the analysis finishes, you'll die. Update, analysis progress 100%. The group lost faith. Isn't this asking too much of someone who just awakened? I was foolish to trust that guy, but one boy still held a sliver of hope. Look, that lotus-shaped light is back. If it's Itsuki, he'll pull off another miracle. Itsuki was impatient. Now what skill will I learn this time? System update, Bone Fire analysis complete. Acquired, Black Eye Secret rank 2. Activation effect, consumes mana to continuously form ice on the body's surface. Can block fire-type skills of B rank or lower. Passive effect, plus 10% defense when blocking fire-type B rank or lower skills, currently 0%. Black Eye Secret rank 2 acquired. All stats plus 20%. Removes all negative effects and fully restores. New stats, attack 230 plus 21, speed 230 plus 21, defense 230 plus 210, mana 230 plus 210, total 920 plus 840. Itsuki was convinced, even after going all out earlier, I couldn't break its defense, but with my attack stat boosted this much, I'll pull it off. His body returned to perfect health, not a scratch left. Itsuki stood wrapped in the brilliant blue flower. Classmates cheered, oh my god, he's alive. Told you, I knew he'd do it. That full heal is basically a miracle. Ageha wondered, does he have a healing skill? But didn't he just use a lightning type skill? Nento pondered. They say the exterminator is the most mysterious vocation, but Itsuki is an exception. Who knew he could fully heal like that? Can he even recover if his vital organs are cut off or his brain destroyed? I'm curious about this skill's limits. The Bone Soldier kept launching Bone Fire, trying to finish off Itsuki. The blue flames surged forward fiercely. The blue flower enveloped Itsuki entirely, heat radiating fiercely. An armor of ice formed around him, leaving only eyes glinting a dangerous red. Just as the Bone Fire came down, Itsuki, lightning fast, teleported to its back. A giant towering arm crackling with electricity was raised. He had shifted into combat form, a taller body wrapped in full armor. Itsuki launched a second strike, a bolt of heavenly lightning that sliced across the Bone Soldier. Witnesses were stunned. He was behind the spirit beast in a flash, like teleporting. Only an Awakener can see his movements. Hikaru Oshi, horrified. I couldn't see a thing, just like before, Ageha had doubted. Is this really a rook? Not only does he have solid armor protecting his body, he can form weapons into any shape. That's a divine tier skill for both defense and offense. Suddenly a voice called out, making Itsuki freeze. Rimuru rushed over and hugged him. Itsuki, I'm so glad you won. I was so worried, he asked anxiously, where's Seiya? Only then did Itsuki realize she wasn't beside him. Wait, she's not here, seeing his face about to break into tears. Rimuru comforted him. She probably went to the memorial because she was afraid of falling behind. Itsuki thought, is she mad at me? Ageha marveled, can't believe that guy beat a bone soldier that even a level 10 awakener would struggle with. Nento reminded Ageha, stay and help with cleanup. Also inform the principal. I'll take that boy with. Rimuru patted Itsuki's shoulder. There's no way Seiya's mad that you won. Suddenly a voice from behind called, you're Itsuki, right? He turned and saw Nento approaching. From afar, students buzzed. Look, Nento's talking to him. Maybe he's going to take him as a disciple. No way. His only disciple is Kazunari Satsumi, the strongest in history. Rimuru decided to withdraw. I'll go find Seiya then. With only the two of them left, Nento assessed. You're rather special. Itsuki was surprised to hear those two words. He continued, I sense your heart is shrouded in rage and hate. That's what piques my curiosity. I want to know why. Itsuki bowed his head, distant in tone. 10 years ago, my parents were killed by a spirit beast while trying to protect me. Back then I was just a boy, frozen, watching that horrific scene. He recounted, I was nearly killed too, but an awakener rescued me at the last moment. I watched my mother burned alive. Then she said, you'll have to walk the rest of the way on your own. At the time, I could only dazedly whisper, Mother. I blamed myself. My father and mother died because of me. Nento retorted, you're wrong. The root cause of everything back then was that vicious spirit beast. Rage welled up. Itsuki growled, I vowed to wipe out every single spirit beast, leave none alive. Nento asked curiously, you still shed tears even with your heart swallowed by hatred? Itsuki covered his right eye with his hand. Since I got the word I, my tears stopped. But now tears are falling from my right eye again. That way I'll never forget my hatred for those calamity spirit beasts. Nento proactively offered, do you want to become my disciple? I'll bring you into the Salvation Alliance and grant you overwhelming power to carry out your revenge. Itsuki, astonished, the Salvation Alliance. Nento explained, it's an organization established by the Southern Continent government, gathering powerful awakeners from around the world. Its purpose is to combat the calamity spirit beasts more effectively and scientifically. You can think of it as a regular army. Members are called saviors, provided private training grounds, extremely powerful weapons, and high pay. Even rookies in training receive 10,000 gold per month. Itsuki thought in awe, 10,000 gold. With that you could even buy a car. Nento reminded him, of course, generous benefits aren't free. Saviors must always fight on the front lines and protect the people. Itsuki pondered, honestly, I don't care about high pay or resources. The most important thing is being able to fight spirit beasts on the front lines. He decided, I want to become a savior too. Nento revealed, every February the Salvation Alliance holds a tournament called the National Salvation Alliance Tournament, with over 10,000 participants. Contestants are scored on performance. Only the top 100 qualify. Itsuki asked immediately, what's the highest score ever recorded? Nento hesitated. It's not very useful as a reference. But the record is 15,000 points, set by Kazunari Satsumi 11 years ago. If you reach 30% of that, you'll pass. At 50%, you could top the rank. Itsuki surprised. Kazunari Satsumi, is that the strongest awakener, the so-called light of humanity Rimuru mentioned? Nento assessed, Kazunari Satsumi is exceptional. Comparing yourself to him will only leave you despairing. But be confident, with your talent, you can stand alongside him. Itsuki vowed, I will surpass Kazunari Satsumi. The confident promise shook Nento. He placed his faith, you will certainly become famous. All the young are striving to follow in your footsteps. Merely following won't win the war against spirit beasts. One day someone will rise, like the morning sun replacing the setting sun. I eagerly await that future. Nento thought to himself, the morning sun I've waited for has finally appeared. When Nento led Itsuki to a strangely shaped building, he exclaimed in surprise, what's that? Nento revealed, the stone pillars are like pathways connecting this world to the spirit beast's realm. That's why if you only kill the monsters but leave the pillars, they'll keep spawning. This building isolates indestructible stone pillars. Awakeners periodically sweep spirit beasts out of the pillars. That keeps the boundary scale in check, and it's also used for training. Itsuki realized, so this is the training area. Nento confirmed, yes, we call them level stages. The number of spirit beasts that appear is uncontrollable, so it's very dangerous inside. In particular, the stage before us has the highest death rate for rookies. It's also known as the rookie graveyard. He recounted, back then, Kazunari Satsumi, when he was still a fledgling awakener, cleared it in just 3 minutes 14 seconds. Itsuki said, I want to beat him. Let me finish it within 3 minutes. Nento set the condition. If you clear it in 3 minutes, I'll take you as my disciple. The story pauses here, with a great challenge awaiting Itsuki. Nento's presence sent everyone whispering and gasping. Look, it's Lord Nento. Is that the rumored rookie beside him? No way. Unless he's at Kazunari Satsumi's level, there's no way he should be walking next to Lord Nento. Itsuki glanced at the man beside him, thinking to himself, is this guy really that famous? On the door ahead, a sign read, Level 10, 2 ranks higher than a bone soldier. Itsuki wondered, how strong could that be? He felt something off. No one around intended to enter the stage. Behind them, the crowd murmured, that guy's going into the stage even though he's a rookie. That calmness means a high-level awakener must be with him. I wish they'd let me in too. Someone sneered. No way, he's just here to flirt with the pretty receptionist. Delusions, all because he's a little good look. Facing the receptionist, Itsuki announced, I want to enter the stage. She agreed, all right, how many challengers? Itsuki replied nonchalantly, just me. Those words fell dead silent. Not a soul dared speak. The receptionist, kindly warning, said, don't joke around, it's not funny, just watching. Or are you here to flirt? That's pointless. This is an artificial stage, but it's dangerous. You could be injured or even die. She thought to herself, what is this guy on about? Laughter and mocking whispers rose from behind. See, he came to flirt. Some people treat stages like dating spots. Usually they get scolded and slink off. Itsuki reiterated, seems you've got the wrong idea. I'm not interested in you at all. I'm really here just to challenge this stage. She sighed helplessly. You don't have to act tough for the sake of face. I'll give you my contact info, so please just go home. Itsuki's tone turned threatening. Don't make me repeat myself. I don't care about your contact info. Just let me in, that's all I want. Frightened, the receptionist handed him the bracelet. All right, if you die, I'm not responsible. Itsuki annoyedly thought, they could have let me in from the start instead of making me repeat it. The onlookers looked down as he strapped the bracelet on. What an idiot. He must have been trying to get her contact. This isn't the time to act tough. A level 0 rookie challenging a level 10 stage is suicide. They began to bet. I bet he'll run away in under a minute. But he's pretty confident. He has a special grade talent, so maybe he actually... Someone read his profile. Itsuki, human, undefined rank, vocation, exterminator, talent, private special grade, skills, private, stats, private. The person beside him dismissed it. For an awakener, talent is secondary. Level matters most. If your level is low, even a special grade talent is meaningless. Itsuki stood before the door, curiously eyeing the bracelet on his wrist. His personal info was already registered there. So can I enter by scanning a code? A notification appeared. Awakener Itsuki's request has been approved. He stretched his limbs. The bet is 3 minutes. Let's begin. The countdown began. The clock started running. Itsuki shed his earlier nonchalance, turning deadly serious as he dashed inside. He ran while assessing. The interior was larger than he'd thought. Even if it was artificial, it was his first time entering a stage. Itsuki's steps halted as he sensed, they're coming. Ahead was a spirit beast. Info displayed. Wood Spirit 1307, Wood Spirit Race, Rank B Talent. None stats. Attack 48, Speed 48, Defense 53, Mana 24, Total 174. Without hesitation, he launched a damaging strike. After killing the Wood Spirit, Itsuki grinned at his arm morphing into an axe. The tree-chopping axe has merged. He sneered. How'd it feel to watch your comrade get cleaved in half? A swarm of squat wood spirits surrounded him. Itsuki sneered, rotten stick. Outside, Ajaha worriedly asked Nento, Dad, there are plenty of other rookie stages. Why bring him here? He explained. He said he'd surpass Kazunari Satsumi, so I only brought him to the place Kazunari first challenged. You already assume no one can beat Kazunari Satsumi unless he transcends humanity. He admonished, watch your tone, Ajaha. Do you think Kazunari Satsumi has already transcended humanity? She hung her head. I used to think Kazunari Satsumi was kind and easy to talk to, but I saw him kill a rank 97 spirit beast in the blink of an eye. His gaze then. Cold, isolated, detached. That look seemed to no longer regard it as part of humanity. Nento, you deify him like the eye of a god. He believed that boy also has potential to defeat Kazunari Satsumi. Right now, he's just an uncut gem. If Kazunari Satsumi is likened to a savior god, then Itsuki is a demon swallowed by hatred, a completely opposite existence. Inside the stage, after clearing all the wood spirits, Itsuki realized the super simulation wouldn't trigger against spirits of this level. Behind him, a gigantic spirit beast appeared. Itsuki spun and delivered a clean slash, sending the wood spirit crashing to the ground. He was disappointed. Is that it? He switched to alert mode. A rank 10 spirit beast only like this. No, then this can't be the rookie graveyard. Something's off. Info board, detected rank B skill, self-regeneration. Super simulation activating. Analysis progress, 5%. A sound echoed in Itsuki's ear. The wood spirit he'd just slain had revived, its branch wings weaving like silk to form a new body. Itsuki's body was entangled by it. He was astonished. It can still regenerate even after I cut off half its head. Notification: Wood Spirit Reborn 520, Wood Spirit Race, rank 10 second class talent. Defense minus 50%, greatly increased regeneration stats. Attack 110, Speed 100, Defense 60, Mana 180, total 450. Itsuki activated Dark Ice Secret, a gauntleted punch of ice that tore through the wood spirit's torso. He accelerated like an arrow. I have to deal massive damage in a flash so it can't regenerate. When progress hit 19%, he smashed the wood spirit to pieces. At 21%, a sharp axe blow swung out. Its body was split in two. Itsuki, not yet. I'll chop you until you can't regenerate anymore. Countless cuts rained down on it. The wood spirit's body hacked into fragments flying everywhere. Itsuki exhaled and retracted Dark Ice Secret. That should do it. My mana's nearly drained from keeping dark ice up so long. But the wood spirit's body knitted itself back together, becoming whole again. When progress hit 60%, branches wrapped around Itsuki's entire body. He dodged while thinking, after all those hits and it's still not dead. What a pain. Good news, every time it regenerates, the super simulation's analysis speed increases. Itsuki struggled to dodge, canceling Dark Ice Secret to conserve mana, and used Thunder Restraint 3 to keep his distance. Maintaining this stance until analysis completes is the winning strategy. But when a branch stabbed his back, Itsuki had no choice. Time's running out. 75%. He activated Thunder Restraint 3 and Dark Ice Secret together to maximize damage, forcing it to regenerate repeatedly, speeding up the analysis. Dark Ice Secret cloaked him with lightning. Itsuki tore the wood spirit to pieces. He knew that if he didn't trigger the super simulation while mana was depleted, he'd die here. Progress reached 80%. Itsuki decided to go all out, but if I die then, that's as far as I get. At 85%, he leapt down from above. His arm morphed into a sharp spearhead. The wood spirit flinched in surprise at the sudden close attack. At that moment, Itsuki coughed up blood. Damn it. Sharp branches pierced his body. He realized his mana was exhausted. However, the simulation reached 99%. Itsuki recovered, just as I thought. Activating the super simulation doesn't cost mana. I won this round. Analysis progress 100%. System analysis complete for self-regeneration. Acquired Lotus Burst rank 2. Activation effect. Consume mana to deal explosive damage to enemies within a 5m radius. Power scales with mana consumed. Passive. Each time a creature rank 1 or higher is killed by Lotus Burst, skill radius increases by 1%. Acquired Lotus Burst rank 2. All stats plus 20. Removes all negative effects, heals all wounds. Lotus Burst activated. Itsuki clapped in celebration. Blaze erupted like a waterfall of fire onto the wood spirit. Its body was engulfed by vicious flame. He hummed in approval, Lotus Burst, not bad. Itsuki stood amid the scorched ruins shrouded in thick smoke. With this power using just a third of my mana, cleaning up weak spirit beasts will be much easier. I didn't expect the super simulation to restore mana even when it hit 0. He stopped when he saw a glittering green shard on the ground. What's that? Outside, the receptionist worried. It's been nearly 3 minutes since that rookie went in, but he hasn't shown up. We should call the rescue team. System showed a red alert, challenging level 10 stage. Challenger, Itsuki. Elapsed challenge time, 2 minutes 9 seconds. Ageha surprised. I didn't think he'd lose to a rank 10 spirit, but killing it within 3 minutes is impossible. The notification turned green. New record achieved. Everyone present shook. No way. He actually killed it, but it's not even been 3 minutes yet. Update notice. Challenge successful. Stage level 10. Challenger, Itsuki. Challenge time, 2 minutes 14 seconds. New clear record updated. Itsuki stepped out of the portal, ragged from a death-defying struggle. Those who had looked down on him now wiped their eyes in disbelief. He's actually alive. Is that blue goo the spirit beast's blood? He beat Kazunari Satsumi by a whole minute. That was a rank 10 spirit beast. What the hell? And that rookie is rank 0, are you kidding me? Itsuki approached Nento. Nento-san, will you officially take me as your disciple? He smiled confidently and bowed. Master. Nento beamed with pride. Well done, truly my disciple. Ageha, surprised, thought to herself. Dad's happy. It's been ages since I've seen him like this. Murmurs rose. He's Nento's disciple. No wonder he broke Kazunari Satsumi's record. A jealous voice sneered. Even if he's that man's disciple, if he can't level up, he's still trapped. The receptionist presented a wooden box, cheeks flushed. This is a gift for breaking the record. Please accept it, and sorry for being rude earlier. Itsuki surprised. A gift. He paid it no mind and took the box. It's fine. Letting a rank 0 rookie try that stage is risky, anyone would think so. Even if a complete stranger like me died, it's none of your business. But the fact you tried to stop me shows you cared. Thank you. Her face flushed even more. It's nothing. Ageha warned, hey Itsuki, we're going to ditch you now. You look a bit excited, don't get carried away just because you're my dad's disciple. Itsuki wondered. Yes, it seems this level is only matched to you. Should we raise the difficulty? Nento revealed. With your current ability, you can try a high-level stage. Itsuki astonished, a high-level stage. He explained as they walked. Level isn't the only factor that determines a spirit beast's strength. The most important factor is species. Species without intelligence that act on instinct are easy to handle. But some species have intelligence equal to, or even surpassing humans. They're troublesome beings nothing like ordinary spirit beasts. Ageha added, basically, awakeners and spirit beasts are almost the same kind of creature. But it said only we humans currently have professions. In other words, stats vary by species. A high-level stage contains such powerful or intelligent spirit beasts. The difficulty is several times that of normal stages. And since most high-level stages on the northern continent are in North District B, that's your next destination. Any more questions? Itsuki frowned, thinking, so the one I just beat had no intelligence, and it didn't scream when hit. Does that mean it doesn't feel pain? He asked. An intelligent spirit beast would feel pain, right? Ageha beside him sensed the killing intent and thought, what terrifying aura is this? What on earth is he thinking? News of Itsuki spread fast and people discussed. Heard the news. Nento-sen plans to let him try a high-level stage. If he's the guy who broke Kazunari Satsumi's record, he'll be fine. High-level stages are totally different. Besides, the North B stages are practically controlled by that man. Every awakener who enters a high-level stage goes missing. Rumor has it they're killed by that man. Someone asked in shock, you mean Kinoshida Ryoji? While another, clueless, who's that? Kinoshida Ryoji thinks he's king or something. His friend panicked and clapped a hand over his mouth, signaling SHH. Quiet, if he hears you, you'll be dead too. Who is he anyway? At that moment in a luxurious room, the son of the North B district leader, Kinoshida Ryoji. He sat there with a servant meticulously polishing the bodyguard's shoe heels at his feet. Someone behind asked, when will you depart? He replied disdainfully, I control every stage in North B. I go whenever I please. Kinoshida Ryoji scoffed. Queuing is for commoner. Itsuki, along with Nento and his son, went to sit on a bench under the cool shade. Curious, he handed the shard to the man and recounted. This dropped back then. Nento wondered, you've seen a karma shard before. Itsuki didn't hide it and admitted, yes. After I defeated the calamity spirit beast in the stage, this dropped no difference at all. He held the shard up and inspected it. It was green then. Ageha glanced at the piece in Itsuki's hand in surprise. An intermediate karma shard, something like that appearing in a rookie's stage. Itsuki, still fuzzy, asked, exactly what is a karma shard? Ageha suddenly remembered. Oh right, you're new. Let me explain. She began to brief Itsuki. Another name for a karma shard is an experience stone. In short, when a calamity spirit beast or an awakener dies, an invisible substance called karma, basically experience points, is released from the corpse. Absorbing that makes you level up. Karma shards are stones that contain karma inside them. Using a shard to absorb karma is one way to level up. Ageha puzzled, but that's odd. Karma shards don't drop often, so why did one appear in this stage? Nento had an answer. It seems to be influenced by Itsuki's talent. The others echoed in surprise. Talent. He explained, normally, the karma of the defeated is absorbed by the victor. However, even after defeating 2 calamity spirit beasts, Itsuki didn't level up. In other words, he didn't absorb it. But once karma appears, it doesn't simply vanish without reason. If I'm not mistaken, the karma from the monster that attacked the school was absorbed by the awakeners present there, meaning it was absorbed by us. On the other hand, the stage is a sealed space. Itsuki couldn't absorb the generated karma, and there was no other container for it. That's why it condensed into a mass and became a karma shard. Ageha curiously asked, he really couldn't level up. If he didn't, then how did his stats increase? Itsuki hesitated. About that. Nento's tone turned grave as he warned, Ageha, an awakener's talent is a secret. Do not reveal it to others. Have you forgotten? Ageha realized she'd broken a taboo and quickly apologized. I'm sorry. Nento gave Itsuki full authority. I'll let you decide whether to sell that karma shard or keep it. I have a meeting with the high command of the 5 great continents, so I'll be away for a while. In the meantime, Ageha will look after you. But before I leave, there are a few things I want you to remember. Nento carefully instructed. First, keep our relationship secret. Second, don't tell anyone about your talent. Third, until I return, conquer at least 6 high-level dungeons. Fourth, if you believe something is right, give it your all. Whatever happens, I'll always support you from behind. Buoyed by his trust and support, Itsuki obediently replied, yes, master. In North B District, a dispute broke out. Both sides bickered loudly. We were here first, why won't you let us in? That dungeon was reserved by the Kinoshida heir. Go home. The other side didn't care. So what? Just because he has some money, he thinks he can do whatever he wants. He's not even here yet, at least let us in first. He kept nagging, oblivious to the imminent danger. I don't know how rich that brat is, but if you don't let me in, I'll report you to the Awakens Association. No sooner had he finished speaking than he was punched and sent flying far away. The one who struck was a hulking, muscular young man, Alga. His arm bulged with solid muscles. A sharp thorn branch shot out. Alga tilted aside to dodge. The attacker froze. Impossible, my B-rank skill, Earth Thorn, didn't work. Alga sneered through his teeth, barely worth scratching. He panicked, Earth Thorn can pierce anything. This guy must be a monster. Both his hands were grabbed by Alga. Alga put his strength into twisting the man's wrists hard. The man's face took a punch from Alga. Blood gushed from his nose and mouth. The scene terrified onlookers. Those two, rank 7 and rank 8, got killed instantly without a chance. That giant's too strong. Someone who knew his background said, he's one of Kinoshida Ryoji's 4 pillars, a rank 12 metal elementalist. Alga declared, I won't spare anyone who dares enter the dungeon without Ryoji's permission. If you resist, you'll end up just like these two. His hand still clamped the man's throat. These bodies will rot right here. Don't even think about saving them. One of his cronies warned, Alga, don't overdo it. The guardians are watching. If you beat up a weak student, I'll snitch to their teacher. Alga let go and dropped the guy to the ground. The man was caught just in time by Itsuki, covered in blood. Itsuki's appearance sparked curiosity. Who is that? He didn't have to help them, did he? A rank 0, he's doomed. A beautiful woman beside him felt, I feel like I've seen him somewhere before. Alga growled, hey newbie, I said no one passes here without Ryoji's permission. If you don't want to end up like those two, go home obediently. Itsuki exclaimed, I get it, so I have to beat you to enter the dungeon. Ajiha got on the line. I'll contact North B's admins. This kind of selfishness can't be tolerated. Itsuki refused, no need. Master told me if I think something is right, I must give it my all. He handed the injured over to her care. Look after these people. A murderous aura from Itsuki made someone wary. Who the hell is this guy? His info was all hidden. Itsuki, humanity rank unfixed profession, annihilator talent, special grade skills, private stats, private. Alga was surprised. Though he's rank 0, he faces me without fear. Is it because of a rare profession? He felt off. Wait, why do I feel pressured? Even with a rare profession, I'm 12 ranks above him. Stat differences can't be bridged. The info for him popped up. Alga, humanity rank 12 profession. Metal elementalist talent level 2. When metallified while standing, plus 50% defense skill. Metallized stats. Attack 110, speed 100, defense 250, mana 145, total 605. Alga froze at his opponent's action. A look of astonishment spread across his face. In his pupils reflected the image of Itsuki rushing in. A punch struck him straight, powerful and precise. Witnesses were horrified. Too fast. He's really rank 0. Even at rank 8, I don't know if I could catch up. Itsuki's fist smoked, as his face had transformed into metal. He was surprised. He blocked with metal eyes. Both of Alga's arms were metallized, and he tapped them together. Quick, I'll give you that. 2 punches came down but lacked power. Itsuki dodged backward. He realized, to successfully ambush an enemy over rank 10, he really had to boost his speed with Thunderquake 3. Itsuki info updated. Itsuki, humanity rank unfixed profession. Annihilator talent, special grade Nirvana skills, super mimicry rank Z, Thunderquake 3 LV1, Black Ice Secret LV2, Lotus Rampage LV2 stats, attack 250, speed 250, defense 250, mana 250, total 1000 detected C rank skill, Metallize. Activating super mimicry, analysis progress, 1%. Itsuki was surprised, a skill threatening enough to trigger super mimicry. Time to get serious. Itsuki lunged again. Normal attacks can't break Metallize's defense, so he'll just aim for the unarmored flesh. Alga planted his foot hard on the ground as a pivot. His body fully metallized, utterly contemptuous, weakling with no power or speed. Itsuki's plan succeeded halfway. He thought, that's my top speed. Alga became complacent. Itsuki accelerated with Thunderquake 3, lightning crackling around him. He raised his fist. See my new skill, Alga gasped. Lightning element, Itsuki vowed. I won't give you a chance to metallize. Mimicry rose to 59%. Itsuki unleashed a flurry of punches at. The others froze. How can that guy use a skill from another profession? He's so fast my eyes can't keep up. Can that rank 0 really beat Alga? Alga ground his teeth, trying to choke down the pain. This is bad, I don't have time to metallize. He's rank 0 yet so fast. At this rate I'll lose. Alga begged for help. Damn it, I can't even call out. Don't just stand there, help me. With things already like this, he had no choice but to try that move. A surge of tremendous power burst from him, his body fully metallized. Itsuki was surprised. This guy, he's metallized his whole body. Info updated. C-rank skill analysis, metallize. 88% Alga growled. I'm grateful. I never managed to metallize my entire body before, but thanks to you pushing me, I did it. He smiled at his result. A metallized part gains 50% defense, and my talent adds another 50% defense when stationary. In other words, my defense has exceeded 500. I plan to cleave you in half, but as a reward for helping me achieve this new skill, I'll let you die gently. Two onlookers whispered, rank 12 with over 500 defense. No peer can break his guard. He's a monster. I thought rank would win. Itsuki smiled calmly and asked, if I'm not mistaken, metallizing the whole body would consume a colossal amount of mana. If you dumped all your stats into defense, your mana couldn't be that high. Analysis progress reached 99%. Alga snapped, what nonsense are you spouting? He had to admit Itsuki's instincts were sharp. The lotus covered him. Itsuki reassured, don't worry, I won't use the lame tactic of draining your mana to 0. I'll finish this now. Progress update. Analysis progress 100%. Ageha glanced at the flower. It's here. That azure lotus. Itsuki's about to get stronger again. The onlookers saw the bud shut tight and were surprised. A lotus. This is a rank 0 skill. It doesn't look offensive. How can he beat Alga with something like that? Update notice, metallize analysis complete. Skill acquired. Piercing orb LV1. Activation effect. Fires a perfect sphere on a fixed trajectory. The orb travels at 1 ms and penetrates every enemy in its path, ignoring all defense stats. Passive effect. Whenever this orb defeats an enemy whose defense stat is higher than its user, its flight speed increases by 100%, current increase, 0%. Itsuki assessed, ignores defense. If this hits, it'll definitely deal damage. The problem is the speed is only 1 ms, even an ordinary person could dodge. Timing the cast is critical. If my opponent is that stationary punching bag, I don't even need to think about timing. He declared that absolute defense he brags about, I'll crush it to bits. System reminder, acquired piercing orb LV1. All stats plus 10. Removes all negative effects, fully heals wounds. New stats, attack 260 plus 10, speed 260 plus 10, defense 260 plus 10, mana 260 plus 10, total 1040 plus 40. Itsuki pointed at the piercing orb hovering inside the flower. He even taunted, try dodging this. System announcement, piercing orb activated. The crowd buzzed, that's a skill I've never seen before. So this is an annihilator, nicknamed the most mysterious profession of the four. Can a rank 0 annihilator's skill pierce the guard of that rank 12 defensive expert? That confident look, it must be a terrifying technique. The piercing orb flashed, a halo of light radiating around it. It hovered in midair. The onlookers went silent, no reaction from Alga. Someone sneered in curiosity. Just a tiny little orb, that's it. Are you kidding me? What a letdown. Alga mocked, you really think you can force me to move and nullify my talent with a little ball like that? How naive. He stepped toward the piercing orb, confidently declaring, if that's your trump card, then you're about to die miserably. But he froze as he watched the orb pass straight through his body. In an instant, fresh blood gushed from the wound. Itsuki coldly reminded, I told you to dodge. Because you're human, I only took your right arm. If you were a spirit beast, I'd have aimed for the neck. Alga writhed and fell, clutching the severed arm, screaming in pain. My arm. Itsuki glanced at those standing behind and called, what are you still doing standing there? Take him to the hospital. Can't you hear me? When they didn't move, Itsuki repeated in a cold tone, I said get lost. They said nothing and carried Alga away from the scene. Those left behind cheered, he won, he really won. Well done, serves him right. Almost immediately 2 people approached with offers. Want to team up with us? We're 3 so we can clear the dungeon fast. No, team up with me. We're only 2 so there'll be more experience to split. They began arguing over who would recruit him. Another barged in. All 3 of you are Alga's members. Are you really planning to challenge the molten trial field? The spirit beasts there have defenses on par with that guy. The one beside him replied, we have sister healer. We can restore your mana and let you cast that orb endlessly. Itsuki thought with mild surprise. Their defenses match Alga's. Even better. The purifying spirit orb pierces the void. Its speed increases each time it defeats an enemy with higher defense than its user. I can increase the piercing orb's flight speed in this dungeon. The 2 groups looked at Itsuki expectantly. Come on, tell us, which side will you choose? He declined both, used to operating solo. I'll go alone. A few people in the back couldn't believe their ears. Taking on a level 15 dungeon solo. He's gotten cocky after beating Alga. The 2 rejected one said in disappointment, I'll admit he's strong, but he's way too arrogant now. Someone left. Looks like we don't meet his standards. We'll find other. Choha warned kindly. All the spirit beasts here have defenses on par with Alga. We see you can beat them, but can you sustain the mana cost? Itsuki calmly reassured. It's fine, don't worry. She blushed stiff-lipped and muttered, like I'd be worried. I'm only asking because if you die here my dad will blame me. I'm going to tend the wounded. Do as you like. Choha still felt uneasy and added, also, the stone tribe isn't smart, but they move in groups, so be careful about your mana consumption. Itsuki replied, all right. Then he approached the dungeon gate. A touchscreen notification appeared when he linked his bracelet to the scanner. Awaken Itsuki's request approved. Upon entering the dungeon, he got his answer. They were indeed more numerous than he'd expected. Inside was a parched desert littered with gravel and stone. Itsuki glanced at the spirit beasts inside. This is definitely a high-level dungeon. Their stats and levels were much higher than before. Update notice, Stone Golem 927, Stone Tribe, level 9 talent rank 2, converts all mana into defense stats. Attack 115, speed 50, defense 295, mana 0, total 460. He used Piercing Orb on the first charging Stone Golem to see if these guys met the skill's internal condition. Piercing Orb activated, blooming like a brightly colored flower. The orb shot toward the Stone Golem, passing clean through its body. Notification displayed, defeated Stone Golem level 9, piercing orb speed increased by 100%. Itsuki exhaled, just as I thought. He continued as before, sweeping with the piercing orb. Two giant stone golems lunged forward aggressively in succession. Itsuki handled them calmly. These guys are slow and don't dodge. They're perfect fodder for the piercing orb. When the whole bunch fell, notification displayed, defeated Stone Golem level 9, piercing orb speed increased by 100%. Progress update, mana 110-260. Itsuki estimated, one piercing orb costs 50 mana, so I have about 2 casts left. Only 2 uses and the boss hasn't shown up. So there are 3 left. If so, he decided, I have to take down 2 at once with a single piercing orb. Itsuki shot up into the air, aiming down at the stone golem below. His whole body dove as he hurled the orb forward. His eyes flashed a dangerous red. Grabbing the flower holding the piercing orb as it bloomed, lightning shot from it, carrying the enlarged orb down. Before long the remaining stone golem was defeated. Notification displayed, defeated stone golem level 9. Piercing orb speed increased by 100%. Itsuki collapsed tiredly, breathing hard, sweat pouring like rain, utterly drained just before his mana ran out. So tired, hope I can get a healing skill someday. After resting enough, Itsuki sat up and checked the system. Now it's traveling at 5 ms, it can even catch up to running enemy. While he was absent-mindedly checking the info, a Colossus stone above him launched an attack. One of its strikes slammed down, making the ground quake. It activated a B-rank skill, Colossal Transformation. Info displayed, Colossus Stone being 28, Stone Tribe level 15, talent rank 2, converts all mana into defense stats. Attack 239, speed 60, defense 478, mana 0, total 777. The Colossus's size stunned Itsuki. It was huge. He immediately activated Thunder Tread III plus 50% speed. In a flash, Itsuki climbed onto the Colossus. He felt a twinge of doubt. Can a single piercing orb really take down something like this? So he had to aim for its weak point. Maybe if I hit the head. While the Colossus wasn't paying attention, Itsuki hurled a piercing orb at its unguarded head. Seeing the Colossus turn toward him, he backed up quickly. Not good. The piercing orb is too small. Even if it penetrates, it won't deal much damage. Its fist was closing in, nearly on top of Itsuki. He tensed, this is bad. I can't dodge while airborne. To absorb the blow, Itsuki activated Black Ice Shield. The impact triggered a shockwave explosion. He was slammed into the rock face behind him, blood leaking from the corner of his mouth. Gritting his teeth, he said, this clumsy giant is tougher than I thought. New notification, Colossal Transformation skill detected. Super simulation activated, analysis progress, 1%. This made Itsuki happy, so it's huge because of a skill. That makes things easier. Over with Ryuji, his bodyguard Tanki got a call. He exclaimed in surprise, what? Ryuji frowned, annoyed, and warned, I told you not to make noise in front of me. He bowed and admitted fault. Sorry, this is completely unexpected, sir. Ryuji asked, what happened? Tanki reported, it seems someone defeated Alga and forced entry into the dungeon. The wine glass in Ryuji's hand was crushed as his angry voice boomed. What did he do? He always boasted that no one under level 30 could break his defense. Could an Awakener over level 30 have arrived? Tanki replied, the number of stone pillars dropping has spiked recently, so all Awakeners over level 30 are busy dealing with them. They don't have time to come. Also, the challengers at the Molten Trial Field are mostly newbies around level 10. Ryuji countered, there's no way a level 0 could beat Alga. He pleaded, yes, if you give me more time, I'll investigate further. Ryuji stood and calmly said, that's unnecessary. Even if the opponent is level 30, you're still here, right? The Molten Trial Field is famous for stubborn calamity spirit beasts, and conquering it is time-consuming. Even if we depart now, we'll make it in time, won't we? Tenki hesitated. But without knowing the opponent's identity, we should proceed cautiously. He was displeased and snapped. I said we leave now, don't make me repeat myself. That presence made Tenki break out in a cold sweat and obey. Yes, sir. Ryuji changed clothes and snarled. I'll make them regret crossing the Kinoshida clan. Inside the dungeon, when progress hit 100%, Itsuki knew it was time for revenge. Finally, I don't have to run around like a rat anymore. The lotus bloom wrapped his body into a bud with no gaps. Notification displayed. Analysis complete for B-rank skill, Colossal Transformation. Itsuki was surprised. No new skill gained. Piercing Orb leveled up to 2. Let's see what new effects it has. System reminder. Piercing Orb level 2 active effect. Fires a perfect sphere along a fixed trajectory. The sphere travels at 5 ms, penetrates every enemy in its path, and ignores their defense. New feature after activation. The user can adjust the sphere's size by spending additional mana. Passive effect. Each time Piercing Orb kills an enemy with a defense stat higher than the user, its flight speed increases by 200%. Maximum speed boost can reach 500%. He realized the passive had risen from 100% to 200%. Best of all, now he could change the Piercing Orb's size with mana. Itsuki was eager. Let's try it right away. New update. Acquired Piercing Orb level 2. All stats plus 20. Removes all negative effects and heals all wounds. Stats: attack 280 plus 20 speed, 280 plus 20 defense, 280 plus 20 mana, 280 plus 20 total, 1120 plus 8. The lotus blossom into which Itsuki poured energy swelled enormous, incubating the largest piercing orb he could currently form by consuming all his mana. The bud slowly opened, releasing a surge of overwhelming energy. A pillar of energy shot straight through the Colossus's body, shredding it into shards of rock. Itsuki marveled. Maybe I overdid it a bit. Mana now at 0280. After the Colossus was destroyed, a new notification appeared. Defeated Colossus stone being level 15. Piercing orb speed increased by 200%. Itsuki was astonished. Spent all my mana and unleashed such a huge piercing orb, who knew? He estimated the orb's flight speed is now 7 ms. If I clear this dungeon 2 more times, it'll be as fast as a car. System display. Piercing orb level 2 active effect. Fires a perfect sphere along a fixed trajectory. The sphere travels at 5 ms, penetrates every enemy in its path, and ignores their defense. After activation, the user can adjust the sphere's size by spending additional mana. Passive effect. Each time Piercing Orb kills an enemy with a defense stat higher than the user, its flight speed increases by 200%. Current flight speed has increased by 700%. Itsuki discovered, wait, the active effect is actually pretty useful, huh? The Lotus Fury's innate expands the range of all skills, which means the Piercing Orb's travel distance will increase too. Lotus Fury info. Passive effect. Each time a living creature level 1 or above is killed by Lotus Fury, the range of all the user's skills increases by 1%. Itsuki reasoned, so if I keep boosting Lotus Fury's passive, one day I'll be able to kill calamity spirit beasts from thousands, even tens of thousands of meters away. Outside the dungeon gate, the announcement board turned green. Challenge successful. Dungeon level 15. Challenger, Itsuki. Time 3 minutes 1 second. Clear record updated. Everyone present was shocked. 3 minutes 1 second. No way. Even a 5-person team would take over 10 minutes. Did he kill the spirit beast in one hit or what? He broke Kazunari Satsumi's 3:19 record. What kind of monster is he? He's out. Seeing Itsuki still at the same level, they were even more stunned. Why is he still level 0? Is the notification window bugged? He's not even hurt, clothes just a bit dirty. There's no way he cleared. Ajaha silently admired. He finished it again without a scratch. Didn't expect he'd break Jin's record. She composed herself and warned seriously. Too fast, you know. Itsuki had no explanation. It's weaker than mid-tier spirit beasts, so its defense is thin. I managed to take it down. He noticed the green butterfly fluttering beside her. What's this butterfly? She introduced. Its name is Jade Leaf. My vocational awakening is a Shikigami master. This child is my Shikigami. Itsuki was surprised. Jade Leaf, it's my first time seeing a Shikigami. So pretty. He couldn't help but ask, I've always wondered, how many types of awakener professions are there? Ajaha surprised. You don't know, that's common knowledge. She held up 3 fingers. Professions are divided into 4 types. You've probably seen 3 of them already. Once again, Ajaha schooled Itsuki. First are elementalists. They command 7 elements: fire, water, wood, metal, earth, wind, and lightning. Elementalists are the most common awakener profession and also have the highest baseline combative power. She mentioned Hikaru Oshi. That guy earlier was that type too. Second are Shikigami masters. They can summon Shikigami that obey them absolutely. Info about the butterfly displayed. Jade Leaf, rank B, level 15, skill. Hidden stats, hidden beside it, info about her. Ageha, human, level 6, profession. Shikigami master, talent rank 2. Hidden Shikigami. Hidden stats, hidden she revealed. A Shikigami will always be by its master's side. Shikigami masters from the moment they're born. After speaking, Ageha asked, anything else you want to ask? Itsuki realized her level is lower than her Shikigami's. Is she really a veteran awakened? She sighed, this person truly lacks subtlety. Ageha admitted, exactly. Shikigami absorb experience and level up, so generally they're higher level than their master. Itsuki deduced, if that's so, when fighting a Shikigami master it's best to target the master. Ageha thought in fear, that dark aura is seeping out again. What the heck is that? Itsuki wanted more info. What about the other professions? You've only introduced 2 so far. She replied, the third is a mysterious profession, with very little information available right now. Ageha revealed your profession, Eradicator. She added the reason it's mysterious is each Eradicator has a different power, but your Lotus Blade. Others can control body size at will or create infinite clones. Some Eradicators can stretch their bodies like rubber. Typical profession skills are ranked from C to S, however. Eradicators only possess Z-rank skills, outside the usual classification. The reason Eradicators are special is they have unique skills. If an enemy learns your skill, an Eradicator loses their greatest weapon. That's why my father scolded me for asking about your skill. Even so, you're an anomaly even among Eradicators. From what I've confirmed, you can use at least 3 skills, and 2 of them are abilities only elementalists normally have. Itsuki thought to himself, my master isn't here. If she keeps talking about me like this, it's not good. He continued the topic. What about the last profession? I've never seen it before. Ageha pondered. The final profession is. I'll tell you after I see it. That's your punishment for not telling me anything about yourself. Itsuki didn't press her. Fine. Ageha suddenly remembered. Right, the student you saved is okay now. By the way, what do you plan to do after this? He revealed, I plan to conquer this dungeon a few more times. She warned, you really don't know. Dungeons have cooldowns. This place resets slowly, so the earliest you can enter again is in 2 days. Only now did Itsuki realize, there's a cooldown. No wonder Kinoshida Ryuji monopolized this dungeon. If I can't strengthen the piercing orb's passive, I'll level up Lotus Fury instead. He asked, is there any dungeon that contains a large number of spirit beasts? Ageha brought good news. A dungeon full of spirit beasts. There is one. The spirit beasts there aren't very high level, but they're numerous. By the conservative estimate, there are 100 grasshopper-type spirit beasts. Many awakeners have backed off at that number. She curiously asked, you don't have any AoE skills. What are you going to do? AoE means area attack. He replied, of course I'm going. He thought to himself, now that you mention it, I haven't used Lotus Fury in front of her yet. She doesn't know I have an area skill, does she? Ageha threw up her hands. Honestly, without AoE like you, it'll be really tough, you know. Itsuki calmed her. It's fine, don't worry. Those behind overhearing were terrified. That guy, he's going into Cao Cao's wilderness. Does he not know fear? Forget it. If Kinoshida Ryuji hears about this, he'll definitely come. They decided, let's get out of here before we get dragged into a fight. When Ryuji arrived, the place was deserted. Nobody here. Tanky confirmed, yes, it seems the target went elsewhere. Ryuji scowled. Only 30 minutes since then, and he conquered the fiery rock trial field. He worried, unbelievable, but it seems so. What do we do now? Ryuji could only curse. Damn it, he made a fool out of me. He ordered, if he used skills, he'll leave traces of magic. Contact the hunters and track him. From this moment, I hold a grudge. We must capture him alive. I'll make him taste earthly hell. In a deserted alley, Charles hid there, thinking, I've never heard Kinoshida Ryuji had someone that strong with him. Damn, I shouldn't have taken this assassination gig. He panted behind the wall. If I didn't have the earth escape technique, I'd be dead. Charles peeked out. Since I've come this far, I'm probably safe now. Right behind him, a crimson hound snapped its grotesque jaws and lunged. It bit down on Charles's neck and wouldn't let go. Behind them, the owner of the crimson hound, Sakri, stepped forward and ordered, seems you have something to say. Hound, release a little. Charles croaked, how did you find me? Sakri revealed with a grin meant to blind him. My nose is sharp. The scent of death you give off, I can smell it. Charles begged in fear, please don't kill me. Sakri refused, no can do. Lord Kinoshida will take it out on me. Besides, the Crimson Hound hasn't had human flesh in a long time, you know. He commanded the Crimson Hound, "Eat, it's mealtime." It opened its jaws and lunged at tonight's feast. After finishing, the Crimson Hound broke through a level up. Zachary happily stroked its shaggy coat. Finally leveled up. System notification. Crimson Hound rank B, level 16 skills. Death Sense rank C, detect all traces of magic in the area to identify and track magic sources. Death Hunger rank B, significantly reduces respawn time after a Shikigami dies. Stats. Attack 250, speed 250, defense 150, mana 150. Then he made a phone call reporting, "We're done here." Zachary received new intel. Severely injured. That stubborn Alga. Someone hit his weak spot. Got it, I'm on my way. He left. Let's go, Reaper. New prey has appeared. Itsuki was now in the grasshopperlands. He looked at the golden field ahead and asked curiously, "Is this the place?" These wheat fields stretch as far as the eye can see. Are there really that many grasshoppers here? Aiden explained, spirit beasts tend to pick environments they prefer when they invade this world, so deducing beast types from the environment is an essential skill for any awakener. He confirmed, "Got it." Itsuki looked around. There's not even a reception desk here. She helplessly revealed, "Right, this dungeon's danger level is so high they even considered dismantling the reception." He was puzzled, but it's lower level than the fiery rock trial field. Why dismantle the reception? Aiden answered, "In a normal dungeon, if you can't win, you can run away. But here, the calamity spirit beasts are unusually aggressive and swarm in massive numbers. If you get even slightly careless, you'll be surrounded by countless grasshoppers and eaten alive." She delivered the grim conclusion, down to the bone. Itsuki fixated on one thing, so there really are tons of spirit beasts here. Awesome. Aiden, surprised, "What, you want to die that badly?" He was serious. "I'm not desperate enough to let insects eat me alive and die." She watched Itsuki enter the dungeon, thinking, judging by his attitude, he'll be fine. Aiden sighed sadly. He went in on his own after I warned him as much as I could. If anything happens, it's on him. She suddenly remembered something important. Wait, what should I do? I forgot to tell him the grasshoppers keep appearing until he defeats the boss. I have to go inside and tell Itsuki. Suddenly she sensed someone approaching from behind. Charles and his Crimson Hound had come looking for them. He smirked and asked the girl, "I'm looking for someone." Inside the dungeon, Itsuki looked at the vast, quiet wheat field and assessed, "It's pretty deserted here." He clapped his hands to make a sound. "Wake up, you pests. I'm here to wipe you out." The grasshoppers heard the noise and swarmed out. Itsuki was unfazed. These ones are surprisingly low level. They meet Lotus Fury's conditions, so no problem. A dense horde of grasshoppers flew in. They were grasshopper fiends, insect clan, hidden stats, no talent. Itsuki remarked, "They really are a lot." He formed a Lotus Fury of fire. Even better this way. If they bunch up, it's less trouble for me. Once they enter Lotus Fury's range, I'll crush them all at once. When the horde had gathered densely, Itsuki decided, now activate Lotus Fury. A flash of light burst in the dark space. A series of messages popped up as the explosion incinerated them. Defeated Grasshopper Fiend level 1 with Lotus Fury. All skill ranges plus 1%. Itsuki stood amid the thick smoke and dust, having wiped out the first wave without breaking a sweat. Update notice, Lotus Fury level 2 active. Consumes mana to deal explosive damage to enemies within a 10.5 m diameter. Power scales with mana consumed. Passive. Each time a living creature level 1 or higher is defeated by Lotus Fury, the range of all skills increases by 1%. He deduced it's currently 110%. 110% means I killed 110 at once. For spirit beasts of this level, spending 10% mana for 10% firepower is fine. Considering remaining mana and regen during battle, I could probably fire about 10 more times. Even if I kill 100 enemies each time, I can boost total skill range by another 1000%. Seeing the upgraded mana notification, Itsuki evaluated, mana 252-28. If this dungeon had no cooldown, things would go a lot more smoothly. He glanced curiously at the ring on his wrist. Odd, the successful challenge notification didn't pop up. Reminder notification, detected C-rank skill, clone of self-will, super simulation activated, analysis progress, 1%. Itsuki turned warily, still enemy. Larger grasshoppers swooped in to surround him. Itsuki hurriedly activated his black ice veil for protection, astonished inwardly. Clone of self-will is the boss's skill here. I got cocky, I thought there was no boss. He stayed alert. Luckily, I can keep increasing Lotus Fury's range, but the problem is I don't know where the boss is. Itsuki activated Lotus Fury. If that's the case, I'll just wipe out the shrimps until the boss shows itself. A second explosion erupted as the grasshoppers were hit. Update, defeated Grasshopper Fiend level 1 with Lotus Fury. All skill ranges plus 1%. currently plus 220%. Itsuki felt relieved. Lotus Fury's range is 16m now. Awesome effect. He continued reading the notice. Lotus Fury level 2 active. Consumes mana to deal explosive damage within a 16m diameter. Power scales with mana consumed. Impatient, Itsuki stared at the sea of grasshoppers. I've killed 110 lobies, but the boss still hasn't appeared. Another dense swarm of grasshoppers approached. Itsuki saw them burst out from a crack in the ground. They're back. Update. Analysis progressed 27%. He realized, I can only use Lotus Fury 9 more times. Current mana 232-28. Itsuki kept using Lotus Fury. No matter how many times you appear, I will wipe you all out. Blazing fire rose, heat radiating outward. After the third attack, he reaped cumulative gains, defeated Grasshopper Fiend level 1 with Lotus Fury. All skill ranges plus 1%. Itsuki multiplied Lotus Fury sevenfold for the assault. The Inferno scorched across the area. New update, active. Consumes mana to deal explosive damage within a 54.5m diameter. Power scales with mana consumed. Passive. Each time a living creature level 1 or above is defeated by Lotus Fury, all skill ranges increase by 1%. Currently plus 990%. Itsuki wondered, I've defeated swarms 9 times so far and increased Lotus Fury's range by 990%. But I only have enough mana for one more Lotus Fury. So why is my mana at 5280? Watching the grasshopper storm fly in, he exclaimed, do they never stop? And the boss still shows no sign of appearing. One option is to withdraw from the dungeon and retry after analysis completes. But Itsuki sneered, that's what losers do. He continued to form Lotus Fury. No matter how many of you there are, I'll exterminate you all. Fierce flames flared from the giant lotus blaze set at the center. Itsuki was nearly drained of energy from this move. Seeing them darken the sky as they flew in, he panicked. Still more, and the numbers aren't dropping at all. When progress hit 91%, Itsuki realized, what the? From the first wave, every spirit beast that appeared was level 1, their bodies tiny as if just hatched. He snapped awake, got it. The boss's ability is infinite reproduction. Mother Grasshopper info displayed. Queen Grasshopper 279, Insect Clan, level 13 talent rank 1. Spawns a large number of Grasshopper Fiend egg skills. Clone of self will C-rank, remotely control hatched Grasshopper Fiends, up to 110. Itsuki grasped the principle. If it reproduces infinitely, no matter how hard I try, it's useless. Unless I kill the boss, I'm out of mana. But as the progress moved from 98% to 99%, Itsuki was confident. It'll finish analyzing soon. When the analysis hit 100%, the Lotus formed a sphere around him. New update. Analysis complete for Clone of Self-Will. Received Mana Resonance rank 1. Mana Resonance rank 1 active. Upon activation, continuously consume mana to sense mana flow within a 100m diameter. Effective range expanded to 1100m thanks to Lotus Fury's passive. Passive effect. When an enemy unit is detected, restore 10% of your mana. Itsuki was amazed. A scouting skill with Lotus Fury's innate. The effective range is now over 1000m plus. I can recover mana each time I sense an enemy. He couldn't hide the rising joy. This passive is perfect for this dungeon. Ignoring the boss and farming the little shrimp isn't a bad plan. But I made Ageha wait, so I have to finish this run now. System reminder. Received Mana Resonance rank 1. All stats increased. Remove all negative effects and fully heal wounds. New stats, attack 290 plus 10, speed 290 plus 10, defense 290 plus 10, mana 290 plus 10, total 1160 plus 40. Itsuki placed his hand on the pedal. The lotus turned red. Locate the boss with Mana Resonance. A wave of sensing rippled out in concentric circles in all directions. Finally, the location of the mother grasshopper was found. Itsuki's eyes snapped open as he exclaimed, there you are. He formed the pierced sphere to kill it. A sphere exuded dark chi. Itsuki said nonchalantly, try using your kid as a shield. Lotus Fury launched a colossal lightning discharge at the target. He was sure it would be futile. With Lotus Fury's innate applied to the pierced sphere, its travel distance would definitely reach. Notification reminder, pierced sphere range. 120m, the pierced sphere plunged straight into the ground. The queen grasshopper hurriedly flew out of her hiding place. Itsuki rushed in from behind, not letting her escape. He smiled coldly, checkmate. A strike pierced the queen grasshopper. Green slime splattered everywhere. The baby grasshoppers flew in a panicked scatter across the sky. Itsuki noted, losing their queen sent them into chaos. He activated Black Ice Veil, flames flaring on his arm. Don't worry, I'll send you to meet your mother soon enough. After a sweep, Itsuki estimated. With all skill ranges increased by 10%, Lotus Fury's explosion diameter is 65.5m, and Pierce Sphere's travel distance has also increased. Pierce sphere travel distance is now 131 m. Reward update. Lotus Fury level 2 active. Consumes mana to deal explosive damage to enemies within a 65.5 m diameter. Power scales with mana consumed. Passive: each time a living creature level 1 or above is defeated by Lotus Fury, all skill ranges increase by 1%. Currently plus 1210%. Pierce sphere travel distance, 131 m. Itsuki picked up a karma shard. What a bumper harvest. Once cooldown's up, I'll challenge it again. This time I'll push Lotus Fury's passive into 5 digits. A notice outside the gate displayed. New record achieved. Challenge time, 17 minutes 7 seconds. Itsuki was surprised. Took 17 minutes. Ageha must have been worried. Maybe she'll act cold when I return safely. But actually she's kind and considerate. Her fake cold act is kind of cute. He cheerfully stepped out of the gate. I'm back. Sorry for making you worry. Itsuki fell silent, a murderous light flashing in his eyes as he took in the scene before him. Ageha was being hoisted up, with Charles' hand clamped around her throat. He asked with interest. Itsuki went in alone and came out safe. You're the guy Kinoshida Ryoji's hunting, aren't you? He continued, perfect timing. I was about to make her spill info on you. But even like this, she won't say a word. She's more stubborn than most of you men. Itsuki said coldly, take that filthy hand off. Do it and I'll beat you up and let you live. Charles sneered, don't get cocky, you rank 0 rookie. Itsuki moved at insane speed, swinging a fist straight at him. Charles barked orders in a panic. Too fast. Crimson Hound charge. Use your head to take one of his punches. System notice. Detected B-rank Shikigami. Crimson Hound. Activating super simulation. Analysis progress. 1%. From that, Itsuki deduced. That dog is a Shikigami, which means the guy in the hat is a Shikigami master. Charles thought to himself, no wasted moves and crazy speed. No wonder even Alga lost. He probably didn't even have time to Kim transform. He said casually, but I've got the Crimson Hound and a hostage. Charles was squeezing Ageha's throat until it hurt. She let out a soft groan. Worried for her safety, Itsuki shouted, Ageha, analysis progress at 34%. The Crimson Hound slipped out of Itsuki's hold and lunged viciously. Charles confidently thought, the Crimson's bite can crush defenses under 300. Best he can hope for is having an arm ripped off. But reality was nothing like that. Charles exclaimed in shock, what the? Itsuki had activated Black Ice Veil over one arm, while the other formed a Pierce Sphere. Lotus Fury sat right under the Crimson Hound's throat. The Pierce Sphere shot straight over its head. He recalled the saying, without a Shikigami master is basically weak. Analysis progress reached 77%. Charles wondered, is this rookie so clueless he doesn't know Shikigami can revive? The Crimson possessed B-rank skill, Death's Rest, which can shorten its respawn time. Seeing the Crimson Hound charge from behind, he gloated, be careless and become the Crimson Snack. Itsuki activated Mana Resonance. Sensing waves spread as progress hit 89%. He thought continuously activating Mana Resonance, since getting it seems like the right call. Progress rising to 91%. Itsuki spun and delivered a heavy kick to the Crimson Hound. He glanced at Charles behind him, thinking, almost done analyzing. If Than Lian appears because of the super simulation, he might get suspicious. His power and speed outclass the Crimson, and he even has a scouting skill. I can't even ambush like this. He'd pulled Ageha out as a threat. Resist one more time and this woman dies. Itsuki's plan finished the analysis without Than Lian appearing. Reminder, analysis progress 100%. Crimson Hound analysis complete. Received Shikigami Devour rank 2. Shikigami Devour rank 2 active. By touching a Shikigami of rank H or lower directly, you can make it yours. Passive. Usable Shikigami count, 0-2. Itsuki was surprised, so I can steal Shikigami. I finished the analysis without Than Lian appearing. Reminder, received Shikigami Devour rank 2. All stats plus 20. Because the super simulation isn't fully activated, negative effects removal and wound recovery did not occur. New stats, attack 310 plus 20, speed 310 plus 20, defense 310 plus 20, mana 310 plus 20. He figured, so there's a price for skipping Than Lian and losing the recovery effect. But since I healed in the dungeon earlier, I can still go almost all out without the healing. It seems this skill can steal other people's Shikigami. Watching the Crimson Hound lunge with jaws open, Itsuki already had a new plan. The lotus flower bloomed in his palm. If that's the case, Itsuki slammed the blossom into the Crimson Hound's head. I'm taking your dog. The entire hound was seized by some controlling force. He leaned over and drove his boot hard into it. One kick sent the Crimson Hound crashing to the ground. Charles shouted in anger, useless dog, I fed you all that EXP for what? He tightened his grip around Ageha's neck. If you resist anymore, I'll slit this woman's throat. Ajaha, not wanting to bother Itsuki, murmured, "Don't worry about me." Itsuki raised both hands in surrender. "All right, don't touch her." Charles reminded him, "If you'd behaved like that from the start, this woman wouldn't have suffered." Itsuki asked coldly, "Why are you targeting me? I don't recall making enemies with you." He replied, still trying to pry info out of me, "Fine, I'll tell you since you'll meet him anyway. Kinoshida Ryuji is furious with you for entering North District without permission. I'm Handler Charles, and I'm here to arrest you on his order." Itsuki noted with displeasure, "So that's Kinoshida Ryuji. I need to meet him and sort this out myself." Charles warned, "You'll meet him soon enough. Once your body is torn apart, the Crimson will be ripping your legs off. If you value this woman's life, don't use that weird ice layer to protect yourself this time." He ordered Crimson, "Bite his legs to pieces." Itsuki gave a command, "Crimson, prove you're worthy to be my Shikigami." The Crimson Hound immediately sank its teeth into the arm choking Ajaha. Itsuki rushed forward and caught the barely alive woman in his arms. Charles screamed in pain, "Damn it, why did you attack me, your master?" A lotus sigil appeared on the Crimson Hound's forehead. Itsuki gently stroked it. "Good." He announced solemnly, "I'll return the pain Aja has suffered 100-fold. No, I'll repay it 1,000-fold." Charles, now terrified, stammered, "Wait, listen, let me explain. I'm just following Ryuji's orders. I had no choice. Yes, form a squad. I'll lure Ryuji out for you." Itsuki replied, "That's a decent proposal." He inwardly rejoiced at buying time. "I've tricked you." Charles hurled a spear straight at his opponent. "Die, brat." Itsuki dodged with a line, "But I prefer killing Kinoshida Ryuji myself." He ordered, "Crimson, make him feel Ajaha's pain." Charles, trembling to tears, begged, "I slipped up, I'm sorry, give me another chance." The Crimson Hound bared its fangs and slowly approached the man. Charles tried to rouse it. "Crimson, have you forgotten? I'm your master, I fed you so much." The Crimson Hound opened its huge jaws toward him. After it finished with Charles, Itsuki asked in a low voice, "You've been tailing me since I left the dungeon, haven't you?" Itsuki turned and looked back. "How long were you planning to hide? Why don't you show yourself?" Over there, someone was hiding very carefully. Iberia stepped out shyly and asked, "You noticed me?" Itsuki's voice was as cold as ever. "Are you the teammate of that guy from earlier?" He jumped, flustered at being mistaken. "No, I'm not an enemy. Please let me explain." Itsuki waved him off without care. "Fine, I don't have time for your explanations. Crimson, after you're done eating, follow me." Seeing T letter 1EDKHUY letter 1EC3 and obey Itsuki like that, Iberia dared to hope. If he can get even a rabid dog to follow orders, this guy might just save. He followed outside, walked beside Itsuki and introduced himself. "My name is Iberia, and you, that match earlier was awesome, though a few close calls." Itsuki said nothing. Iberia went on, "You're the mysterious guy who took down that Alga, right?" He asked a favor, "Could you help me with something? I'll pay you if you want. I could pay with mana stones or maybe a weapon, how about that?" But Itsuki ignored him and walked straight on, leaving Iberia surprised. "What the heck? Isn't everyone supposed to be thrilled when I offer full payment? Did the old man shortchange me?" His father had said, "It's like in a desert, a simple cup of water is worth more than treasure. Rewards require some finesse. Give a sword to someone thirsty for revenge. Give medicine to the wounded. To them, that's a fitting reward." This principle snapped Iberia awake. "I get it now." He trailed behind, calling out, "You walked here on foot, right? You can't move fast carrying an injured person, and the nearest hospital is tens of kilometers away. If you dawdle like this, that woman'll die." Iberia took out a roll of bandage. "I also have a recovery wrap." Seeing Itsuki pause, he'd won half the battle and added, "I can save her." Itsuki turned, impatiently asking, "Really?" He replied, "I can't fully heal her, but I can save her life." Itsuki set Ajaha down so Iberia could bandage her. He worried, "Is it okay to use it over her clothes?" He explained, "This isn't an ordinary bandage. It's a rare device made from the bindings of the Shadow Clan and the hide of the Kodama people." Itsuki didn't understand. A device. Iberia realized he'd used a confusing word. "At your awakening level, you're probably new to this, so it's understandable you don't know." He explained, "Modern weapons don't work on spirit beasts. That's why you can't just use firepower on them. But armorsmiths can craft special devices to counter spirit beasts using parts taken from the beasts themselves. Devices are ranked in 4 tiers depending on the smith's skill and the materials. Common, rare, exalted, and unique. Common device, not much different from regular weapons, except they can damage spirit beasts and awakened fighter. Rare device boosts some stats of the wielder. Example, rare sea sword increases mana speed. Exalted device not only raises stats but grants special abilities. Example, exalted blood sword increases attack power. Special effect, blood siphon raises blade temperature and reduces enemy self-healing by 50%. Unique device, the ultimate goal every smith covets. massive stat boosts and powerful effects. Currently, there are only 102 unique devices. Example, Holy Unique Sword increases attack and speed. Unique effect, stores limitless mana inside the Holy Blade, allowing unlimited skill use. Smiths themselves don't have great combat power, and there aren't many of them, but because they can forge devices, all awakened fighters respect. Itsuki asked curiously, "So your father is an armorsmith?" He boasted, "Not an ordinary smith. Many smiths never forge a single unique device in their whole lives. Right now there are only 10 such pieces across the 5 continents, and 3 of those were made by my old man. That's why people call him the King Smith of the northern continent." Seeing Itsuki turn his back, Iberia complained, "Are you even listening? I've poured my heart into that explanation. Don't ignore me." Itsuki was taking something out. "This is the crossbow that Charles guy used earlier." He stepped forward to inspect. "He's not the least bit surprised to hear my father's name. Any awakened would have latched onto me already. With this, I can cut down how often I use piercing orb and lower the risk of showing my hand." Iberia judged the item in Itsuki's hand. "It's a rare device." He frowned. "Too bad it has no arrows." He revealed, "But ranged weapons like this can assimilate ordinary ammo into device ammo, so you don't need to worry about arrows." Item info displayed. Hunter's crossbow, rare speed +50. Watching it disappear from his hand, Itsuki was surprised. It vanished. Iberia saw the skeptical look and explained, "That's another function of devices. Once linked to the owner, it stores away and you can summon it whenever needed." Itsuki politely, "Quite handy. Thanks for treating her. If you need help with anything, tell me. Once I'm done here, I have to go find Kinoshida." Iberia chatted. "Hearing that name now, I thought I misheard. Daring to pick a fight with Kinoshida Ryoji in North B District. That's bold." Itsuki sighed and asked, "What, you want me to back off?" Iberia denied, "No, if it's Kinoshida Ryoji, then we share a common goal." Itsuki wondered, "You pissed him off too?" He skirted the topic, "Not exactly. But I want you to team up with me for the preliminary round of the National Salvation Alliance tournament the day after tomorrow." Itsuki thought privately, "Preliminary round, the dog brings that up. I heard only the top 10 advance to the main tournament. I've been too busy these past few days to prepare for that." He asked suspiciously, "How does the preliminary relate to Kinoshida Ryoji?" He confirmed, "The preliminaries are held by continent, and the northern continent's venue is in North B District." Being the son of the regional administrator Kinoshida Ryoji, he's obviously aiming for the official tournament. In fact, his older brother is also a savior, so if he doesn't make the top 10, it'd be a disgrace for the Kinoshida family. That's why he's monopolizing all the dungeons in North B to level up. Itsuki didn't get it. "Why team up with someone like me?" He explained simply, "Because you're strong. My gut says if we team up, we'll definitely pass the preliminaries." Itsuki reminded him, "You're younger than me, right? You'll have many chances in the future, so why must it be this year?" He hesitated. "Why?" Iberia recounted, "Since I was a child, I've watched my old man craft devices. Each finished piece was like a perfect work of art, and my admiration for him kept growing. So I've always dreamed that one day I'd awaken and fight spirit beasts with gear made by my own father." Then a month ago, I finally awakened, excited. I asked my father to forge a device for me, but he refused, saying only saviors can wield his devices. He continued, "Even so I begged, and finally he set one condition. If you pass this year's preliminaries, I'll give you a masterpiece. That's why I absolutely must win the preliminaries this year." Itsuki was curious. With a father that great, surely many would want to team with you. You don't need to team with a rank 0 like me. Iberia answered, "My father thinks so too. That's why before I left he said, 'Listen, pass the preliminaries on your own strength. If you lean on a powerful teammate, I won't give it to you.'" Itsuki admired, "Your father is strict." He helplessly added, "From my intel, most promising candidates have already been bribed by Kinoshida. The rest are lone wolves who don't like teaming or are already in teams, so there's no one left to ask. But 2 days ago, I heard about someone who beat one of the 4 pillars and broke a record. I tracked down the info, and that's how I found you." Itsuki cut in, "Fine, I don't care about teaming up, but first I want to get her to a hospital." Iberia understood. "I'll go with you. From now on we're teammates." He kept babbling about names. "We should think of a team name too. You're Itsuki and I'm Iberia. How about Ibeton? Sounds like a shop. eBay's no good, or Tenria." Itsuki cradled Ajaha, exasperated. "Oh great, this guy talks more than Rim." He only now noticed, speaking of which, what about Ryger and Seo? They've both awakened, right? Are they entering the prelims? Behind them, Iberia kept enthusiastically. "Both our names start with I, how about double I?" The person he remembered was currently training. Seo on the opposite side frowned and asked, "Are you sick?" Rimu denied it. "No, maybe someone's talking about me, probably Itsuki." Seo worried, "How long has it been since that attack on Itsuki? I didn't think we'd be this far apart for so long. I hope he's okay." Rimu teased, making her blush. "You're such a weirdo." If you're that worried about Itsuki, why didn't you go see him after he beat the spirit beast? Too embarrassed, Seo suddenly ambushed. Rimu retorted, ambushing is cheating. Seo didn't care about cheating. We're training combat, right? You were careless, weren't you? Someone approached, they greeted joyfully. Master, he sternly reminded them. The preliminaries for the national tournament start the day after tomorrow. No time for fooling around. Seo beamed, finally another awakened to spar with. I'm tired of fighting Rimu. Her info displayed. Seo Hisaragi, human level 11, class, elementalist water heaven, tier 1, hidden stats, attack 110, speed 160, defense 125, mana 160, total 555. Rimu replied, I've never been to North B District. I heard it's a bustling city. Excited to see it. His info appeared. Horino Rimu's human level 10, class, elementalist heaven, tier 2, hidden stats, attack 100, speed 100, defense 100, mana 183, total 483. Over with Ryuji. He was inspecting the case of karma stones before him. Then casually asked, where's that hunter? He's late, doesn't seem like him. Tanky worried, did something happen? Ryuji flew into a rage at the news. Again, those useless lackeys. He crushed a karma stone in his hand and received experience. He awaited orders. Should we send someone to look for him? Ryuji answered. Forget him. The preliminaries are top priority. If we lose, the old man will lock me in isolation. By the way, what about that task we requested? Tanky reported. Out of 3,113 candidates on the northern continent, we've persuaded 887. Per instructions, all of them are level 5 or above. He praised, good, you're truly a reliable subordinate. Tanky watched Ryuji absorb the karma stone's power and said, this is the last mana stone. He was mid-level up, electricity crackling around him. Ryuji confidently, this is more than enough to crush the commoners. His info displayed. Kinoshida Ryuji, human level 12, class, elementalist lightning heaven, tier 2, hidden stats, attack 135, speed 168, defense 130, mana 170, total 603. Back with Itsuki, he had just stepped outside and then teleported. Upon meeting Nento, Itsuki contritely, Master, I'm sorry for letting Ageha face such danger. He replied, what could we have done? I can eliminate him if you want. Itsuki refused the offer. No, let me handle it. Nento, pleased with Itsuki's independence, said, very good, tell me everything later. Iberia beside them thought happily, so the northern continent's commander is his master. No wonder he wasn't surprised when I mentioned my dad. Nento is mysterious. I should get his autograph later. They were now in the infirmary. Ageha had been treated and was resting in bed. Itsuki announced, and that's why I've decided to enter the National Salvation Alliance preliminaries with Iberia, so I'm not stopping him. He asked about her condition. I understand. How are you feeling, Aja? She glanced at the butterfly perched on her finger. Bitch DI letter 1EC7P healed me, so I'm recovered. This is thanks to Iberia treating me with a rare device. Nento turned in surprise and asked, you possess the wood spirit bandage device made by Aiden, so you're his son, right? Iberia thought in astonishment. He not only knows about devices, but also knows my father. I should behave properly around the firstborn of the device. He proudly pointed at himself and introduced, that's right, I'm Aiden's father. Itsuki reminded him, you're saying it backward. Iberia blushed in embarrassment and hurriedly corrected himself. Sorry, Aiden is my son. Nento, unconcerned by the little mix-up, cleared his throat and said, anyway, thank you for saving my daughter. After the preliminaries, let me take Itsuki to meet Aiden with. You two should prepare for the tournament, right? You two may go. Tomorrow Ageha and I will be watching. Itsuki replied, yes, Iberia vowed. Rest assured, I'll make sure everyone sees that we can pass the preliminary. Ageha could tell her father genuinely liked Itsuki. Back when he was Kazunari and she was a child, he always brought her to meetings. He explained the reason. Itsuki has a strong self-destructive impulse when facing spirit beasts due to psychological trauma from his childhood. But that impulse weakens when there are people beside him he wants to protect. That's why I left you by his side. Ageha pondered this, become his friend, become his weakness, and then become the one he wants to protect. The one Itsuki wants to protect. Before leaving, Nento warned, by the way, regarding the spirit beast attack at the school, it has been determined not to be an accident but a planned operation. What did you say? The number of traders siding with the spirit beasts is increasing. Although the scales vary, there have also been attacks targeting commanders on other continents. As of now, humanity's future looks bleak. He was certain Itsuki will surely destroy it and become a light of hope. The next day, in North B District, the preliminaries of the National Salvation Alliance tournament. Itsuki stepped into the arena, looked at the densely packed crowd, and was quite surprised. There are more people than I thought. Iberia replied. I heard that once word spread Nento would come to watch. People who hadn't planned to join suddenly changed their minds. Entrants jumped from about 3,000 to nearly 5,000. Ryuji frowned at the news. Nento, that old man, I've introduced too many variables. Tanky reassured him. Rest easy. They're just a chaotic bunch who decided at the last minute. They won't have time to form teams, so we still have the numerical advantage. Tell those we've recruited to wear a red armband on their right arm so we know they're on our side. Coincidentally, Rimuru and Seo were also present. Rimuru asked, are red armbands in fashion? Should I wear one too, since Nento is coming to observe? Seo added, maybe Itsuki will as well. Saoryu Fujiwara, the preliminaries host, stepped forward to announce, everyone, I'll explain the rules before the preliminaries begin. He outlined the rules. The preliminary venue is divided into two zones, the inner zone and the outer zone. In the first stage of the preliminaries, you will start from the four main outer directions. First, you'll compete based on the time it takes to reach the inner zone. The moment you enter the inner zone, your ranking will be recorded on your wrist, and only the top 300 will advance to round 2. Rimuru stared in surprise at what was on his wrist. The wristband does that, Seo fretted. Cutting thousands in the first round is brutal. Saoryu Fujiwara continued, you may bring 2 devices, team up with anyone, use whatever you like. Only the results matter. After round 1 ends, rankings and the rules for round 2 will be announced. Iberia suddenly shouted, Itsuki, look over there. A man and his cronies drew everyone's attention. It was Kinoshida Ryuji. He commanded, got it. Anyone who runs in front of me or blocks my path, kill them. Iberia whispered, those by his side are probably candidates he bought off. For now, let's rush into the inner zone as fast as possible. Once Kinoshida enters and lets his guard down, we'll ambush him. He jumped, eyes wide in shock at Itsuki's next move. He stepped up to them and warned, I heard everything. 2 guys from the team snapped back. Who are you? Watch out. This guy's not wearing a red armband. Saoryu Fujiwara declared. Then round 1 begins. The number of youngsters wanting to join the Salvation Alliance is rising, which is great, but numbers mean nothing without quality. Nakira murmured beside him. In our day there were rather few candidates above level 15. He added, quite few. His info displayed, Height Nakira, Red Heaven Starstone, other info hidden. Saoryu Fujiwara recalled, the year you joined there were only 2 people, right? He replied, that's why I said it'd be boring without rookies like Kazunari Satsumi. Let's hope there are. He said nonchalantly, don't be ridiculous. A once-in-a-century genius doesn't just pop up out of nowhere. Height Nakira turned to ask Nento. I heard on the northern continent a student immediately after awakening defeated an 8th rank bone soldier and became your disciple. Is that true? Saoryu Fujiwara gasped. Defeat an 8th rank right after awakening. No way. Yet Nento confirmed. It's indeed true. He asked with interest, is that person among them? Saoryu Fujiwara thought, being Nento's second recognized disciple after Kazunari Satsumi, he must be absurdly gifted. He stared at the screen thoughtfully and asked curiously, who is it? Then he scanned individuals. Rimuru level 10, Golden Elementalist, middling tier 2 talent, not him. Seo level 11 holds tier 1 talent, but she's a water elementalist leaning support, probably not. It must be this girl, Haben Hana, wood elementalist, but unusually her level is 16. Seeing Nento remain unmoved, Saoryu Fujiwara doubted, really, but Hana is the highest level candidate here. Height Nakira was surprised. This time there's a level 0 candidate. He added, every year there are people who join out of curiosity but get wrecked and quit immediately. Over by Ryuji they mocked. A level 0 candidate, really? Tanky sneered beside him. Lost your way, kid. He took out the guy's weapon and strapped it to his arm. Ryuji's smile slowly stiffened. That's Charles's. Who the hell are you? Itsuki asked quietly. You're looking for me, aren't you? He realized that low-tier punk was the one who beat Alga. Are you kidding me? I get it, you came on someone's orders to provoke me, right? Ryuji ordered his underlings. Drive him out. Tanky obeyed. Leave it to us. We'll make him regret insulting you. They surrounded Itsuki, intending to gang up on the weak. But he teleported away. I don't have time to talk to trash like you. Then he landed in front of Height Nakira. He assessed silently. 2 level 6s and 2 level 7s, you don't even need to look to know the outcome. If you beg for mercy now, maybe you'll survive. Iberia braced himself. I can take down one, but no matter how strong Itsuki is, taking down 4 at once. He touched the box strapped to his hip, which meant he had no choice left but to use it. Honda stepped up in front of him, sneering. I expected a few tough opponents, but it turns out it's just a level 0 piece of trash. Itsuki stepped forward in a low voice and ordered the guy, step aside. At first the guy froze. This was the first time anyone had treated him like that. Then Honda burst out laughing, and the others followed suit. Height Nakira inwardly rejoiced. Good, I like that attitude, he declared. If you're about to die, I'll save you. Honda reached toward his head. I'll smash your skull to see what's inside. A punch square to the face sent a few of his teeth flying. Itsuki repeated for the last time, I said step aside. Height Akira was stunned, an opponent higher level than himself, and this kid took him down in an instant. His cronies were astonished. Honda is level 7, how did that newbie? The guy beside him reassured. He condensed a fireball in his hand. Don't freak out, it's just that he was overconfident. He activated a B-rank skill, full blaze barrage, full fire salvo, and declared, I'll burn you to ashes. Seeing the incoming blaze, Iberia was terrified. Too fast, I don't even have time to use the device. Some of their side worried, isn't that a bit much for a level 0? Tamu wasn't afraid. Prelims always have casualties. If you want to blame someone, blame yourself for acting tough when you're only level 0. When the flames in his hand died down, one of them spoke up. Hey, something's not right. The others were shocked. In the blazing fire, his black ice shield shattered the flames into fragments. They were shocked. What is that? Iberia surprised and delighted. No way, he blocked that Wideria fire attack. That's epic. Itsuki coldly warned them, stay away from me. System notice. Black Ice Shield defended against a B-rank fire skill using Black Ice Shield, increasing defense by 10%. Attack 310, speed 310, defense 341, mana 310, total 1240 plus 31. He thought to himself, defense increased by 33. Need to check whether Black Ice Shield's passive still activates when blocking the same skill from the same target multiple times. Tamu panicked seeing Itsuki unharmed. Is that an ice skill of his? There's no water elementalist here. How can he use an ice skill? He challenged the opponent. Try that move again. This time I won't block. He continued to form a fireball. You insulting me. A real man never says things twice. Itsuki replied nonchalantly. Yeah, I promise. He unleashed a stronger move. B-rank skill, overheat fire barrage. This time I'll finish you with my strongest attack. A torrent of fire hurtled toward where he stood, scorching heat spreading. Itsuki realized it's stronger than before but still a fire skill. Within that roaring blaze, his figure vanished. The cronies warned, you went too far. Tamu, confident in this firepower, it could even take down a level 8. He thought regretfully, I've spent all my mana. This was the finishing blow, a bit wasteful on a level 0 opponent, but the performance is over. Barely basking in his smugness, Tamu recoiled in panic. What the? He appeared before him, so if it's the same person's skill, Black Ice Shield's passive won't trigger anymore. Got it. Itsuki said casually, confirmed, time to finish this. Tamu fell back onto the ground in terror. He blocked my ultimate that easily. No way. Sama behind him was forming more fire to counter. Yeah, that ice skill is strong, but I found its weakness. The man poured more firepower in to stop Itsuki. This guy's B-rank skill is chain fire. When hit by those fireballs, Itsuki realized, trying to overwhelm him with numbers. Activate Black Ice Shield. At his feet, the fire erupted violently into an explosion. Sama believed, even with a strong skill, a level 0's mana is limited. If we drain his mana until he can't make that ice screen, we win. However, Itsuki's hand grabbed his, snuffing out the flame. Sama broke out in a cold sweat, unbelieving. What the hell? He closed the distance in an instant. Itsuki wrapped himself in Black Ice Shield and warned, even after blocking so many fireballs, the passive only triggers once. Every muscle in the man's body tensed. If your advantage is speed, ours is strength. Itsuki sneered, are you even trying? First he landed a hooking punch to Sama's throat. You look miserable, so I'll make it easy for you. As the man collapsed, Itsuki did the math. Plus 33 defense isn't 234, so it's calculated from the pre-buff defense. System update. Black Ice Shield blocked a B-rank fire skill with Black Ice Shield, increasing defense by 10%. Defense 310 plus 62 from Black Ice Shield. Itsuki glanced at the two remaining. 2 elementalists left. Rush in, I'll use you to stack the passive of Thunder Ward. They assumed the 2 were already down, no doubt. This guy's faking his stats. Let's get out of here. He mocked, you think I'll let you leave. They both lunged at once. Damn it, then I'll take you down. This isn't fire attribute, don't think that trick will work. They used a C-rank skill, Silver Serpent, lightning coiling out. System update. Absorbed C-rank lightning skill with Thunder Ward, increased speed by 5%. Attack 310, speed 341, defense 372, mana 310, total 1333. Height Akira was astonished. He's defeating awakened those higher level than him like it's a joke. He mused, who exactly is he? Itsuki thought, so Thunder Ward's passive is like Black Ice Shields. It doesn't stack for skills from the same target. Iberia looked at the sprawled bodies, stunned. They're all down. He admired, I thought this would be tough, didn't expect Itsuki to be this strong. What power are you using? Tamu behind doubted. What kind of freak are you? You can't be level 0. Iberia smiled coldly. You asked who are we? Itsuki surprised. We. He solemnly introduced. We are Team E. Remember that name. One day we'll be the strongest duo on the northern continent. He dragged Iberia by the collar. Forget that. Chase Kinoshida. He shouted dramatically. We're in the groove now. Tamu was left speechless at that name. Team E. How lame. Ryuji thought, quite noisy. That level 0 must have been knocked out already. But that crossbow is definitely Charles's. I'll have to investigate it later. No one on the northern continent can catch Charles except the savior. He was brooding, veins bulging on his face, when he saw someone streak by. Can had just passed, Ryuji smugly thought, past one more. Unlike those meatheads, I went with speed. While he was basking, a bolt of lightning attacked his whole body. Kan fell to the ground, trying to look up, attacking us at top speed. What kind of freak? Ryuji landed perfectly on top of his head. He arrogantly announced, that's what you get for running ahead of me. Ryuji turned back to his crew and warned, get your head straight. I need to conserve stamina for round 2. Don't waste my time on trash like this. Nento observed and asked, is that the son of Northern Region B's administrator, Kinoshida Ryuji? Saoryu Fujiwara judged, quite arrogant. Wonder how he was raised. He was at a loss, but he didn't break any rules, so we can't do anything. Ryuji was recovering his strength. Thanks to them clearing those nuisances, my stamina will be back soon. No one in the crowd behind dared to step forward. Ryuji looked at the building ahead, confident. With this I can breeze through round 2. So this is the inner area. Too easy. Behind him, lightning thundered down. Someone called out, Kinoshida. He startled and glanced back. Who knew a wildcard would show up at such a moment? Ryuji turned to the crowd and asked, who dares call my name like that? They panicked. Not me. Don't look at me like that. I didn't do anything. Someone at the back recognized him. It's him, that newbie level 0. They split into 2 lines to let him walk through. Ryuji had a bad feeling. Level 0, don't tell me. Seeing him approach, he had his answer. It really is him. Ryuji was annoyed at his subordinate's competence. Seriously, he beat all of them. No way, a level 6 and a level 7 and they couldn't handle. He assumed, got it, he must have bribed them. Ryuji snapped. How long have you been following me? Trash level 0. Itsuki got straight to the point. You'll stay here until we're done. Iberia felt quietly lucky. Basically, Itsuki brought me here and all our opponents got wiped instantly. Without Itsuki, I'd have been eliminated halfway through. He turned away without a glance. I'm busy, no time to dally with you, but I've prepared a few opponents for you. He ordered his underlings. You lot, deal with him. They sneered, what, all for a brat level 0. Calling Kinoshida's name straight up. Get real, we'll teach you manners. Don't worry, I'll show those 2 what hell is like. Iberia miscounted. 80, 78, 79. They've got over 100 people. What should we do? Itsuki grabbed him by the scruff and ordered, cover your head. With that, he teleported instantly away from the spot. Ryuji's collar was yanked back by Itsuki. The man was flung out, and Iberia was thrown in. Ryuji was caught by his underlings, while he was utterly stunned. He faced the man. Looks like you didn't understand my words. Let me say it again. Until we're finished, you're not allowed to go anywhere. Seo and Rimuru wearily entered the inner area. A notification displayed. You're ranked 4th, he's ranked 5th. Rimuru collapsed to sit and rest. Those red band troublemakers joined in too. They still haven't learned and keep trying to block us. Seo added, if we hadn't stuck together, we'd probably have been taken out before getting here. He lamented, but I thought we were the fastest. Who knew someone could be faster than us? Here Gakuge was 3rd, displeased, thinking, can't believe I'm only 3rd. Shinakagami 2nd, teased the opponent. Are you hungry? You just ate. She looked toward 1st place. And look at the winner, Kana Hanyu, she's level 16. Seo thought Itsuki must be acting alone, and if he stopped like we were. Rimuru gaped in shock. Look, someone's flying this way. She frowned and glanced over. He plummeted to the ground with a thud. System notice, Iberia has reached the 6th inner area. At that moment, Iberia anxiously called out, Itsuki. Rimuru was stunned. Did that person just say Itsuki? Seo confirmed. Yeah, I heard it too. They looked into the distance and saw his defiant back facing hundreds. Rimuru thought to himself, that back is definitely Itsuki. In the pouring rain, he repeated, when we're done, I'm not letting you go anywhere. Saoryu Fujiwara wondered, that rookie is 1 step from the inner area. Why does he keep clinging to Kinoshida Ryuji? Ajaha sighed sadly as he watched the scene. He suggested to heighten Akira, help him if he gets into trouble. He thought Itsuki just unleashed insane speed. Wonder if I could do that at that age. Over there, Ryuji said gloomily, you keep getting in my way time after time. Prepare yourself. What's about to start won't just be a fight, it'll be your total humiliation. In other words, this is a 100 against 1 pylon. Itsuki didn't care about ranking. Getting through qualifiers could wait. Right now, avenging Ajaha was his top priority. Ryuji shouted orders, "Kill him for me. Everyone, activate your abilities." They charged at him with fervor, while Itsuki stood calmly as rain, and wind whipped his coat. A fire type rushed up. "I won't let anyone take the prize, I'll take your head." C-rank skill, Fire Fist. Seeing Itsuki block his attack with one hand, he was stunned. What? Itsuki countered, punching the attacker square in the face. The fire type collapsed, teeth and lips mashed together in a bloody mess. The charging crowd halted. He knocked him out with one punch. Someone reassured them. "Don't panic, we outnumber him. We can't lose to an ordinary level 0. They recovered their morale. "Right," everyone charged. Itsuki said indifferently, "Even better." Black Ice Shield blocked a B-rank fire skill with Black Ice Shield, increasing defense by 10%. He unleashed area damage with Lotus Blaze. "Let's end this little show quickly. Activate Lotus Blaze." Waves of heat coiled around Itsuki's arm. A blast shot toward the crowd, blowing them backwards in explosions. Rimuru, who hadn't seen him in a while, exclaimed, "That's Itsuki's skill." Seiyo and Iberia stood stunned, speechless. Gakuge noticed the commotion over there. What the hell was that explosion? Shin stroked the little cat in her palm unconcerned. An explosion of that scale is just a mosquito to me. Kana hugged her sword in a corner, looking lost in thought. Saoryu Fujiwara, watching the wreckage, was horrified. That explosion was cast by a level 0 boy. The firepower is one thing, but how could he use a skill outside his profession? Nakira fell silent at the shocking sight. Ajaha thought privately, "I didn't expect Itsuki to have an AoE skill. No wonder he was so cocky in grassland territory. How many trump cards is he hiding?" Itsuki calculated, 30% of the firepower should be enough. They're human, so I have to hold back to avoid killing them. Ryuji stared at the devastation. Our sides wiped out, theirs are intact. He coldly collected himself and said to the man, "Next is you." Ryuji staggered. "We had over 100 people and you took them all out in an instant. What are you? Why are you obsessed with me?" Itsuki found it ridiculous. "Obsessed? You were the one who targeted me first and badly injured my friend. Today I'll make you feel the pain she suffered." The man unleashed his power. "I'm the son of the prestigious Kinoshida family from North District. All the nearby dungeons are mine. I don't need to struggle against disaster spirit beasts. By using the fate stones my family supplies, I can easily reach levels ordinary people couldn't dream of. Our foundation is different. I'll kill you, I will definitely win." B-rank skill, Thunder Cannon Violet, was activated. System notice detected B-rank skill, Thunder Cannon Violet. Activating super simulation, analysis progress, 1%. He charged straight at Ryuji and rammed into him. Ryuji clutched his stomach, trembling with pain, thinking, he dodged that. That speed, is he really level 0? This fight's unwinnable. The man called for help. "What are you doing? Get over here and help me." Tanky understood. "It's against the rules, but I don't care about face anymore." He boasted, "Tanky is a level 35 awakener. Prepare to go to hell." Nento's side was ready. Nakira excitedly cracked his knuckles to warm up. Understood. He sensed someone approaching from behind. Anti-magic, my mana sense is reacting. Someone's closing in at high speed. System notice, analysis progress, 19%. Of course, Itsuki noticed, and it wasn't just one person. A heavy impact reached him from ahead. Itsuki calmly glanced to assess the situation over there. In no time, he had pinned Tanky beneath him. Reminder, keep going. Itsuki resumed what he'd been doing, a murderous aura enveloping him. He glanced at Ryuji beneath his feet. "Seems your underlings couldn't make it." The man, terrified, blurted out his identity. "Wait, my father is the administrator of North District B, and he's a member of the Savior Alliance. Do you know the consequences of touching me?" He didn't care who your father is. One punch and Ryuji's knocked out. Itsuki felt relief. There, Ajaha has been avenged. She realized everything he did today was for her, and blushed at the flutter in her chest. Saoryu Fujiwara exclaimed, "That boy actually defeated Kinoshida Ryuji. Why is he looking this way?" Itsuki calculated silently. "If I stop the analysis at 99% now, I can recover stamina when entering round 2 with the simulation at 99%. System notice, analysis halt." A voice from behind him called out, "Seiyo." Itsuki. He was startled to hear that voice. Itsuki turned and saw Seiyo. She'd been standing there waiting for him for a long time. "Hurry and go inside. You'll be disqualified." Seiyo's voice was incredibly gentle. He stepped inside and greeted her. "Long time no see." System notice, Itsuki has entered the 7th inner area. Iberia and Rimuru rushed up and hugged him. "Itsuki, I missed you. This bastard's really glad you're okay." The two of them stared at each other, sparks flying. Rimuru, annoyed, asked, "Who are you? Why are you sobbing over Itsuki?" He nonchalantly, "Me." He proudly introduced himself. "I'm Itsuki's teammate, Iberia." Rimuru angrily barked at Itsuki. I never heard you'd team up with someone else. Traitor, Seo, surprised. Itsuki making friends is rare. Iberia retorted, Itsuki a traitor. Are you two a couple or something? What's your team name? He replied, team name, who cares about that? We're not kids. Do you? Iberia boasted. Of course, he tempted. Tell me then. Itsuki had to stop them. Cut it out before things get worse. But too late. Iberia proudly revealed, it's Team E. We really racked our brains to come up with that name. That name made Rimuru burst out laughing. Team E, how bland. He snapped annoyed. What's so funny? It's a great name. Saoryu Fujiwara announced, the number of people in the inner area has reached 500. Those who haven't arrived will be disqualified. Round 2 will start soon. In round 2, you'll each fight spirit beasts alone in the testing area for 1 hour. Rimuru surprised. Alone, Iberia grew serious. Finally, round 2. Heighten Akira, who'd been waiting for this moment. At last, I've been waiting here the whole time. He really looked forward to it. Let's see what special tricks you have. They moved to the round 2 venue, the arena packed with people. Rimuru curiously, round 2 happens here, right? Iberia couldn't hide his trembling. It's dark and creepy in here. Rimuru teased, it's been a while, but are you really still level 0? Is your level fixed? Itsuki admitted it. He wondered, so your stats don't go up either. How did you get stronger then? Iberia added, I'm curious how Itsuki is so strong while at level 0. Itsuki replied, about that my master told me not to tell anyone. Seo interjected, we were taught that the eliminator's skills are at national security level. She turned to Itsuki. Itsuki, you don't need to pay them any mind. Saoryu Fujiwara appeared and asked, is everyone ready? Iberia was astonished to see him step forward. The crowd murmured looking up at them. That's Saoryu Fujiwara. He organizes the national tournament every year. Beside him was Heighten Akira, a veteran of the River Ice War with the strongest physique. And that masked figure is that the legendary Nento, a reunion of legends. He spoke, now I will explain the rules for round 2. Listen carefully. Many disaster spirit beasts will appear in the trial area. Elimination points are based on difficulty. Notice, defeat spirit beast hard, 1000 elimination points. Points by difficulty, beginner, 100 common, 500 hard, 1000 nightmare, 5000. Saoryu Fujiwara continued explaining the rules. There is a 1-minute break after defeating a spirit beast. Then you will be forcibly moved to the next difficulty. Remaining break time, 56 seconds. Gakuge confidently, I'll climb straight to Nightmare tier. His info displayed, Gakuge human level 13, profession, Earth Elementalist, rank, tier 2, hidden stats, hidden. Itsuki suddenly blurted out, I have something to ask. Others whispered and gossiped, this guy's level 0, how did he pass round 1? He must have been carried. Have you realized round 2 is solo and started getting cold feet? Definitely. Saoryu Fujiwara permitted, what's up, ask away. He didn't beat around the bush. Is nightmare difficulty the highest tier? Heighten Akira laughed at that, while the old man stood there open-mouthed in shock. The others sneered immediately, bragging, a level 0 has no chance against a nightmare spirit beast. I don't think he could beat even a beginner, let alone nightmare. Gakuge chimed in, he's probably just trash who talks big. Saoryu announced seriously, in theory, the difficulty of disaster spirit beasts has no limit. You'll understand once you actually try to defeat a nightmare-level beast. Itsuki replied, no limit, Rimuru warned. Thinking about that is pointless. Nightmare rank is at least level 10. If we can beat hard, that's already lucky. Saoryu continued, points accumulated in prelims can be added to the official national tournament. In other words, whether you can join the Savior Alliance later heavily depends on your performance today. Rimuru cheerfully, points earned here count for the main tournament too. Itsuki silently decided, I have to use that. Kazunari Satsumi's record is 115,000 points. I must use this opportunity to surpass. A reminder announcement sounded. Everyone enter the trial area. Second prelim round begins. He stepped inside and realized, so this is the trial area. It's not much different from a normal dungeon. In the darkness, countless blazing red eyes were staring at Itsuki. They stepped forward. System reminder, beginner spirit beast, disaster hound level 1, 10 creatures. Elimination points, 100. Itsuki inwardly rejoiced, finally fighting spirit beasts. System notice, activated black ice shield. He intended to finish fast. I can't raise my stats from these guys, so end it quickly. Itsuki's image was displayed on the big screen. Saoryu, intrigued, asked Heighten Akira, you're watching him again, he answered. I also want to see how that girl Kana Hanyu fights. Heighten Akira, this boy is more interesting. His eyes didn't leave the screen. Here it comes. He was curious, is there really anything surprising? Inside, Itsuki wiped out the pack of disaster hounds in one go. System displayed, duration, 1 second, earned 100 points. Saoryu was shocked, 1 second, it usually takes minutes. he said happily. Told you so, right? Heighten Akira, this boy is more interesting. I didn't think an 8-tier fire dragon was a threat. Nento stepped forward to ask about the other contestants. He apologized awkwardly. Sorry, we were too focused. I'll switch to multi-screen mode. This way we can watch the top 10 candidates simultaneously. Aja saw Nento's intent. Dad, he's trying to divert attention from Itsuki, right? Saoryu glanced over. It seems most other candidates are still fighting at beginner level. Seo used water psychic powers to attack the spirit beasts. Gakuge fought up close, swinging his mace to kill them one by one. Kana used wood psychic powers to strangle the spirit beasts to death. Saoryu compared. Kana Hanyu is the only one keeping up with Itsuki. Aja cried out worriedly. Oh no, Itsuki's about to, he's being roasted by the fire dragon's flames. Saoryu was about to step forward. Did he exhaust himself fighting the disaster hounds and have no energy left to dodge? He'll be badly burned if he takes that fire head-on. Call the med team. Heighten Akira stopped him. Wait, watch a little longer. He was confident. At that speed, dodging an attack like this will be a piece of cake. System notice. Activated black ice shield. His whole body was wrapped in the black ice shield, without a single scratch. One slash split the fire dragon's body in two. As it fell, the system updated. Duration, 5 seconds. Earned 500 points. Saoryu was shocked. Not a scratch. That ice armor covered his whole body. He could have killed it instantly, so why bother tanking the attack? System reminder. Black ice shield nullified a C-rank fire skill, increasing defense by 10%. Itsuki thought to himself, I must make the most of every opportunity to raise my stats. He checked his stats. His defense was now 434. His info refreshed. Itsuki, human unfixed level, profession, eliminator, talent, nirvana superclass, skills, super simulation Z-rank, thunder ward level 1, black ice shield level 2, lotus fury level 2, piercing kick level 2, mana sensation level 1, awakening devour level 1. Stats, attack, 310 speed, 341, boosted 30% by Thunder Ward defense. 434, boosted 40% by Black Ice Shield, mana, 310 total, 1395. The screen showed remaining break time, 58 seconds, skip rest. He pressed yes, secretly hopping. Let me test my defense on the next disaster spirit beast. Heighten Akira knew, at this difficulty they'll test candidates' speed and combat senses. Saoryu confirmed, exactly. When a thunder tusk attacks, it channels electricity through its horn, delivering a double strike combining physical and lightning damage. If he got hit, his body would be pierced due to low defense, and he'd be paralyzed and unable to move because of poor lightning resistance. To beat a thunder tusk, he must use his speed to dodge and strike when it tires. Seeing Itsuki's next move, he gasped in surprise. Wait, what is he planning to do? Itsuki was currently touching the thunder tusk's horn. He tapped it lightly, checking. This horn was perfect for testing his defense. Lightning crackled around the horn, veins bulging on the tusk's face, steam puffing from its mouth. It used the horn to fling Itsuki backward, sending him flying through the air. Oijaha called his name anxiously. Itsuki. Heighten Akira couldn't predict his moves. This boy, everything I do is hard to predict, yet each time he produces results beyond imagination. The place where he hovered suddenly exploded. System notice. Withstood a C-rank lightning skill using Thunder Ward, speed increased by 5%. He realized, test complete. It seemed attacks from spirit beasts level 10 or below couldn't harm him. Itsuki lost interest in playing with it. Time to finish this. He activated Thunder Ward, speed increased 50%, and shot toward the Thunder Tusk. It arrogantly raised its head to meet the attack. Itsuki dove down from above like a bullet. One hand encased in black ice shield plunged straight into the Thunder Tusk's head. System report. Duration, 7 seconds. Earned, 1,000 points. Heighten Akira smiled and mused. So far his total time is under 15 seconds. He's not only faster than I was in my youth, it feels like he still hasn't used his full power. Saoryu worried, but next up is those lightning-fast hand movements and razor claws that shred enemies in an instant. A huge maw spits out iron chains to devour everything, and a massive body covered in an armor-like carapace. It has all those traits, the strongest, fiercest disaster beast in the prelims, the ultimate target for every candidate. Itsuki was facing a nightmare-tier spirit beast, Purgatory Colossus level 15. Elimination points, 5,000. Itsuki activated Piercing Orb. The orb punched through its head. System update. Defeated Purgatory Colossus level 15. Piercing Orb flight speed increased by 200%. Those watching the scene were stunned. He read the info. Piercing Orb flight speed, 9 ms total increase, 900%. Itsuki intrigued. Next one then. Saoryu had to change his view of the teen. Even a nightmare tier Purgatory Colossus, he killed it in seconds. System display, duration, 3 seconds. Earned 5,000 points. Cut to Seo's position. The spirit beast opened its maw and unleashed a stream of psychic energy. Seo activated a C-rank skill, Water Bullet. She calculated quietly, if I kill the remaining 2, I'll pass to normal tier. System update, beginner 1 progress, 80%. Gakuge confidently thought, I skipped the break. I'll be the first to reach normal tier for sure. On the announcement, normal tier progress, 0%. She estimated, I'll recover the mana I spent before moving on, until normal tier progress reaches 100%. An announcement rang out, nightmare tier conquered. Duration, 21 seconds. Rank 1. Seo cheered happily, that must be Itsuki. Gakuge was astonished. Someone faster than me, Kana. The mentioned Kana fell silent upon hearing the result. Itsuki had finished with that spirit beast. Let's move to the next floor then. Even now Saoryu Fujiwara couldn't believe it. He killed the Purgatory Colossus in the blink of an eye, pierced its armor. What is that dark orb? Heighten Akira ordered, increase the difficulty. Let's see how far that brat can go. System reminder, Nightmare Tier Stage 2, Purgatory Colossus level 15, 2 creatures. Elimination points, 10,000. He looked at the surrounding spirit beasts in disappointment. I was wondering what they'd do, and they just increased the number. The ferocious spirit beasts roared, waves of sound reverberated. Itsuki calculated, while it's roaring, I'll take out one first. System reminder, activated piercing orb. The orb pierced through one head with the message, defeated Purgatory Colossus level 15. Piercing orb flight speed increased by 200%. Piercing orb flight speed, 11 ms flight speed increase value, 1100%. Saoryu Fujiwara was puzzled. In one strike, what is that orb? Is there no limit to using it? Heighten Akira evaluated. It is indeed very strong, but that skill has a fatal weakness. He didn't quite understand. A weakness. At present, Itsuki was facing the final spirit beast. He frowned and compared. This speed, it's faster than any spirit beast I've ever faced. Outside, Heighten Akira explained reasonably. Because of their massive bodies, people often misunderstand them as very slow. But Saoryu Fujiwara remained unconvinced. What are you trying to say? Inside, Itsuki was condensing the orb. System reminder, activated piercing orb. The orb was negligible compared to the spirit beast's massive size. Heighten Akira continued. As a racial trait, they lack mana, but in exchange their other stats are greatly enhanced. Despite that gigantic frame, they're actually a speed type. Just as you predicted, it dodged the piercing orb. Spirit beast info displayed. Purgatory Colossus 1008, Colossus race level 15. Second tier talent, cannot use magic but all stats increased by 25%. Skills none. Stats, attack 320 speed, 300 defense, 320 mana, 0 total, 940. Only now did Itsuki realize the problem was getting dangerous. It dodged it. Heighten Akira admitted, that dark orb does a lot of damage, but its flight speed isn't that fast. He exploited the habit of roaring before attacking to strike preemptively. That brat, his combat instinct is really sharp. But if he can't increase the flight speed of that black orb, he probably won't pass this round. A punch from the spirit beast sent Itsuki flying far away. He was slammed into the rocky cliff behind him, causing a shockwave, thick dust to billow up, and the cliff face to cave in. Itsuki tried to drag his aching body. It could dodge at mid-range. Outside, Saoryu guessed, knowing it's not a hit but still using it, means he's hiding another ace up his sleeve. He thought to himself, could that really be it? They noticed an odd expression on Itsuki. Why was he smiling? Because he already had a solution. Quick, if that's the case, I'll close the distance. Immediately, Itsuki activated Thunder Ward. He was no longer where he had been, but was streaking toward the spirit beast. It ferociously raised its giant fist, ready to smash down. One blow sent a shockwave across the area, cracking the ground for dozens of meters. Aja covered her mouth in horror. She was genuinely worried for him. Saoryu hurriedly grabbed his phone. This attack is nothing like the Thunder Tusks. A direct hit would leave even him badly injured. Call the med team now. This time Nento stopped him. Wait. Heighten Akira had also noticed. Indeed, that punch's power is terrifying, but it's meaningless if it misses. When the spirit beast's fist rose, the thick smoke prevented them from seeing clearly. Finally, when the smoke cleared, it frantically looked down at the deep hole in the ground and saw no one. Itsuki's voice called from behind, over here. It instinctively turned around in a panic. A piercing orb had shot straight through the spirit beast's head. It was Itsuki who had launched the surprise rear attack to deliver this strike. Its massive body crashed down to the ground. System announcement, defeated Purgatory Colossus level 15. Piercing orb flight speed increased by 200%. Piercing orb flight speed, 13 ms flight speed increase value, 1300%. Duration 12 seconds. Received 10,000 points. Saoryu teased Ajaha. Rare to see Ajaha get so flustered like that. She bashfully looked away. I'm just praying for everyone's safety, that's all. Listen, if a young person carrying the future of humanity dies, that would be a huge loss for us. His family would be devastated. I'm just wanting everyone to be safe, that's all. I absolutely don't mean that Itsuki looks cool taking down those purgatory colossi or anything, because Itsuki would react the same way, so don't get the wrong idea. It's not like that. Saoryu reminded, Ajaha, you're more talkative than the last time we met. Nento was left speechless hearing him comment on his daughter. Saoryu turned to ask Heitan Akira, by the way, how did you know Itsuki dodged that attack? Heitan Akira replied, that brat, his speed isn't that different from the purgatory colossus. But when electricity ran through his body, his speed increased significantly. When that happened, the purgatory colossus couldn't land a hit on him. He wondered aloud. He managed to defeat 2 of them, but there were pretty dangerous moments. With his current points, he's guaranteed first place. If it were me, I'd stop here. But Itsuki's goal was set. If I want to surpass Kazunari Satsumi, the strongest of humanity, I have to keep attacking. I can't rest for even a second. System update on the spirit beasts attacking Itsuki. Nightmare Tier Stage 3, Purgatory Colossus level 15, 3 creatures. Elimination points, 15,000. As usual, he activated Piercing Orb, 1 lost its head. Itsuki silently counted, 1 down. Heitan Akira applauded. He chose to continue again, truly the one I had my eye on. Saoryu Fujiwara suddenly remembered. Now that you mention it, he went straight to Stage 3. He added, you too, by the way. He compared, even you, the one with the strongest body. Stage 3 was already the limit. I wonder how Itsuki will handle it. Inside, Itsuki was facing off against a ferocious spirit beast. Its fist lunged to grab him, but Itsuki shot away. He was teleporting to the top of its head. I'll boost speed with Thunder Zap 3 and close the gap, then jump behind it. When the piercing orb launched down, Itsuki counted. That's the second one. System update. Defeated Purgatory Colossus level 15. Piercing orb flight speed plus 200%. Piercing orb flight speed. 17 ms speed boost value, 1700%. Itsuki considered how to deal with the next spirit beast. The third one was. He was currently in its mouth. Its sharp jaws were ready to bite down. The spirit beast's mouth clamped shut with no gap, but its head was suddenly blown off. Inside, Itsuki was tallying up. Let's see, I'll gut you out. Activate Lotus Rampage full power. This spirit beast's mouth was emitting flame. The fire from within erupted outward, its body exploding into fragments. System notice, defeated Purgatory Colossus level 15 with Lotus Rampage. Total skill range plus 1%, current total plus 1101%. Duration 13 seconds, received 15,000 points. Saoryu Fujiwara couldn't believe his eyes. That skill that blew away many Stage 1 contender. Itsuki thought to himself as he saw the notification, Mana Stitch over 310. My mana has completely hit rock bottom. But as long as these calamity spirit beasts keep appearing, the passive of Mana Sense will replenish my mana. System display, Mana Sense level 1 passive. When detecting an enemy unit, recover 10% mana. Facing Itsuki were high-level spirit beasts. Stage 4 Nightmare. Purgatory Colossus level 15, 4 units destruction points, 20,000 current mana. 124 310 detected 4 enemy units, recovered 40% mana. Saoryu Fujiwara discussed. Stage 4 has begun. If he breaks this floor, he'll surpass his past self. Heitan Akira admitted. Exactly. Only Kazunari has passed Stage 4 so far, no one else has. I'm curious how far this kid can go. Inside the elimination round, he was tumbling to dodge the spirit beast's attack. Each time the piercing orb's flight speed increased, Itsuki noticed a pattern. Accuracy also rose. At this rate, if I speed the orb up a bit more, I can hit them without closing in. My mana is limited. I can't waste a single piercing orb. These spirit beasts were linked together by chain. He frowned when he noticed this. Chains, huh? The other spirit beast tilted its head and pulled the chain, meaning the piercing orb thrown at the other one's head had just missed. Its hand reached out to grab Itsuki. When grabbed, he thought, no, I can't get any leverage in this position. The spirit beast's hand tightened, trying to crush Itsuki to death. His bones were squeezed, he coughed up blood from the pain, and his joints cracked. Job done, it hurled Itsuki far away. He was covered in blood and collapsed with a thud. Saoryu Fujiwara worried. Akira, go help him quick. He was astonished, refusing to believe it. That's it, just here. Heitan Akira recalled his own past demeanor. Just like I used to be. The moment you move in, I'll go rescue him. Nento stopped him once more. Wait, he said with utmost confidence. Itsuki hasn't given up yet. Saoryu Fujiwara objected. Nento, this isn't the time to debate whether he gave up or not. Ageha chimed in. Exactly. If we don't intervene, Itsuki will die. Height Akira added. He's in a desperate state already. Nento calmly stood under everyone's criticism, but I know he still has an ace up his sleeve. Saoryu Fujiwara exclaimed in surprise. An ace up his sleeve, how do you know? He emphasized, that's not the look of someone who has accepted their fate. Itsuki doesn't give up easily. To kill it, I've done everything possible to train myself. System display, super simulation activated, continuing analysis. He remembered in the battle with Kinoshida Ryuji, super simulation activated his skill, but he decided to cancel it at the last second. Analysis progress, 99%, the analysis was cancelled to be ready for situations like this. When the progress hit 100%, the system notified, analysis complete for B-rank skill, Thunder Cannon Seed Hue. Acquired Thunder Break Level 2. Ageha cheered happily. Look, a blue lotus. Saoryu Fujiwara, seeing this for the first time, was curious. That's one of his skills too, but how does that blue lotus help in this situation? Height Akira eyed her expression skeptically. Ageha is so excited. Does the girl know something? Itsuki's notification updated. Thunder Break Level 2 active effect. Can absorb lightning-type attacks of B-rank and below into the body. When releasing absorbed lightning energy, self-speed increases by 100%. Absorption capacity, 0.5. Passive effect, each time a B-rank lightning attack is absorbed, self-speed increases by 10%, currently plus 15%. His hand was sheathed in black armor, fist clenched tightly, beginning to absorb power. System notice, acquired Thunder Break Level 2, each stat plus 20, removed all negative effects and fully healed wounds. The spirit beast's punch was blocked by the lotus blossom. Itsuki had no time to toy with it. Warm-up's done, from now on I'll go all out. His stats refreshed, attack 330 plus 20 speed, 330 plus 20 defense, 330 plus 20 mana, 330 plus 20 total, 1320 plus 80. Saoryu Fujiwara was stunned. He was beaten to death but fully recovered in seconds. That recovery power beats even a healer's sister. After that crazy AoE move, how many overpowered skills does he have left? When the piercing orb shot over its head, the system reminded, defeated Purgatory Colossus level 15. Piercing orb flight speed increased 200%. When another was killed, the same notification repeated. System display, successfully cleared Nightmare Stage 4. Duration, 31 seconds. Destruction points, 20,000. Watching their corpses fall behind his back, he felt confident in his current strength. No matter how many Purgatory Colossi appear, I'll win. Itsuki plunged into the Colossus suite. System notice, defeated Purgatory Colossus level 15. Piercing orb flight speed increased 200%. The next piercing orb flew over the Colossus head. Piercing orb flight speed, 27 ms increase value, 2700%. The next one was pierced through the chest. Successfully cleared Nightmare Stage 5. Duration, 57 seconds. Destruction points, 25,000. The following one was split up from the underside. Successfully cleared Nightmare Stage 6. Duration, 1 minute 34 seconds. Destruction points, 30,000. This scene was terrifying enough to scare those watching on the screen. Looking at the piled-up colossi, someone couldn't help blurting out, "This place is a total wasteland." I'm starting to wonder who's the real monster here, Itsuki or the Purgatory Colossi. Itsuki noticed, where's the next stage? Hey, aren't any more Purgatory Colossi appearing? Saoryu Fujiwara, still stunned. Unbelievable. I can't believe my eyes at what's happening. He pressed the red control button at the side, then spoke into the mic announcement. Itsuki, it's over. You've defeated all the Purgatory Colossi we prepared. Looking at the corpses piled into a small mountain, Saoryu Fujiwara reiterated. You've taken down all the Purgatory Colossi we set up. Itsuki couldn't believe it. Did I really clear them all? Isn't there supposed to be no cap on difficulty? He stepped over the Colossi corpses and walked on. I don't remember how many I killed or how many points I earned. Since I hit the limit, the gap with Kazunari Satsumi might not be that big. Besides, I achieved another goal, boosting the piercing orb's flight speed. System notice, you defeated 11 Purgatory Colossi level 15. Piercing orb flight speed increased 1100%. Piercing orb flight speed, 38 ms increase value, 3800%. Itsuki compared. 38 ms is faster than a regular car. Suddenly strange energy streams appeared behind him. Itsuki quickly glanced back, on high alert. Seeing no danger, he breathed a sigh of relief. I thought there was another one. Right, I totally forgot. Because I can't level up, the experience from spirit beasts slain here turns into karma stones. Behind him lay a giant karma stone the size of a person. Saoryu Fujiwara gasped. That's a karma stone. Why did it appear in the testing area? If it's blue, it contains at least 10,000 experience points. Nento revealed. Itsuki can't absorb experience, so any drops turn into karma stones like that. Akira realized. I thought the fixed level was because he was hiding his stats, but it turns out he really can't level up. Saoryu Fujiwara understood. If Itsuki teams up with someone and enters a dungeon, that teammate could absorb all the experience. Thank goodness the kid is human. If he were a spirit beast, I don't dare imagine. He picked up the karma stone, and it shrank into a palm-sized form. Itsuki approached the gate. I've finished what needed doing. Time to get out. The heavy gate slowly opened. Saoryu Fujiwara exclaimed joyfully, he's out. When Itsuki stepped out, the system displayed, Itsuki has completed preliminary round 2. Points earned, 106,600. Duration, 3 minutes 55 seconds. Rank, first. He stepped up to him and offered, Itsuki, I've observed your performance. You really have potential. Want to come with me? I'll make sure to recommend a fitting mentor for you. Itsuki declined without hesitation. I appreciate the offer, but I already have a master, so no thanks. Saoryu Fujiwara suspiciously asked, you don't understand, having a master, so what? No ordinary person can guide a young talent like you. Coming with me would be much better. I have connections and resources. Akira warned him. He said he doesn't need it. Pushy behavior like that will make you disliked. He stubbornly replied, do you think I'll give up that easily? Are you going to let someone else ruin Itsuki's talent? Itsuki was impressed with him. Back then you handled Kinoshida's lackeys. Akira said casually, don't worry about that. I just dealt with those rule breakers. Besides, he's Nento's disciple, so there's no point trying to persuade him. Right, Saoryu Fujiwara, astonished. What did you say? Whose disciple? Itsuki politely said to him, thank you for that back then. He still couldn't believe his ears. Itsuki is Nento's disciple. Nento at the back confirmed for him. Yes, that's right. He froze, so the suddenly appearing monster was Nento's disciple. Itsuki finally had time to greet Nento, master. He was very pleased with today's performance. Well done. I watched your performance closely. You're not hurt, are you? If you are, I'll have Ajaha heal you. Ajaha grumbled. He was planning to try stage 7 too. Better not bring any injuries back. Itsuki explained, not injured, but nearly out of stamina. A short rest and I'll be fine. Saoryu Fujiwara calmed down a bit. If he's Nento's disciple, that makes sense. Another one of his disciples also swept through the calamity spirit beasts we prepared. Do you know who that is? Kazunari Satsumi also made it to stage 6. Saoryu Fujiwara denied it. No. Back then stage 4 was the highest, so we later raised it to 6. If that's still not enough, we'll have to bump it to 8. He calmly requested, just sit down and watch with the other candidates. Round 2 is only starting now. Inside the qualifiers, Rimourou's substage progress hit 100%. He was shaking from fatigue fighting the Thunder Tetsu. I can't lift my arm anymore. Nightmare ranks seem a bit out of reach. System notice, Horino Rimuru finished challenge stage 2. Duration, 17 minutes 17 seconds. Points earned, 1600. Seo was also exhausted, substage progress 100%. She wearily lifted the Thunder Tetsu wrapped in water. With no high damage skills, I can only try to suffocate it by sealing it in a watertight sphere. But this takes forever and my mana is nearly gone. The next difficulty is impossible. When energy ran out, system notice. Seo finished challenge stage 2. Duration, 19 minutes 1 second. Points earned, 1600. Itsuki was surprised. Rimuru and Seo quit at the substage. I thought they could continue. Saoryu warned, don't assume everyone is as strong as you. Most candidates can't even pass normal rank. Those two killed the Thunder Tetsu so fast they'll likely be in the top 10. He wondered they should have failed, so why haven't they left yet? He answered, unless severely injured or under special circumstances, you can't leave the testing area. However, you're an exception. Akira watched the screen with interest. It seems another candidate has climbed to Nightmare rank. He speculated, with his rare ritual gear, Gakuge might at least take down one Purgatory Colossus. Spirit Summoner Shin Akagami has also progressed this far. Impressive skill. When Shin's Colossus prepared to attack her, it suddenly froze. For a moment, Shin's cat hauled another Colossus over, redirecting it toward the one that was attacking her. They began slaughtering each other. Itsuki asked suspiciously, can spirit summons change form? Can Ajaha's verdant leaf do that? Ajaha denied it. No, this is the first time I've seen one that can transform. Spirit summons come in many varieties. Their abilities are full of mysteries. Be especially careful if you encounter any spirit summoners from now on. He thought of the Death Hound. Up close the spirit summon looked pretty strong. I'd ignored the stolen Death Hound from Charles all this time. From now on I'll funnel every experience drop to it. He thought to himself, Seo and Rimuru have given up. No need to stick around here, let's go. But Itsuki had to change his mind when he saw. The battle with Iberia still wasn't over. Seeing his mysterious armor, Itsuki said in surprise, "Iberia, what's that armor? Your dad's handiwork." He thought to himself, "This is the most powerful exterminator gear that old man made for me." System displays info: Dragon armor, exterminator grade X, attack speed plus 100, exterminator effect. After 1 minute equipped, attack and speed plus 20. Maximum cumulative duration 15 minutes. Iberia understood well. This device has a will and chooses its master. I must have gone through a heap of trouble to get it. It adds 20 attack and speed each minute equipped, but if you wear it over 15 minutes, you suffer insane penalties. Must finish it within 15 minutes. Notification: stats increased now. Attack plus 120, speed plus 120. He guessed. The earlier notice about conquering the nightmare must mean Itsuki had to push harder so as not to hold him back. Your victory bolstered Iberia. He lunged toward the giant. One of Iberia's boots crashed down on its face. He wasn't about to let Itsuki lose face. After all, we're pair E. Someone outside watching smiled and said, "He's going all in, huh?" A mechanical announcement rang out. Round 2 complete. Saoryu Fujiwara declared, "Only the top 10 scorers advance to the national tournament finals. Also, the top 2 will receive special rewards at the final." Gakuge collapsed to the ground to rest, supremely confident. "Apart from Kana, no one has more points than me. That special reward is definitely mine." Saoryu Fujiwara reminded them, "Now we will announce the top 10. The scoreboard showed, number 1, Itsuki, 3 minutes 55 seconds, total over 100,000 points. Second, Kana, 23 minutes 43 seconds, nearly 17,000 points. Third, Gakuge, 24 minutes 15 seconds, total nearly 7,000 points. Fourth, Iberia, 27 minutes 59 seconds, total equal to Gakuge. Then in order, Shinakagami, Rimuru, and Sei. Others gasped, over 100,000 points. Even Lantern Guy only has about 60,000. With that score, he'd easily take national first, right? Each purgatory giant must be 5,000 points. How many did he kill to get 100,000? Gakuge was shocked reading the rankings. "What? I'm third. Who's this Itsuki guy? Never heard of him." Kana exclaimed, "Itsuki, I really want to duel him." Seo said sadly, "The gap between me and Itsuki is that big. I guess melee just isn't my thing." Saoryu Fujiwara shouted happily, "Regional qualifiers are over. The national rankings are in. Itsuki leads in first, ahead of second by 65,000 points." Aja glanced at Nento wearing a mask, rueful. "I can't see his expression, but I can feel Dad must be proud." The new sun of humanity was shining ever brighter. Iberia was very happy to hear the news. Over 100,000 points. Knew Itsuki would be top. "But I put on a performance worthy of pair E. Beside him lay the corpse of a giant." Itsuki approached to praise. "Yeah, you did great. You surprised me." Iberia's eyes began to swim, but he still smiled and replied, "Right." At the arena, Saoryu Fujiwara officially announced, "The preliminary round of the 21st Salvation Alliance National Tournament has concluded." Itsuki carried the unconscious Iberia out of the qualifier. Meanwhile, in a luxurious room at Southern Continent Army 1, an old man sat motionless with his eyes closed. Kiori, not very pleased, asked, "We were dragged out here at dawn just to watch an old man meditate." The person beside her warned to watch his words. "That's the supreme commander of the Southern Continent. He can foresee the future. He's a prophet." The person they were waiting for was the supreme commander of the Southern Continent, Balga. Kiori, puzzled, asked, "Then why is the barrier always raised before the announcement is made? If he can really predict the future, tell us where the points will drop before it happens." He explained, "Elder Balger can only foresee a small portion of the future, but he's still a heavyweight among humanity, the only one who can stand toe-to-toe with the supreme commander of the Northern Continent, Nento." Suddenly Balger's eyes flew open, sweat pouring down his aged face like rain. He shouted, "It's him," because his prophecy was 100% accurate. Balger collapsed, murmuring, "The Northern Continent." 2 disciples stepped forward to support him. "Elder Balger, are you all right?" Balger croaked. "The Northern Continent is in danger." He cried out in terror. A massive assault of spirit beasts is about to descend on the Northern Continent, including several over level 100. Night fell outside. It was peaceful. He checked his stats. Finally, his total had surpassed 1,500. His info updated. Itsuki, human, indeterminate rank. Profession, eradicator. Talent, Nirvana, special grade. Skills, Ultra Simulation Z rank, Thunder Break, Thunder Suppression 3 rank 2, Black Ice Barrier rank 2, Lotus Rampage rank 2, Piercing Orb rank 2, Mana Sense rank 1, Spirit Devour rank 1 stats. Attack, 330 speed, 380 35% boost from Thunder Suppression 3, Defense, 462 40% boost from Black Ice Barrier, Mana, 330 total, 1502. Itsuki remembered, they say you get 50 attribute points each time you level. System reminder. Level up. Receive 50 attribute points. Decide where to allocate. He calculated 1500 is probably around level 30 for a typical awakened. Speed and defense can scale indefinitely via skill passives. An update notice popped up. Speed plus 10%, defense plus 10%. Itsuki thought about mana. His mana also regenerates infinitely thanks to mana sense, but attack is the only thing with no obvious way to raise. A voice called from behind, "Dinner's ready." He turned to look. Rimuru, apron on, called to him, "Itsuki, I cooked a bunch of your favorite dishes." Seo stood nearby. He felt a quiet happiness. This was enough for now. Ultra simulation might snag an offhand skill that boosts attack someday. They gathered around the hearty meal, Nento seated at the head. Itsuki sighed. "It's been a long time since I ate Rimuru's home cook." Itsuki glanced around. "Where's Iberia?" "Still asleep." Ageha reported, "I treated him earlier. All his wounds are gone. But he seems to have pushed himself to total exhaustion, so he's still sound asleep." Rimuru added, "Still, I'm amazed. A nightmare rank stage that even Seo and I couldn't pass, yet someone at level 0 like him managed to conquer." Seo snorted. "He's mistaken. My cooking is so good it made him vocalize his feelings," she reminded them. A gloomy figure appeared behind him. Rimuru turned. "Something behind me." He saw the person ravenous to the point of madness. "Food, give me food." Rimuru almost fell out of his chair in fright. Seeing Iberia eat like a starving tiger, he crossed his arms and scolded. "You gave me a scare. Sneaking around like that gave me a heart attack. And why are you eating from someone else's seat?" He finished a big bowl of rice, still scowling. Rimuru was frightened a second time. "What's wrong? Are you mad at me?" He looked like a kid, licking his lips happily, and said, "So good." He breathed a sigh of relief. "Back to normal, huh? You should thank my cooking skills." Iberia smiled brightly and asked, "You cooked this. Why don't you quit being an awakened and become a chef? You're more talented at cooking." Hearing that, Rimuru snapped, "Is that supposed to be a compliment?" Nento suddenly spoke. "You two want to be saviors too, right? Then I want to ask something." He posed the question to the two of them. "What's the scariest thing?" Rimuru rubbed his chin thoughtfully. "The scariest thing is probably the opposite of what I expect. My dream is to be a savior, save up a ton of money, travel the world while I'm young, and eat amazing food. The exact opposite would be aging. Once you get old, you won't have the energy to travel, and your taste buds might get so bad you can't tell flavors apart." He shook his head vigorously, grimacing. "Just thinking about it gives me the creep." Nento turned his attention to Seo. "What about you?" she recounted. "Me, I was born into a family of doctors and raised in a hospital. In my memories since I was little, I've seen many people go through illnesses, both big and small. I've seen patients die in front of me." She continued, "It became an obsession for me, so even a simple cold or fever terrifies me." Itsuki realized why. So that's why she ran away the other day. "Just because I sneezed a little." He recalled her frightened reaction that day. Nento said, "Awakened people live about twice as long as normal folk and hardly ever get sick. You can say goodbye to the things you fear." Iberia panicked when he felt the man's glance. "Me." He hesitated. "What I feared most was failing to get past the preliminaries. Now I'm afraid I won't be able to stand by Itsuki's side anymore." Iberia curiously asked, "Itsuki, what's your biggest fear?" Itsuki replied, "Why are you suddenly asking me that?" Seo wondered if he had any fears. On his side they urged, "Say it. You're not fearless, are you?" Rimuru was curious. He couldn't imagine what Itsuki could possibly be afraid of. Itsuki opened up. "After my parents died, I really worried about how I would continue living. Powerless, angry, sad, hungry. My body was possessed by those negative emotions until Seo and Rimuru showed up in front of me. They came over and asked about the little boy Itsuki. Why are you sitting here crying alone? The sky's so nice, it's a waste to keep staring at the ground." Seo sat down to ask, "Do you have a cold? Should we go to the hospital?" Rimuru held out a lunchbox. "Eat something and your worries will melt away." Itsuki said emotionally, "The warmth I received from those two pulled me out of that negative world. After that I met my master, Ageha, and also Iberia. Like gaining teammates, everyone here gazed at Itsuki gently. He compared it, like my family used to be. This feeling of security is something I haven't felt in a long time. Sometimes I wish this moment could last forever, more than anything else. I've always been afraid of living alone." Ageha blushed, thinking to herself, Itsuki's current atmosphere, it's calm and peaceful. It's completely different from that hair-raising feeling before. Iberia hugged him tightly, moved. "Itsuki, I will never leave you." Itsuki denied it. "No, that's not what I meant." Nento explained, "The reason I asked is to confirm whether, when you two become saviors and face real danger, you'll regret choosing this path. For a savior, regret is the one thing you absolutely must never allow. Remember this well, a death without regret is the goal of every savior." They replied in unison, Yes, I'll engrave that in my heart. He stood up, left a sentence, then departed. Then hurry up and finish your meal and go rest. Seo and Rimuru must return to North B tomorrow. The next morning they saw their two friends off. Iberia waved goodbye. Next time treat me to your home cooking. Rimuru agreed at once. Sure, leave it to me. Just don't cause trouble for Itsuki. Seo waved farewell. See you at the national tournament then. Seeing him sniffling beside them, Itsuki asked curiously, since when did you and Rimuru become so close? Nento turned back to urge, let's head back too. He suddenly remembered, oh right, there was something he wanted to ask Seo. Maybe during the national tournament would be a good time. Spotting someone running up from afar, Itsuki was surprised. Ageha. Why does she look so rushed? Nento asked, what's the matter? She panted, urgently reporting, there's a top-secret report from the southern continent. He had a bad premonition. What report? Ageha couldn't speak here. This classified information is highly secure. It can only be revealed to saviors above level 50 and continental commander. Nento permitted, it's fine, just tell us. Telling these two is okay. Go on. Ageha got straight to the point. A new prophecy was just issued by the southern continent's commander, Elder Balger. It seems a large-scale attack by the Calamity Spirit Beasts will occur on the northern continent within 3 days. Itsuki shocked, Elder Balger, is that prophecy reliable? As Iberia knew, Elder Balger is the most famed prophet across all 5 continents. His prophecies are almost certain to come true. Ageha suggested, Father should evacuate the northern continent immediately. He guessed, there must be some reason the Calamity Spirit Beasts would launch such a large attack. Very likely their target this time is me, the supreme commander of the northern continent. So if I stay here, I'll certainly be an excellent bait. Ageha disagreed. Father was never a combat specialist to begin with. If he knows he's the target, there's no reason to stay and take the risk. For now, evacuate to the central continent. Itsuki agreed. I also agree with Ageha. If you're short on people, I'll stay and fight. He refused to be persuaded. I've decided no more discussion. Itsuki, I need you for another task. He switched topics. What about protecting my master? Nothing is more important than that. Nento mentioned Iberia's father. Aiden is the finest artificer across all 5 continents. It would be terrible if anything happened to him. I want you and Iberia to be responsible for protecting Aiden. I'll also dispatch Awaken from here to assist. Iberia was surprised. They're mobilizing special combat forces just because of my old man. He reacted similarly. Is my master trying to get me out of the battlefield? Seeing his children unhappy, Nento reminded Ageha, I also have 3 requests for you. He issued a series of orders. First, announce this upcoming attack to the residents of the northern continent and have Awakened under level 50 evacuate civilians to safe places. Next, notify all Awakened in the northern continent above level 50 and order them to be ready to respond to the Calamity Spirit Beasts at any time. Finally, summon Height Nakira here. In this sparsely populated area of North Sector 1, we won't need to worry about civilian casualties during the battle. Here, we'll face them head-on. The next day, Ageha came to report on progress. Father, I've arranged everything as instructed. Height Nakira should arrive soon. Nento felt guilty. I'm sorry for the trouble. Ageha looked downcast, not wanting to talk. He read her mood. Worried, are you? Even though Aiden already has seasoned guards beside him. In that case, I'll just wipe out the minnows and bait the big boss into showing himself. Ageha admitted, you're right, father. You saw through everything. He revealed, a prophecy says a calamity beast of level 100 or higher will appear this time. Exposing our trump card is unavoidable. The reason I specifically sent Itsuki there is that with Itsuki's abilities, if he joins a fight against such a calamity spirit beast, she understood, he'll fight in his usual style. His power will be exposed to them and they'll act to eliminate Itsuki at all costs. Ageha, I understand, so to prevent that. Nento added, right, but there's another reason. Looking at his battles so far, it seems Itsuki lacks offensive power. There's a rumor that Aiden possesses a device that boosts attack power. If he can absorb that device, from attack and defense to mana, Nento predicted, a perfect Awakened, possessing everything, will be born. Day 1 of the prophecy, 8:00 p.m. across every district of the northern continent. The curtain rose on the attack as stone pillars rained down. In North B, Itsuki sped up, asking Iberia who was right behind. It's 8:00 p.m. How far until your house? He estimated. About 100 kilometers left, I think. He urged, a spirit beast could ambush us at any time. We must hurry to Iberia's father's place. He suddenly pointed in alarm. Itsuki looked. His steps halted. It was a black cloud covering the sky, with streams of fire raining down. Iberia shouted, stone pillars. The attack has begun and the pillars are falling on the urban area. They could only gape as pillars slammed into the high-rise building. Itsuki tense thought, the alert just went out, so people must still be evacuating. If spirit beasts hit now while the city is in panic, heavy casualties are inevitable. A spirit beast was coming. Everyone run. Stone pillars, just like Elder Balger predicted. Damn, it came too soon. Iberia anxious. Barriers are forming. If we abandon the civilians here, many will die, but if we help, we'll interfere with the mission. He reasoned. Iberia must be exhausted from the long trip, yet he didn't ask for rest even once. He must be worried about his father. If I suggest saving civilians, he'll definitely refuse. Yet Iberia demanded, Itsuki, go help. The spirit beasts inside the barrier are at least level 20. Without high-level awakened, many will die. He agreed. Understood. Change of plans. We'll eliminate the spirit beasts inside the city first. In the city, the spirit beast's colossal foot stamped the ground with a thud. It was a pyre Colossus, level 21, its body blazing with fire. Yama opposite rallied everyone, 3 level 15s and a level 16 tough. But against a level 20 spirit beast, we still have a chance. He had a C-rank skill, Stone Shield. Yama forced himself to steady the team to command, hold formation, I'll block its attack. As its fiery attack came, he shouted, everyone find an opening and counterattack. One punch sent Yama flying backward with a cartoonish whoop. The impact cracked the wall behind him. Yama whispered, impossible. The team fell into despair. Even him, the one with the highest defense stat among us, got killed instantly. Then we definitely don't stand a chance. Someone panicked. What should we do? Someone fled. What do you mean, what to do? Run. Fighting that thing is suicide. A teammate shouted, hey, watch out. Namkai sneered coldly. You should worry about yourselves instead. Only now did he sense the danger creeping up behind him. Namkai lunged toward it, begging, please, I'll do anything, don't kill me. He had a C-rank skill, water cannon. Namkai looked into the crater, thinking to himself, when did that thing get behind me? No wonder I spat out those pathetic words. But this is the end. After all, I'm a water elementalist, the natural enemy of fire attribute calamity spirit beasts. The others tiptoed forward to check. Did he actually succeed? To be sure, I'll finish it off. Namkai stopped them. Don't interfere. I'll defeat the spirit beast alone. I must be the one to finish it. The spirit beast revived, flames roaring across its body. He panicked, turning to his teammates and urging, it's revived, kill it now. Seeing the sea of fire surging toward them, they felt their end had come. What is that gigantic flame? We're toast. At the nick of time, Itsuki appeared and formed a shield with the black ice barrier to block the blaze. Iberia stood behind him and announced, leave this place to the dynamic duo. Itsuki ordered, Iberia, don't worry. I'll handle this one. You evacuate the civilians. He smiled brightly and replied, Roger, system display. Black ice barrier, defense plus 10% for blocking a B-rank fire elemental skill with the black ice barrier. Those present buzzed, blocking a giant fire that easily. Are those two saviors? Itsuki answered. We're not saviors yet, but one day I'll become a savior even stronger than Kazunari. Namkai remained disdainful. A savior stronger than Kazunari, huh? What a cocky kid. Iberia scolded, what the hell are you doing letting a kid save everyone? He snapped back. No help wanted. I was going to take it down myself anyway. The bystander was shocked. Not a savior. A mediocre awakened can face that spirit beast. Is that ice armor surrounding his body a device? Itsuki thought, oh right, Master told me something before we left. Nento reminded, the black orb you unleashed is devastating but takes time to chant. And compared to truly strong calamity spirit beasts, its projectile speed isn't exactly fast. If you miss the first strike, they'll be on guard and it'll be even harder to hit. So try to avoid using that move in future battles. Keep it as a trump card for truly critical moments. Listen carefully. Only use that black orb when you're confident you can finish the opponent. He assessed the situation. I can't use the piercing orb in front of a crowd. The people behind kept chatting. Is the rescuer an awakened? His armor looks fancy. He's a high-rank awakened. Itsuki dashed in, preparing for close combat. If that's the case, I'll have to beat it with brute force. Lightning crackled around Itsuki's fist. System update. Activated lightning suppression 3. He teleported toward its head, and the whole spirit beast was knocked flying backward. It crashed to the ground, struggling to get back up. How could Itsuki give it a chance? His whole body swelled huge under the black ice barrier. He jumped down from above onto the spirit beast's head. The stomp made the ground quake, the aftershocks spreading outward. Everyone watching doubted reality. The spirit beast is being completely pushed back. Wasn't it supposed to be really powerful? Someone guessed. I've seen that awaken's face. He looks at most 18. The spirit beast must have been badly hurt beforehand. Someone broke out in a cold sweat. Are you kidding me? A level 21 pyre Colossus can't even fight back. What the hell is this kid? Seeing Itsuki's figure gone from ahead, he wondered, where did that boy go? Someone behind recounted. Right after defeating the spirit beast, he went off somewhere with that blonde guy. Namkai stepped forward to take credit. A level 0 like him could do that because I wore the pyre Colossus down to its limits. His buddy marveled. Even I, a level 15, couldn't follow that speed with the naked eye or muster the strength to punch a pyre Colossus away. That level 0 guy, he could be compared to a level 30. Itsuki still wasn't fully satisfied with his performance. Even against a spirit beast of that level, an instant kill shouldn't be possible. This wasn't right. I have to find a way to raise my attack power at all costs. System updates the stats. Attack, 330 speed, 760 thanks to activating lightning suppression 3, defense, 495 plus 50% from activating black ice barrier, mana. Recover 10% mana when a hostile unit is detected. Day 1, 10:30 p.m., Iberia sprinted after Itsuki, excitedly exclaiming, "Amazing, Itsuki-san, that speed just now, my eyes couldn't even track it." Itsuki tersely replied, "Even if you're fast, it's meaningless without power." They stopped at a safe spot. Iberia, panting, hesitated and said, "I never thought about that before." "If you want to increase your power, there's an effective way," Iberia said. Hearing that, Itsuki curiously asked, "An effective way?" Iberia confidently declared, "My old man's storeroom is full of devices. There must be some tools that boost attack power. You're strong, Itsuki-san, and as Izumi Nento's disciple, he'll likely be willing to give you one." He couldn't help fantasizing, chuckling creepily and muttering at the thought of Itsuki-san wearing gear. Itsuki bristled and asked, "What's with that creepy laugh? What are you imagining?" Iberia promisingly said, "Let's leave. Once we're home, I'll ask the old man to prepare a suitable device for you." Itsuki was a bit absent-minded, thinking, "I thought I'd been holding back my speed on the way here, but even so, with Iberia's pace, keeping up was probably all he could manage." With that thought, he suddenly picked Iberia up sideways. Iberia jolted in panic. "Itsuki-san, what are you doing?" Itsuki replied nonchalantly, "If you're tired, don't force it. At this rate, even if you run into a spirit beast, you won't have the strength to fight." He didn't dally further and leapt off carrying Iberia. Iberia dazedly complained, "I'm not ready yet." He moved too fast. Itsuki didn't slow his pace, merely saying, "We've delayed long enough, endure it." Prophecy Day 1, 11:05 p.m., a clear moonlit night. Deep in the forest there stood a wooden house. Before long Itsuki and Iberia arrived. Iberia stretched and complained nonstop, "Finally here. I thought my arms would fall off." Itsuki inspected the house for a moment, then asked Iberia, "Why do you live so deep in the forest? It'd be safer in the city." He confidently answered, "He says it's too noisy in the city to focus on craft." "Don't be fooled by the shabby wooden exterior. Its defenses aren't to be trifled with. My old man set dozens of traps around the house." Hearing that, Itsuki realized inwardly, "I get it now, no wonder I sensed those faint mana fluctuations." He quietly activated his mana sense. Iberia led the way, loudly reassuring him, "Don't worry, if you follow me you won't trigger any traps, just stick close." Itsuki didn't dare say it aloud, thinking instead, "I don't need you. I can sense and dodge them with mana." As Iberia strolled ahead, Itsuki hesitated to warn him, "Hey, over there." But Iberia didn't hear. Inside he was grinning like a peacock. "Finally I'm leading the way." Hidden under the leaves on the ground was a small switch. Unaware, Iberia accidentally stepped on it. Realizing he'd sprung a trap, he panicked and shouted, "I'm doomed, I got too excited and forgot there are traps here." Itsuki, exasperated and unbelieving, asked, "Is this really your house?" The ground began to shake violently. Iberia swore loudly, "Crap, this is the worst kind of trap." At that moment Itsuki also noticed. Right, the mana vibrations were growing stronger. A humanoid device surfaced from the ground. An epic iron golem. Attack 500, speed 300, defense 500, mana 200. Seeing it, Itsuki couldn't help blurting out in astonishment, "He even has a humanoid device." The iron golem threw a powerful punch at Iberia before Iberia could recover and counterattack. Itsuki quickly sprang forward, shoved him aside, and faced the iron golem head-on. He slammed a solid punch to block its iron fist, but he couldn't hold out long and was knocked away. Itsuki had to scrape along the ground to steady himself. He inwardly sighed, "Even a device has higher attack than me, of course. It's meant to protect Iberia's father. I can't destroy it with the piercing orb, what a nuisance." Tense, Itsuki immediately turned to Iberia and asked, "Iberia, is there a way to stop it?" Iberia quickly cooperated. "Aim for the mana stone on its chest. That's its power source. If you destroy that, it won't move anymore." Hearing this, Itsuki glanced at the iron golem and instantly spotted the mana stone he mentioned. Wasting no time, Itsuki activated lightning suppression 3. His body was immediately shrouded in flickering bolts. He confidently declared, "If you know the weak point, this is easy. I'm weaker in strength, but I'm faster." With that, he suddenly unleashed a powerful surge of electricity at the iron golem. As it repeatedly brought its iron hand down to strike him, he effortlessly dodged each blow, while the iron golem was fixated on attacking with no defense. Itsuki nimbly ran behind it to disrupt its reflexes, then seized the opportunity to steal the mana stone from its chest. The iron golem lost its energy source and, as expected, became immobile. Just as Itsuki breathed a sigh of relief and held the mana stone up, asking Iberia, "That should do it, right?" A shadow appeared behind him, eyes glowing red, preparing to slash down with a sword. Iberia immediately shouted to stop him. "Hold on, Yusuke-san." Sensing something amiss, Itsuki turned just as the blade was coming down. The man heard Iberia's cry and quickly halted before it was too late. Itsuki stared at the sword inches from his face, nervously wondering, when did he get here? Bokudo Yusuke finally spoke properly, explaining, "Iberia, I thought some bandits were sneaking in." Itsuki kept staring at him, puzzled. "What's this? While being targeted, I didn't sense any mana vibrations at all." Bokudo looked back and asked, "Who is this?" Seeing him sheath his sword in an instant, Itsuki was even more surprised, thinking the sword disappeared. Iberia then stepped in front of Itsuki, smiling as he introduced Bokudo to him. "This is my friend, Tenma Itsuki. He's level 0 but very strong. We're a team called." Before Iberia finished, Itsuki lightly placed a hand on his shoulder and cut to the point. "More importantly, where's your father?" Hearing that, Iberia asked Bokudo, "Right, where's my old man?" Bokudo honestly answered, unaware someone was approaching. "The master is behind you, but be careful. He seems to be in a bad mood." Aiden approached with a scowl, making no sound. Seeing him, Iberia immediately bragged, "Dad, listen, I passed the preliminaries." Then he reminded him of their previous deal. "I even cleared the nightmare tier and ranked 4th in the region. Like you promised, let me freely pick a device." But Aiden said nothing and slapped Iberia hard. He glared through tears, clutching his face and angrily asking, "Hey, why did you hit me?" Aiden, furious and red-faced, veins bulging, shouted an order, "Hand over the dragon armor. Did you steal it, or what?" Iberia stubbornly shouted back, "So what? I just borrowed the epic device a bit. Did it have to hit me like that?" Aiden, still furious, warned, pointing at him, "If you wear the dragon armor too long, something irreversible will happen. If you use it again without permission, I won't go easy on you next time." Iberia sulkily threw the bag to the ground, snapped, "Fine, I get it. I'll never use your gear again," and stormed off. While Itsuki was dazedly watching Iberia go, Aiden called out to him, "Yes, I'm Tenma Itsuki, nice to meet you." Startled, Itsuki turned and went straight to the point. "A prophecy warned of a large-scale calamity of spirit beasts in the northern continent, so my master ordered me to escort Aiden-san." Before he could finish, Aiden cut him off. "I've heard about that already." There was a tone of contempt in Aiden's voice as he said bluntly to Itsuki, "For someone as strict and seldom willing to accept disciples as my master, why would he take in a teenager who looks completely ordinary?" But then he suddenly froze, eyes wide in shock, and exclaimed, "Wait, your level fixed?" Aiden stared at Itsuki's stats, hardly believing his eyes. Tenma Itsuki, human level 0 fixed, vocation, exterminator, skills, hidden stats, hidden. Aiden looked at Itsuki in astonishment and loudly asked, "Are you using a device to hide your stats?" "Not exactly," Itsuki replied. He pondered and said, "I see, no wonder Nento, Izumi wanted that device." Aiden stepped closer to Itsuki. "Your master is very calculating. He always demands something in return. He only told me to escort you. I haven't heard about any reward." He was surprised when Itsuki continued. "He contacted me, saying that in exchange for escorting me, I must give you a certain device." "Your master said that?" Aiden asked. "Fine, whether or not there's a device, I'll still keep you safe." But Aiden immediately stopped him and curiously asked, "No, I've got plenty. Giving you one is no trouble. I'm just curious why he insisted on that junk." Itsuki asked in surprise, "Junk?" Aiden recalled the device's creation, excited. At first it was a masterpiece made to push an awakens attack power to the absolute limit, the unique critical gem. On crit, attack power doubles. Crit chance 99%. Unique effect. The user's attacks always trigger critical hits. Aiden was startled when the device suddenly showed a crack. Out of nowhere, a fracture appeared. He pulled the device out and explained further. Its rank became undefined, and a mysterious effect was added, the glitched critical gem. Rank undefined. Effect: attack power multiplied by 10 on a crit. Crit chance 0%, but gains 1% each time an enemy with higher attack power than the user is defeated. Glitch effect: crit chance resets to 0 whenever the user levels up, so the crit chance you've painstakingly built returns to 0 on level up. "It's completely useless for a normal awakened," he said. "Exactly, that's why I refused when he asked for this junk. But looking at your stats, I understand why." Itsuki held the device in his hand. He studied the device in his hand intently as Aiden continued, "You're pretty special. I don't know how you got stronger, but since you don't level up, this device suits you well." Power from the device exploded around Itsuki, but it surged so violently he couldn't help screaming, veins popping across his face. As you keep defeating spirit beasts, your crit chance will gradually reach 100%, and in the future your attacks will be multiplied by tenfold on crit. World-ending Iron Fist, equipment, critical gem, crit chance, 0%. When the power died down, Itsuki returned to normal and pondered strategy. The crit chance only rises when I defeat enemies with higher attack stats. That's tricky. I'll come up with a plan after we survive this sweep. Glitched critical gem, rank, undefined effect. Attack power multiplied by 10 on crit chance. 0%, gains 1% each time an enemy with higher attack than the user is defeated. Glitch, crit chance resets to 0 whenever the user levels up. Aiden looked at him seriously. Seems it's been calibrated correctly. It really fits you. Honestly, I've struggled with low attack power. This would help a lot. Thanks, Aiden. He turned and walked away, waving a hand. I make devices and people use them to fight calamity spirit beasts. We're both working for humanity's survival. No need to thank me. Unless someone already knew my location, there's no way beasties would attack such a remote place. For now, rest. But he hadn't gone far when a deafening noise erupted behind Aiden, making him jump. A colossal meteor hurtled straight toward the forest where they were sheltering. It created a terrifying pressure wave that made everyone shield their faces and retreat. Iberia immediately ran out, panicked and shouted, "What is that? What's happening?" He went pale, unable to believe his eyes. A barrier. A barrier had appeared before them. Why is there a barrier here? Aiden pondered. Only the supreme commanders of the 5 continents would know his location. Was the falling monolith random? Or Bokudo instantly went on high alert, spreading his arms to shield everyone. Back up. The spirit beasts are coming. They're heading this way. Itsuki stared at the barrier with cold eyes. I can sense something approaching at an incredible speed. From afar came the thunder of spirit beast footsteps, 6 of them. They charged at terrifying speed, no 8. As they arrived, the beasts leapt forward to attack. Demon Venom Jackal, 3088, Demon Speed Jackal, level 14, they're here. But in an instant, he parried a beast's strike with a chilly glare. Itsuki immediately drove his blade through the beast, blood spraying, activating the black ice barrier. The beast fell instantly, but the others kept charging and attacking. He nimbly dodged the beast's attacks. For enemies of this level, no matter how many there are, I can wipe them out instantly with Lotus Rampage. Across the way, Bokudo kept fighting tirelessly against the pack. Yusuke can withstand the shock from Lotus Rampage, but Itsuki glanced at the wooden house behind them, worry rising. Aiden and Iberia are hiding just inside. If I use Lotus Rampage carelessly, those 2 could be caught in the blast. Then he burst forward like a lightning bolt, charging straight through the beasts in front. In a moment they were all down. Maybe I'm really just a solo player at heart. Suddenly Itsuki looked deeper into the woods, on high alert, another mana fluctuation, and this one was stronger than the previous beasts. Higher-level spirit beasts were closing in. Guardian Fang Beast 815, Demon Speed Fang level 24. A hellscape opened up, lava roiling, monsters writhing in the blazing abyss. The Demon Lord sat aloft, his shadow and authority blanketing the space. We've teleported the vanguard, low-level slaves, into the human world. Which of the 8 Demon Lords should lead the main force? A cold voice echoed through the void. Thanks to the eye I left when I descended to the human world last time, I've sensed the presence of someone important. Captured. Another demon lord, face grotesque with 9 eyes. Yes, 9 terrifying. One of the 8 great demon lords, Enma-Raku-Yama. Should we assign one of the 8 demon lords to handle it? The demon lord on high coldly ordered it, and Enma-Raku immediately knelt to accept the command. A demon lord level being might even destroy the eye I left. I'll assign this to a demon general, obedient. Then he continued, his terrifying gaze sweeping around, and I'll give full command of the main force to Enshokuma, the voracious beast. A giant voracious beast appeared, stone eaters, they usually eat rocks. It's been ages since it tasted fresh human flesh. I'm sure it's about to starve to death. A scream made Itsuki start. The voice was Iberia's. A spirit beast has broken into the house. A monster lunged at him. Itsuki quickly put both hands up. The system appeared. Twin-Fanged Guardian Beast 815, Demon-Fanged Clan level 24. He frowned and thought to himself, if it's come to this, I have to use that move. The demon swung at Itsuki. He ducked low, raised a hand to form an energy sphere and thought, its attack power is probably higher than mine, so if I beat it I can raise my crit rate. The system reappeared. Glitched critical gem, rank, undefined, effect, attack power multiplied by 10 on crit. Crit chance, 0%, gains 1% each time an enemy with higher attack than the user is defeated. Glitch, crit chance resets to 0 whenever the user levels up. A streak of purple-black light shot straight into the sky, activating the piercing orb. System notice, crit chance plus 1%. Itsuki clenched his fist, thinking, it really did increase, just as I thought. A monster slowly materialized behind him. A notification popped up. Glitched critical gem crit chance 1%. Itsuki shouted, Yusuke, I'll take care of the beast that broke into the house, leave the rest to you. And he slashed hard toward the monster. Leave it to me. Itsuki sprinted straight for the wooden house. He shoved the door open with force. Inside, Iberia, covered in wounds, leaned against the wall gasping. Useless. Without the dragon armor, I can't win. A claw swiped straight at him. Iberia muttered, if it's come to this. The monster thrust its claw at him. Iberia screamed and cried out, Itsuki, save me. But the one who appeared was Aiden. He slammed his hammer into the monster's head. Iberia stared at him in surprise, thinking the old man was a non-combat vocation, yet he's not afraid of spirit beasts. Aiden hoisted the hammer on his shoulder and said to the monster, you're tough, aren't you? The monster angrily spun around to face Aiden. He stood calmly, waiting for the monster's strike. I'll leave the rest to you. He called Tenma, and at that moment, Itsuki appeared just before the demon's attack could hit Aiden. Itsuki grabbed the monster's wrist. The system appeared. Activated black ice strike. A long blade formed from Itsuki's hand, and he quickly drove it through the monster's body. Itsuki stood up and said to Aiden, sorry I'm late, took a bit to deal with the ones outside. He calmly asked, how's the situation out there? Itsuki looked up and sensed silently that there were no more mana fluctuations outside, then replied, I think Yusuke already cleared out the spirit beasts. Aiden and Iberia stepped outside. He stared at the monsters strewn across the ground and exclaimed in surprise, Yusuke did all that by himself. Yusuke looked up, scanned, and warned everyone not to be complacent. Unless we destroy that barrier, spirit beasts will keep spawning endlessly from inside, and over time they'll only grow stronger. He turned to Itsuki and said, I'm going to destroy that barrier and clear as many spirit beasts along the way as I can, but if any slip through, you'll die. Itsuki's face darkened as he snapped back angrily, no, I'll be the one inside the barrier dealing with the spirit beasts. Yusuke, stay here to protect Aiden and Iberia. Aiden watched, secretly astonished, that look, not a shred of fear, just a burning hunger to fight. He spoke up, we'll assign the barrier demolition to Tenma. Yusuke queried, if it's a level 6 barrier, the beasts inside will be at least level 25. Are you sure you can handle this? Itsuki, wrapped in a faint white mana, affirmed, I'm sure. Then he dashed off, a flash and Itsuki's figure vanished. Itsuki thought, finally I can fight to my heart's content. Iberia shouted from behind, if Itsuki goes, I'm going too. Fine, Yusuke, watch my old man, Aiden ordered coldly, and you don't come along. Iberia immediately protested. Why, we're a team, Aiden explained. Cut the team act, it's ridiculous. You and Tenma live in completely different worlds. Iberia yelled, we've come so far together. What do you mean different worlds? Aiden snapped back loudly. A team supports each other and covers each other's weaknesses. He declared sternly, but what help can you offer? You're a liability if this keeps up. Aiden continued, making Iberia freeze in fear. You'll get Tenma killed. He strode past Iberia and added, and of course I'm not just talking about you, Tenma is special. No one this generation stands on the same level as him. He said coldly, have you seen the look in his eyes when he faces a spirit beast? That look, it's pure hatred. On Itsuki's side, the system popped up. Mana sensing detected 5 enemy units, recover 50% of users' mana. Itsuki smirked inwardly. 5 beasts must have just crawled out of the barrier, thanks, my mana's fully restored. A beast lunged out and blocked Itsuki's path. He didn't flinch, charging forward he shouted, out of my way. An explosion erupted, smoke and flames billowing. The system notified. Lotus Rampage activated, defeated 5 enemies with Lotus Rampage, total skill scale plus 5%, now plus 1106%, crit chance 1%, glitched critical gem crit chance 2%. Itsuki continued cloaking himself in mana as he ran, thinking the twin-fanged guardian's defense was absurdly high. It took 80% of my mana to kill it with Lotus Rampage, but I won't let any of them touch Iberia or the other. Iberia saw the explosion in the distance. Yusuke quickly stood before him, blocking the shockwave and shouting in astonishment, where did that explosion come from? Iberia replied loudly, that's Itsuki's skill. He must have encountered spirit beasts in the forest. Yusuke frowned, pondering. An explosion of that scale isn't something a mere level 0 can cast. Could Tenma's inability to level up be due to a bad effect from his talent? Itsuki stood before a blue barrier and thought, so this is a level 6 barrier. These spirit beasts are at a completely different tier from what I've faced before. System notice, mana sensing activated. Itsuki muttered, I didn't expect mana sensing to be blocked. I can't measure the number or strength of the spirit beasts inside. He remembered, all right, Master said you can guess the beasts inside a barrier by its color. Dark Shadow Barrier, beast level 125. Green Barrier, beast level 2650. blue barrier, beast level 5175, purple barrier, beast level 76+, pink barrier, beast level 101+. Since it's green, the beasts are level 2650. Itsuki looked at the mark on his hand and murmured, if I kill them all, that's going to drop a ton of XP. He raised his hand, petals of light fell to the ground, system popped up, summon familiar Death Hound. The black dog howled long, an info panel appeared. Death Hound B rank level 16 0% skill. Death Aura C rank detects all mana traces in the area to locate and track the source. Death Lust B rank greatly reduces respawn time after the familiar dies. ATK 250, SPD 250, Def 150, Mana 150. Itsuki petted it and said, I'll give you all of that XP. He continued forward with it, but until I say otherwise, don't you dare touch them. He declared coldly, all the spirit beasts here are my prey. At a garden prophetic day 1, 11:30 p.m., a girl announced, Dad, the escort awakened have arrived. A green-haired man with a long scar bowed. Lord Izumi, from this moment first rank savior Kei Kairajima, will be your bodyguard. He is a level 63 elemental wind mage, first rank savior Kei Kairajima. The man replied at once, thanks for coming. The girl asked, besides him, 5 third-rank saviors and 3 second-rank saviors have arrived. Isn't Akira Heighton here yet? He answered, I've assigned him to guard the surrounding area. The girl pushed the info glass. When we talked on the phone 6 hours ago, he said he was on his way. But when I tried calling back 1 and 3 hours later, I couldn't reach him. She continued, huge stone tablets have been falling across the northern province since 8 p.m. Maybe he ran into trouble on the way. The man with a lantern on his head is Nento Izumi, he replied. A normal spirit beast wouldn't threaten him. After all, he's one of the 6 pillars of the special rank savior. He said, try to contact him. Only special rank saviors can handle the spirit beasts appearing here. The girl immediately replied, I understand. Kei suddenly spoke up, aren't you overrating the special rank saviors? No matter how strong Wagen Tae and Akira Heighton are, they're still human. He boasted arrogantly, I don't believe there's such a huge gap between them and first rank people like us. We might struggle a bit, but there's no way we can't take down the same spirit beast they can. Nento said, confidence is good, but if you think you can stand on equal footing with a special rank. He continued, perhaps you've never fought a truly powerful spirit beast. Suddenly, a giant fireball appeared in the sky. Kei immediately gripped his sword and shouted, it's a stone pillar. A spirit beast is coming. Nento rose calmly, finally it's here. The girl shouted, useless, you're no match for height. Kei arrogantly replied, if even a special rank can't handle it, then they're not worth relying on. Don't worry, we'll wipe them out. He frowned, thinking to himself, now I'll prove that a first rank is just as strong as a special rank. Back near Itsuki, the green barrier glowed ever bright. He and the Death Hound entered. Itsuki walked and scanned around. The inside of the barrier looked much like the outside. He looked into the distance and thought, but there's an aura here that makes me uneasy. System notice, mana sensing activated. Itsuki pondered that he could sense mana fluctuations inside the barrier from here, but as expected he couldn't grasp the situation outside. The inside and outside of the barrier seemed to be separate spaces. The system popped up again. Mana sensing detected 5 enemy units, recover 50% mana. Itsuki thought, all right, I've roughly located the 5 enemies just detected. He ordered the Death Hound, stay here. If you see any spirit beast try to run, you can eat them. It immediately sat obedient. Itsuki praised, good boy. A notification appeared. Lightning blast activated. Lightning shock I. He smirked and shouted, time for me to move. At that moment, 2 monsters came rushing madly toward him. A bolt of blue lightning struck straight at them. Itsuki materialized and quickly wiped out the monsters. A notification read, black barrier activated, black ice barrier. Another lightning bolt pierced through another monster's body. The lightning kept cleaving the monsters' bodies apart. Itsuki lunged straight at the huge monster, barring its claws. He jumped high and formed a dark purple-black orb in his hand. System notice, activate orb spear. Piercing orb, the orb was launched and flew straight through the monster. He landed, a notification appeared. Crit rate plus 1%, critical gem malfunction. Crit rate 3%. Itsuki thought my crit rate went up again, now 3%. He ran toward the light pillar in the center while musing that statistically, there are about 3 crits per 100 hits. Maybe I'll see my first crit soon, even though this is the first time I've seen a stone pillar like this. He calculated silently, if I break the stone pillar, the barrier will vanish, right? 1 strike should do it. The system suddenly appeared, detected 1 enemy unit, recover 10% mana. Itsuki froze at once, there's still 1 more. He halted and a bolt of lightning immediately wrapped around. Black tendrils struck straight toward Itsuki. 1 plunged directly down. He quickly twisted his body to dodge. Itsuki thought, if I hadn't sensed the mana fluctuation and been on guard earlier, I'd have been impaled just now. He glanced toward the distant light pillar and realized silently that it had been hiding behind the stone pillar all along. This is. A vague silhouette emerged. Itsuki assessed silently that it was a different kind of spirit beast from the ones earlier, outside the green barrier. Iberia gaped, still reeling from the explosion. Yusuke advised, even if Tenma can't stop all the spirit beasts, it's dangerous outside, wait inside. He asked sadly, Yusuke, will I really end up getting Itsuki killed one day? Yusuke replied at once, you're exaggerating. Master says that, don't worry too much. Iberia hesitated, but on reflection I feel like I'm just a burden. He looked toward the barrier and said, beasts in a green barrier are level 2050. Are you confident you can beat a level 26 spirit beast? Iberia sadly bowed his head and answered, I don't think so, probably not. Yusuke patted his shoulder and said, don't be down, I'm not saying you're weak. When I was your age, I didn't even have the nerve to enter a green barrier and fight spirit beasts. Iberia exclaimed in surprise, even you. Yusuke explained that the difference between beasts in a dark barrier and a green barrier isn't just level. Iberia asked what else. Yusuke said, the beasts inside a dark barrier have no intelligence. They're just creatures repeating endless loops of slaughter and destruction. He remembered a giant tiger and said, they're strong, but with a plan you have many ways to kill them. However, inside a green barrier, like us humans, there can exist intelligent spirit beasts. Inside the barrier, a monster slowly approached Itsuki and spoke coldly. Did I miss? It seems he has a sensing type skill. System. 4 Directions General 336, level 34. Yusuke said over there that among Tenma's generation, only a few can stand against beasts of that level. Itsuki scowled and muttered, just as I thought. The beasts in this barrier are different from the ones I've faced. Yusuke explained, so the reason your Tenma's burden isn't because you haven't matured. It's simply that he's too strong. Itsuki said coldly, it read my skill in seconds, and what's more, it speaks human language. At last I meet you, the intelligent spirit beast I heard about. The monster snorted, what nonsense are you spouting? Are you begging for mercy? It looked at Itsuki and sneered, I thought you were strong, but you're just a level 0. A coward who trembles at the sight of me. He smiled and challenged, I'm just excited. I want to ask your species something I've wondered for ages. Since you can speak, why not answer me? It stepped forward and replied, fine, if it's your final wish, I'll grant it. Flames erupted from Itsuki's body, his eyes glowing red, and he shouted, do you feel pain? Hearing the challenge, the 4 Directions General laughed derisively. A mere human dares to make me suffer. Don't be arrogant. He declared loudly, inflicting pain is our exclusive privilege. Then the 4 Directions General launched knife-sharp tentacles that swept everything they touched. Meanwhile, Itsuki was trying to close the distance to it. Quick as lightning, he struck a surprise blow that pushed the 4 Directions General back. Itsuki wondered to himself, is it down? No, its mana is surging even more. He keenly noticed that its tentacles had also become faster. However, Itsuki believed that when it comes to speed, he still has the advantage. While he was distracted, it silently extended a tentacle behind Itsuki for a sneak attack. Luckily, he dodged in time, cursing inwardly. Damn, my strength is too weak. I couldn't even chop its head off, and my hits barely dealt any damage. The 4 Directions General was quite surprised. At this level, you shouldn't be this fast. What's your real level? Still, he sneered, whatever. No matter how fast you are, to me you're just an insect. As he attacked, he kept taunting. Even if you strike me 100 times with all your strength, it won't even scratch me. But if you take one hit from me, you'll die. Contrasting his nonchalance, Itsuki was dodging attack after attack. Tentacles attacked from many directions, from behind. If he blocked one, he'd get hit from the flank. Eventually, he couldn't hold up and was knocked down hard. Itsuki was pressed with a tentacle against the base of a tree. Even so, he broke free and taunted, if you can do it, then try. The 4 Directions General immediately realized, that state was just a speed boost skill of yours, right? Let's see how long before your mana runs out. After observing, it judged silently that those tentacles weren't a skill, but part of its body, which is why hypersimulation didn't activate. He sighed inwardly, how many hits was that just now? Hit number 18, or 19. He sneered, useless. Itsuki's mana is now only 97 out of 330. Itsuki was hanging by a thread. He'd been spamming skills, mana was nearly drained and his stamina worn, and if this kept up his speed would drop, so he'd pour everything into offense. So he calculated silently, increase attack frequency, just land 1 crit and I'll win. Immediately he triggered, critical gem error, rank undefined effect. Crit attacks deal x10 attack power, crit rate 0%, will gain 1% when defeating an enemy with higher attack power than the user, error effect. Crit rate resets to 0 whenever the user levels up. He told himself, more attacks, keep swinging until I land a crit. Then Itsuki tried to exploit an opening to strike the Four Directions general direct. It immediately retaliated, with a tentacle impaled into his gut. Besides, the Four Directions general mocked, charging at me like that nonstop. You're a real idiot. He taunted further, what's the matter? Didn't you say you wanted to make me suffer? Seeing Itsuki still moving, the Four Directions general praised, still alive. Seems your defense stat is pretty high. It seemed like a trap he'd set, finally here. Then the system popped up. Notice from critical gem error, your next attack will be a critical. Sure enough, Itsuki's punch hit with a totally different force. A horrible scream tore from its throat. A single blow sent the Four Directions general flying. It couldn't believe it. What just happened? Why did you suddenly hit so hard? He was just as surprised. It was stronger than he'd expected. Not only that, after the crit, a rush of emotions surged from deep in his chest. Satisfaction, focus, contentment. He'd never felt like this before. Also, despite blood pouring from his belly, he felt no pain at all. More than that, Itsuki actually felt comfortable. Only then did he ask the Four Directions general, did you feel pain from that hit? It couldn't accept it. What's wrong with this guy? Aren't humans supposed to be weak and fragile? Clearly it's above level 40, faking stats is cheating. Hey, what are you doing? This time Itsuki taunted. Spirit beasts have never had any intelligence, so even when they die they rarely scream. He grinned oddly, but a scream from a beast that can feel pain would surely be music to his ear. The Four Directions general screamed in terror, impossible, are you trying to crush my head? You're not human. After finishing it, his crit rate immediately increased by 1%. Itsuki breathed a sigh of relief, finally done. Critical gem error, crit rate has risen to 4%. Suddenly he felt strange. As the danger passed, the special feeling faded, and the pain from his wound began to take over. At the same time, the barrier turned transparent, meaning no spirit beasts remained inside. Itsuki thought to himself, if I smash this, only the stone pillar will be left. He then decisively threw a punch softer than he'd expected. After a while, Itsuki grew weary and flopped down. He told himself that before returning, he needed to check one thing. Then Itsuki mumbled a call, too. Instantly, as soon as he finished speaking, a monster appeared. Itsuki gaped in amazement. You're bigger than before, aren't you? He was even more surprised, and Itsuki's mind jolted. You've leveled up 3 times and gained 150 points. Details: Deathhound B rank level 19, 14.8%. Death Aura skill C rank. Detects all magical traces in the area, locates and traces their origin. Death Desire B rank. Greatly shortens revival time after awakening from spirit death. Stats: attack 250, speed 250, defense 150, mana 150, points 150, unallocated. His mood brightened noticeably, so when you level up your body gets bigger too. I'm not imagining things then. Itsuki wondered privately, if you gain dozens more levels, how huge will you get? Can't wait. Cut to the Izumi mansion, night of the first prophecy, 11:35 p.m. Night blanketed the forest and a dense, dark aura hung in the air. Iberia pointed at the sky, astonished, and told Yasuke, the barrier, it's gone. Itsuki actually did it. Yasuke watched the shifting atmosphere in thoughtful silence. He'd shattered that silver barrier in about 10 minutes. Maybe there were no monsters inside smart enough to resist, but still, that speed was unbelievable. At least now Itsuki was far stronger than him. Back on Itsuki, he slumped against the cliff, breath fading. After a long journey and consecutive battles, his body was nearly drained. He'd lost so much blood he'd truly hit his limit. Despite his severe wounds, Itsuki clung to his familiar's shoulder. Spirit, can you track traces of mana? Follow my mana flow and take me back to Iberia. The loyal black wolf let out a thunderous growl, then streaked through the dense forest under the silent night. At the same time, Yasuke froze, alert, when a howl echoed over. The roar of a calamity beast, but the barrier was supposed to be gone. Why? Sensing approaching danger, Yasuke shouted to protect his allies. Iberia, get back to your room now. Iberia stood motionless, worry etched on his face. He murmured, this roar, I feel like I've heard it somewhere before. From the deep shadows, a gigantic dark silhouette with razor claws lunged forward at terrifying speed. Yasuke drew his greatsword, a killing intent filling the dark. It's getting closer. I don't know where it came from, but if it's a calamity beast, I'll chop it to pieces. A clash erupted. Yasuke swung his sword hard at the charging monster. Iberia blurted out in shock. That's the wolf Itsuki turned into a familiar the other day. Seeing Yasuke about to deliver the finishing blow, he shouted to stop him. Wait, Yasuke, that's Itsuki's familiar. The blade tore the air, narrowly missing the black wolf as it lunged. Yasuke halted, stunned, and looked down at Itsuki's unconscious body lying right beside the creature, his own familiar. Yasuke began to think more deeply about the oddities of this young man. Only someone who commands familiars could control them, right? His combat power far surpassed peers, at a level that never seemed to increase, and he even possessed skills from multiple vocations. Iberia rushed over, tears welling. Are you okay? Seeing the pool of blood on the ground, Iberia panicked and lifted his friend's head. What happened? There's so much blood, Itsuki. Itsuki barely moved his lips, voice weak as a breath. Let me rest for a bit. Itsuki's eyes closed and Iberia collapsed in despair. He sobbed loudly. What are we going to do? Itsuki boohoo. Yasuke checked Itsuki's condition, then coldly but reassuringly said, he's not dead, so there's no need to wail like that. Iberia stopped crying and looked up at Yasuke with hopeful eyes. Yasuke, is he really still alive? Yasuke pointed at Itsuki's faintly rising chest. Look, he's still breathing normally. Iberia, you have Kodama bandages, right? These wounds need treatment immediately. Iberia replied, yes, I'll handle it. In the quiet room, Itsuki lay motionless with bandages wrapped around his abdomen. Iberia silently resolved, I may never catch up to Itsuki in combat strength, but there's something only I can do. He remembered the nature of his magic. His vocation was Wind Mage, the one who controls air and currents. It's a versatile class, capable of both combat and support. But the stat panel revealed his special aptitude, Tier 2 focused healing. Wind attack damage is halved, but wind healing skill recovery speed is boosted by 50%. A low-ranked Tier 2 aptitude can only heal oneself or allies. Iberia stared at his hands, eyes blazing. I used to hate this, so I never used it even once. But for Itsuki, I'll spam it as much as I want. Green mana exploded around Iberia. System notice. Activated rank C skill, healing window. A warm light enveloped Itsuki. Iberia silently prayed. Get well soon, for our duo's sake, Itsuki. Meanwhile, near the mansion, 11:35, a giant purple barrier deployed from the fallen stone steel. A massive strike hit, shattering all defenses. Kairajima lay collapsed in gray smoke. Ageha only managed a desperate scream. Kairajima. Ageha hurriedly cast healing magic on Kairajima and urged, I'll heal you right away. What's the situation outside? Kairajima rasped weakly. Run. Kairajima's face twisted in terror at the giant dark silhouette behind. Size, defense, strength, speed, all on another level. Even an elite savior couldn't stand against it. Humanity had no way to beat such a monster. An imposing entity appeared. Battlefield Unit 14, Oxen Warrior Tribe, level 81. In the desperate moment, Nento arrived, standing to shield them. Kairajima shouted, Ageha, run. The monster growled at the new opponent. That strange outfit, you're Izumi Nento, aren't you? It sneered as it prepared to attack. What luck to find a target like this. So convenient, we don't even have to bother Enshokuma. Nento replied calmly, so you were really after me. How relieving. Boom, a cataclysmic clash erupted, blinding white light flooding the area. Ageha cried out in panic, Father. While Kairajima despaired, it's over, everything's over. The smoke cleared. Nento stood tall, looking at the figure who'd appeared. You're late. A man with blazing red eyes and killer intent revealed himself. Akira Heighten stepped forward to shield Nento. Sorry, leave this one to me. The monster laughed contemptuously. Haha, I don't know where you crawled out from, but you sure have a big mouth. Kairajima tried to warn in panic. Be careful, that thing is very strong. Without a word wasted, Akira Heighten focused Kai into his fist. Whoosh, an attack tore space apart. Black blood sprayed as the monster exploded. Kairajima's eyes widened, utterly stunned by the horrific sight. Looking at the back of the one who'd struck, he exclaimed, so this is the power of an elite savior. Kairajima trembled as he realized the truth. I thought elites were still human, but this is no longer human. A monster with power beyond reason. Ageha rejoiced, we did it. We've overcome the crisis, right? Akira Heighten replied coldly. No, this is when everything truly begins. Instantly, the sky turned ominous. First prophecy night, 11:40 p.m. The barrier near Izumi Nento's mansion shifted from purple to red. A gigantic furred creature appeared in the flames inside the red barrier. How will Enshokuma torment humanity now? A demon with flaming hair laughed maniacally. I really want to see that spectacle happen right here. He was the Fireflint Demon Lord, level 37. A pale white monster roared from behind. He added, you agree with me, don't you? The other was the White Demon, level 49. A masked figure of authority ordered, don't do anything unnecessary. Our mission is to capture that one. If you fail, you know the consequences, right? The powerful leader revealed himself. Bone Cold General, Lord Muck, level 87. The fire demon asked in confusion, why were we sent into the same barrier as Enshokuma instead of the target? Lord Muck calmly explained, if the three of us are in the same barrier, it will turn purple and draw attention. The red barrier Enshokuma created will attract strong nearby humans. That way, we can complete Ringa's mission without interference. One of the 8 great demon kings, Enshokuma. The demon kings look toward the mansion, while Enshokuma distracts them, move straight to the destination. You know where the destination is, right? The demon king affirmed, "It's fine. Ringa will guide us via the demon eye left in the human realm." Of course he can see the demon eye's coordinates, and he can even peek at what it's seeing. And right now that demon eye is located with our target. The clock struck first prophecy night, 11:35 p.m. Itsuki lay motionless. In his subconscious, he saw himself as a child standing before his mother. "Mom, I've finally found a calamity familiar that can feel pain like we do." Young Itsuki beamed innocently. "I crushed its head. Now mother's revenge will." His mother looked at him with sad eyes. "No, Itsuki." She gently admonished, "There are things more important than revenge." Itsuki froze. Something more important than wiping out all calamity familiars. His mother smiled softly. "Power isn't for revenge, it's to protect those you love." Itsuki bowed his head. Darkness enveloped the boy. "That's impossible." He screamed in agony. "I will never forgive the calamity familiars that killed my father and mother." Young Itsuki's eyes suddenly flared red with hatred. "I will definitely wipe them all out." His mother quietly turned her face away, sorrowful at the path of hatred her son had chosen. She gave a sad smile and faded away. "It's time for me to go." "Where are you going? I still have so much to say to you." She touched his cheek lightly and gave one last plea. "Itsuki, please, don't let hatred consume you." Little Itsuki wailed, reaching his small hands into the air. "Mom." But his hands only brushed the sparks that vanished into nothingness. Itsuki's face went blank, tears streaming as he realized his mother had truly gone. Suddenly, a mocking voice echoed from the darkness in his mind, crying over the dead, typical weakling behavior. Itsuki gritted his teeth, his eyes blazing red with rage. "You bastard." He screamed in hatred at the shadow, engulfing his soul. A powerful demon appeared in a sea of blood. The demon of destruction snarled, "Finally awake, huh? Seems you only turn into a child when you're with." Itsuki tensed, killing intent bursting around his body. "You miserable rat." He charged at the enemy in the hallucination with a thunderous roar. "I'll kill you." The mysterious figure dissolved it effortlessly. He whispered menacingly, "Calm down. I'll make you feel that again soon." He struck a fatal blow to his mind. Pure, soul-sucking despair. Itsuki screamed in despair as he was flung away. "Linga, I'll kill you no matter what happens." Back in reality, Itsuki jolted awake, drenched in sweat like he'd just wrestled a hurricane. He glanced around and saw Iberia slumped on the bed, thinking to himself, was that a dream? My eyes, they're not injured, so why do they hurt like this? Saying that, Itsuki seemed to realize something. "All right, remembered. My wounds healed and I was in critical condition. Did Iberia use a Kodama bandage to heal me? He's sleeping in a place like this." "Oh right," he said he'd rest a bit. "I should make sure T-1ED doesn't bark so he can sleep." Thinking that, Itsuki turned to signal the wolf. But seeing his master awake, T-1ED barked wildly in excitement. This made Itsuki's face go dark. "Damn it," he cursed under his breath. And sure enough that woke Iberia, who, half asleep, yelled something like a familiar. "I must protect Itsuki." Itsuki groggily opened his eyes and looked at the weak breeze around him. A breeze like this won't even scare a calamity familiar. Iberia cheered overjoyed when he saw him move. "You're awake, Itsuki." He rushed over and hugged Itsuki tight, making him awkwardly think, "Thank the heavens, my healing actually worked." Still hugs me whenever excited as usual. How long was I out? Iberia released him and answered, "Not long, maybe about 3 hours." Itsuki did the math. 3 hours, so around 3:00 a.m. on Prophecy Day 2. Are Yasuke and Aiden safe? Iberia smiled brightly to reassure him. Yep, no calamity familiars showed up after that. Itsuki was still dazed, recalling the voice in the dream. "Don't rush, I'll let you feel it again soon." Even if it was only a dream, those words haunted him. It felt too real to be just a dream. Those calamity familiars are definitely plotting something. The clock read Prophecy Day 2, 3:30 a.m. Itsuki woke from the coma and stood up resolutely. "We can't let our guard down." Iberia looked at him with admiration. "Good, you look fully recovered." Itsuki hurried out the door, not forgetting to say, "Master said reinforcements will arrive soon. I'll go check on Yasuke." On the way, Iberia asked curiously about the black wolf. "Itsuki, what's that summoned dog's name? Is it just Deadhouse?" Iberia excitedly suggested, "You don't know? Summoners can name their familiars whatever they want. Want me to give it a cool name? I'm great at naming." Itsuki replied tersely, "I'm not a summoner." Iberia pouted in disappointment. "Oh, that's a shame. I really wanted to name it." Itsuki broke into a sweat, thinking, "No way I'm letting him name it." Itsuki glanced at the battle golem in the yard, judging his healed wounds. "Kodama bandages alone couldn't have healed me this fast. Looks like Iberia finally used his real power. Itsuki looked at Iberia in surprise. I thought you never used skills. Turns out you're a healer. Iberia replied awkwardly. No, I can use offensive skills too, they're just really weak. Turning to Yasuke standing beside the charred monster corpse, Itsuki asked thoughtfully, Yasuke, did any awakeners come here after I passed out? Yasuke squinted at Itsuki with a probing look. Why are you asking? Itsuki continued to explain. Master said they'd send awakeners nearby. A day has passed, they should be here by now. Before you could finish, the swordsman answered. But this place is deep in the woods. You couldn't get here that fast without Ajaha guiding you. Itsuki fell silent, eyes sharp with worry. That makes sense, but I still have a very uneasy feeling. He peered into the pitch-black forest, where a black miasma was spreading, as if something evil were drawing closer. Meanwhile, not far away, a group of trainees were barreling through the forest at top speed. A boy running breathless asked, Kobayashi, how much farther to the target? Kobayashi replied, just a few kilometers, we're nearly there. Another member, panting with excitement, said, complete this mission and I'll finally be promoted from trainee to third-rank savior. The brown-haired guy replied wearily, but honestly this place is so remote. The best blacksmith in the northern continent living out here, really. Suddenly, the pink-haired girl in the group shot into the air and shouted, stop right now. The group immediately halted, taking battle stances on the dark, murderous forest path. The brown-haired guy turned to his teammates, alert. What's wrong? Do you sense something odd? She answered. Something's coming from ahead. From the gloomy night, two towering silhouettes appeared and blocked the way. They've spotted us. The trainees drew their weapons in unison and shouted to steady themselves. Calamity familiars, prepare to fight. But the ones who appeared were demon kings wearing mocking smiles. Where are you rushing off to? Don't tell me. He closed in with terrifying red eyes and bared sharp teeth. You're heading to the same place as us, aren't you? The result of the rookies clashing with two bosses was obvious. The swordsman in the group was set ablaze by the fire demon. He sneered through clenched teeth. Who knew a single fireball would do this? Humans truly are weak creatures. Then he turned to his comrade and asked, Hey, White Demon, done yet? Nearby, White Demon's fist had already crushed another group member. His fist still bore the victim's blood. The fire demon walked over, clicking his tongue. They're as pretty as dumplings. You're truly a cruel one. Not far off, the only girl in the group, witnessing the scene, shouted, There's no barrier here recently. Where the hell did you crawl out? The fire demon grinned in response. Well, we had to travel a long way to get here. The pink-haired girl seemed to accept her fate, biting her lip and refusing to look ahead. But at that moment, the demonic general from behind spoke up to protect them. You are not to kill them. The fire demon protested. It's been ages since I had fun. Don't interfere while I'm enjoying myself. No sooner had the words left his mouth than a chill swept in. Immediately, the fire demon's body froze, leaving him stunned. The one who acted was, of course, the demonic general. If you dare ignore orders again, the punishment won't be so gentle. At that point, how could the fire demon cause trouble? He hurriedly lowered his voice and pleaded, I understand. Please lift the spell, or my body will. Before he could say more, the ice on his body slowly began to melt. The fire demon quickly flared up his flames to chase off the chill. Thought I was gonna freeze to death, he muttered. Meanwhile, the pink-haired girl dared to feel a sliver of hope, wondering, are they going to spare me? The fire demon folded his arms and added, so we're just not allowed to kill the target and the Moai's master, right? Does this woman have some special power too? The demonic general shook his head and replied, not that. I just want to test the new ability Lord Linga granted me. Hearing that, the pink-haired girl jerked back, her face turning pale. But before she could react, a plume of black smoke shot from the demonic general's palm and slammed into her body, making her scream in agony. Yet very quickly, just seconds later, her body fell into an eerie stillness. The fire demon, curious, stepped closer to inspect and asked, what now? Is she done for? The demonic general explained, she's undergoing the demonization process. Sure enough, right after that, her eyes snapped open. A fierce aura began to radiate from her. The fire demon, not quite understanding demonization, had the general clarify, humans who undergo demonization become utterly obedient to Lord Linga. In short, this woman is now one of ours. Up ahead, the demonization seemed complete. The pink-haired girl immediately knelt and begged, Lord Resentful King, please give your orders. The demonic general quickly issued several commands to her. You will hide your identity and secretly act within human society until the day Lord Linga descends. Then you will report that your team was attacked by forest familiars and that you alone survived thanks to the sacrifice of your comrades. If you understand, depart at once. After about 2 seconds of silence, the pink-haired girl seemed to snap back to her original state. She gasped in terror, and then fled the place in a frantic hurry. Watching her retreating back, the fire demon still couldn't wrap his head around it. Okay, forcing them to obey makes sense, but what's the point of recruiting someone so weak? Hearing that, the demonic general revealed part of the plan. She's not the only one. 10,000 people have been demonized, including false awakeners. When Lord Linga unites this world, they will play an important role. Now stop babbling and follow me. This mission is far more important. With that, they hurried off. Time passed to prophecy day 2:03:05 a.m. The swordsman Yasuk was explaining about the automaton before him. The Iron Man stats equal a 30-fold false awakener, so this will make up for our manpower shortage. Iberia nodded approvingly. I don't think we'd need this if Itsuki and Yasuk were here. Yasuk seemed to recall something and said, "Oh right, where did Itsuki go?" Iberia smiled and said, "He went to the forge. He said he wanted the old man to do something with the critical strike gem." Cut 2 inside the forge. Old man Aiden also asked the protagonist, "You said you landed a critical strike while fighting the familiar. What was your crit rate at that time?" The protagonist answered, "Initially it was 3%, but after I defeated that thing, it rose to 4%. Iberia admired Itsuki's luck. "You crit with only 3%, that's some serious luck." Itsuki nodded in agreement. "Yes, sometimes I think so too. After that critical hit, I couldn't handle the surge in focus. I entered a strange state where I felt omnipotent. Is that the effect of the critical strike gem?" The old blacksmith suddenly startled and hurriedly turned to ask. "A feeling that sharpens you enough to sense everything around you, and yet you can stay calm and utterly unfazed." The protagonist stroked his chin and nodded once more. "Yes, that's the feeling." Aiden paused his forging and exclaimed, "Amazing, you entered the no-self state." The no-self state happens when you're completely focused on one thing. Time perception warps, and both focus and exhilaration peak. In short, it means being in an ultra-concentrated state. Like an artist forgetting to eat because they're lost in their work, or an athlete whose body moves on instinct as if it has its own meaning during the match, or a student who loses track of time while solving a tough problem. Those are signs of no-self. When an awakener enters no-self, they're not just focused, their senses become razor-sharp. Their stats and skill effects jump to 120% of their base value. Hearing that, Itsuki was surprised. "I've never heard teachers or other awakeners talk about this. Besides, I've never seen anyone enter no-self." Aiden scolded him. "What do you think no-self is? Only a handful can do it. It requires the awakener's skill, a clear mind, and extreme luck. Missing any one of those makes entering the flow state impossible." Itsuki bowed his head slightly, stunned by how strict the conditions were. Old Aiden continued to enlighten him. "No exaggeration. Entering no-self is the line between a genius and an ordinary person. Among awakeners across the 5 continents, including Wajin-Te, none can enter no-self at will. The first time I entered no-self was 2 years after I became an awakener." 2 years is already early, but you did it just 1 month after awakening. At that moment, a sound cut through their conversation. "Wait, do you hear that?" Aiden asked. And Itsuki's face darkened. He explained, 3 entities with massive demonic energy are approaching." Old Aiden guessed, "They must be awakeners Nento Izumi sent to guard me." Contrary to that guess, Itsuki sensed something off about the energy. "No, that brutal, coarse aura, it feels more like a familiar than an awakener." Without hesitation, Itsuki ordered, "Aiden, go back to the room." He himself ran off to check, thinking as he went, "I cleared the familiars inside the barrier, and there's no sign of a new stone pillar falling nearby. Hopefully it's just my imagination." Outside, Iberia saw him step out and cheerfully called, "Itsuki, you're finally out. What's wrong? You look tense." Itsuki slowly recounted his discovery. "I felt a precise wave of demonic energy. It could be a familiar." The other 2 seemed skeptical. No stone pillar showed up nearby, so probably not. Even if an evil familiar reactivated the Iron Man, we can easily beat any ordinary familiar. However, as if to contradict him, something slammed into the Iron Man's body and knocked it across, grazing Itsuki. A deep dent appeared on its chest, instantly rendering the automaton combatant effect. Iberia shouted. The Iron Man was taken out before it could react. Itsuki and Yasuk immediately switched to combat mode. The attackers turned out to be none other than the demonic generals group. Among them, the fire demon, seeing Itsuki's party numbered only 3, arrogantly said, "Only 3 people. This will be a piece of cake." Switching to Itsuki's perspective, just looking at the 3 monstrous entities before him, he made a quick assessment. They're on a totally different tier compared to the ones inside the barrier. Especially their leader. He'd never felt such an overwhelming wave of demonic energy. Unaware of his thoughts, the demonic general ordered his 2 underlings, "I'll go kidnap the target. Leave the rest to you. Make sure you don't damage the Maai." The fire demon almost answered immediately. Voice full of confidence like this is a walk in the park. Yeah, don't worry. On this side, the group saw the three of them coordinating and panicked even more. The target is Aiden. The familiars are communicating. We won't let you get through, everyone shouted. But in the blink of an eye, the demonic general had already passed all three of them, before the group even realized. Yasuke hastily turned his head, exclaiming in shock. Since when? Itsuki was also startled by the general's speed. But there was no time to think. The group rushed toward the general to stop him. I'll stop you. No matter what, you won't get near Aiden. In response, the demonic general swung his arm. Instantly, a giant wall of ice rose up, separating the two sides. The swordsman Yasuke was a bit surprised by this ability. He tried swinging his blade at the wall, only to find the ice wall super hard. While he was off guard, the white demon also launched a punch from behind. A warning voice rang out. Yasuke, behind you. Hearing that, Yasuke snapped awake and hurriedly turned around, raising his sword in time to block the white demon's punch. However, the force still sent him flying backward. Itsuki's face grew worried when he saw that, but his opponent was the fire demon, who had already prepared to strike. You don't have time to worry about others. Saying that, he used an A-rank skill, Scarlet Flame Bullet, firing a blazing fireball toward Itsuki. Itsuki immediately activated his Black Ice Shield skill to block the attack, while ordering, Iberia, get out of here now. Iberia, knowing he couldn't help much, just hunched over and fled like a scared duck. Back to the battle, although Itsuki blocked the fireball, both his hands were charred black. The system notified, detected A-rank skill, Scarlet Flame Bullet, activating super simulation analysis progress, 1%. Seeing that message, Itsuki's face drained. His skill is A-rank. I could have dodged it with Thunder Shock III, but I was too confident in the Black Ice Shield. Up ahead, the fire demon seemed to read his thoughts and taunted. You really think that flimsy shard of ice can stop my fire? How stupid. Despite the taunt, he felt a twinge of panic. Wait a sec, did I overdo it? What if this one is a Mai? But quickly he realized Itsuki's level was just 0. So a sly smile spread across his face. Level 0 and he's only human, a lowly race. He can't be a Mai. I can burn him without hesitation. Itsuki began summoning the purple hound to aid in battle. This made the fire demon chuckle. You gonna take me on with a summoned pet, 2 against 1. Even if you summon 10 more of those vermin, you still don't stand a chance. He said that as he launched another attack. Over here, from the start, Itsuki never intended to have the purple hound fight. He turned to his friend and said, I'm trusting you to protect Aiden. Go now. At the same time, the attack detonated. However, both Itsuki and the purple hound seemed to dodge it. The fire demon watched the hound's path and speculated, that summoned spirit is heading for the target. You really think you can face me alone? To that remark, he actually felt a secret relief. This guy totally underestimates me. If I keep pretending to be weak, he won't finish me off right away. That buys me time to analyze, but I don't think I can keep playing the coward in front of a familiar any longer. Thinking that, he grinned. Right, got a problem with that. Honestly, you look pretty pathetic. Itsuki's expression was clearly full of arrogant pride as he said it. That seemed to drive the fire demon mad. The lowly human is so arrogant. I planned to toy with you a bit, but I've changed my mind. I'll turn you to ash this instant. He roared and launched an attack even fiercer than before. However, Itsuki still managed to dodge using his own speed. He noted, he's gotten bigger, but not faster. He's a long-range elementalist who relies on skill. If I can close the distance, this fight's mine. With that thought, Itsuki lunged forward at top speed. That speed made the fire demon flinch. That speed? He closed the gap in an instant. However, not enough yet, he wore a sly grin. Sure enough, just as Itsuki got close and threw a kick, it was stopped by a red shield. In that moment, Itsuki's face stiffened. The look of surprise amused the fire demon. You think I don't know my own weakness? No sooner had he spoken than he launched an attack that sent the protagonist flying back. After the collision, Itsuki hurriedly regained his stance. He reminded himself inwardly, right, my opponent is an intelligent familiar. How could I have been so careless? Up ahead, the fire demon didn't spare praise. With that speed, you're not level 0, are you? You really fooled me. From his vantage point, Itsuki was struggling to get up again. The monster sneered, still want to fight. Wouldn't it be easier to lie there and die? Coolly, Itsuki replied, because it's an A-rank skill, it really takes time to analyze. According to the system message, analysis progress is at 81%. On the second day of the prophecy, at 3:14 a.m., the demon general succeeded in infiltrating the house. He was now interrogating Aiden. Aiden Hild, I've heard you forged 3 unique artifacts, 16 epic tools, and countless rare pieces. You're the most talented artificer among humans. Before the man could say more, Aiden III interrupted, summarizing his achievements. Summarize my accomplishments like that, and you're the one trying to kill me. In response, the demon general tried to reassure the old man, "Calm down. As long as you're useful, I have no reason to dispose of you." Over here, Aiden replied with full sarcasm, "Got it. Too bad I'm not the type who likes being lectured." As he spoke, he reached for a dagger on the table, and immediately brought it up to himself, like he intended to end it all. But how could the demon general let him accomplish that so easily? Just before the dagger touched Aiden's face, his body was frozen solid. That ruined Aiden's plan, his eyes filled with veins of blood from anger. He wrapped himself in ice in an instant. This has to be at least an A-rank skill. Across from him, the demon general seemed to see through Aiden's thoughts. He coldly warned, "Give it up. Whether you live or die is my decision." Elsewhere, Iberia hid sweating bullets with worry. "At this rate, Dad's going to be kidnapped. What should I do? Should I ambush him?" While he was still agonizing over that, the purple hound summoned by Itsuki leapt in to attack the demon general. As it closed in, it jumped and opened its jaws wide to strike. Unfortunately for it, the demon general noticed quickly. In a single second, the purple hound's body was frozen midair, and then it came crashing down to the ground. After doing that, he even scolded his two cronies outside. "What are those two doing? Letting a summoned spirit get through like that?" Seeing this, Aiden felt a flicker of hope. A summoned spirit, reinforcements have arrived. Contrary to his thoughts, Iberia's face darkened with tension. He thought to himself, "If even such a strong summoned spirit can't reach him, there's no way I can beat him. I should take Itsuki's backup. If I do that, then surely." At that moment, he suddenly remembered Aiden's scolding from some day before. "You'll get Itsuki hurt." That reminder snapped him awake. Right, before coming here, Itsuki was gravely injured. If he had any strength left, he'd have come here himself instead of sending a summoned spirit. "If I go to him now, I'll only put Itsuki in more danger. I can't let that happen. I have to save Dad myself." Then, as if remembering something, his eyes popped wide like a startled cow. "That's right, the dragon armor with that thing. I'll have a chance to win. It's probably under my father's bed. Come on, Dad, I'm coming to save you." Back to the demon general's perspective. With his senses, he naturally detected Iberia's existence, but he merely sneered. Seems someone hid, but they ran instead of helping. What a coward. Over here, the old blacksmith heard that and felt somewhat relieved. "Iberia, well done. He's probably an enemy that even Itsuki and Yasu couldn't beat. Whatever you do, don't come back." Ignoring the old man's thoughts, the demon general had achieved his goal and prepared to leave. "Now I'll take you. We'll leave the cleanup to those two." Back to the fight between Itsuki and the fire demon. He used the scarlet flame bullet once more. Meanwhile, Itsuki activated his black ice shield to block the attack. "I'll use black ice shield to wrap my burned feet. That should let me move a bit." With that in mind, as the giant fireball rushed in, he activated Thunder Shock III to nimbly dodge to the side. However, the fire demon coldly said, "You dodge even with such a damaged body, stubborn fool, but your speed has dropped considerably. Let's see how long you can keep dodging." Saying that, he unleashed a combo of scarlet flame bullets, firing countless fireballs forward. The protagonist was a bit surprised when the guy used both hands to cast skills at once. The fire demon kept firing skills like a machine gun, not pausing for a single second. A storm of his skills drained the color from Itsuki's face. All the fireballs were zeroing straight in on him, making it extremely difficult for Itsuki to dodge them. He thought to himself, "Too many projectiles to track. Normally I could dodge them all, but like this." No sooner had he thought that than a fireball struck Itsuki's chest, knocking the wind out of him. Taking advantage of that, the rest of the fireballs began to swarm in, peppering the protagonist like he was a bursting sack of potatoes. In the end, his body was charred black as coal. In a hazy daze, Itsuki seemed to recall the image of his mother burning, just like back then. Opposite him, the fire demon grinned. He gathered another, more powerful fireball and fired forward. "Die, Scarlet Flame Bullet Piercer," he laughed loud. However, as if Itsuki's fate wasn't sealed yet, at the most dangerous moment, the analysis hit 100%, and a blue light burst from his body. The Scarlet Flame Bullet shot through that light and exploded behind it. The anomaly made the fire demon's face change. "What is that?" he muttered. Meanwhile, after finishing the analysis, Itsuki received several boosts. Analysis complete. Scarlet Flame Bullet. Achieved Black Ice Shield Level 3. Black Ice Shield Level 3. Active effect when activated continuously forms ice over the body's surface by consuming mana. Can block fire-type skills of A rank and below. Passive effect, defense plus 15%. When blocking fire-type A rank or lower skills, currently plus 50%. All stats plus 50%. Removes all negative effects. Heals all wounds. Seeing this notification, Itsuki felt a bit more at ease. "Just as I thought. I didn't get a new skill, it simply upgraded Black Ice Shield. My stats all rose 50%, which is equivalent to rising 4 tiers compared to a normal pseudo-awakening. No way, I don't have to fear his scarlet flame bullet anymore. Once I close the gap, I'll win. Back to the fire demon. Seeing his skills suddenly fail, he snarled. Scarlet flame bullet didn't even scratch you. Is that a defensive skill or what? Either way, you can't maintain it long in that state. At once, the lotus-shaped light surrounding Itsuki slowly unfolded. The fire demon chuckled coldly at that sight. Knew it, enough playing around. Time to finish this. No sooner had he spoken than his expression flipped 180 degrees, and sweat poured from him. Because at that moment, Itsuki's body had fully recovered with not a single wound left. The fire demon could hardly believe his eyes. What the? Your body was a wreck a moment ago, and now it's completely healed. In reply, Itsuki said in a cold voice, I plan to ignore you and go save Aiden. But your flames brought back some ugly memories, so I changed my mind. I'll crush you first. When he said that, Itsuki's face was filled with murderous intent. Cut to Yasuke's battle. Right now, his body was also sent flying by the white demon. He's too strong. If I hadn't blocked that hit with a tool, I'd have been dead ages ago. Thinking that, he jammed his sword into the ground to stop himself from sliding farther away. After regaining his stance, he thought to himself, how far was I blown? None of these guys are normal. I need to get back fast. At that moment, a powerful figure suddenly landed right in front of him. Yasuke narrowed his eyes and surveyed ahead. The guys who followed me all the way here. Even better. This will make handling Itsuki a lot easier. Itsuki can sneak away on his own, but the real problem is the master and Iberia. I'll stay and untangle this mess as fast as I can, then come back to help. Please hang on until then, he prayed inwardly. Cut to Iberia's location. He was still searching for the dragon armor. I think it's around here. He reached his hand under the bed to search. Quickly, Iberia's hand touched a box. His eyes popped wide with joy. He opened it and sure enough inside was a suit of armor. Found it. Dragon armor. With this I can fight. Information about the armor flashed before Iberia. Attack plus 100, speed plus 100, epic effect. Every 1 minute equipped increases speed and attack by 20%, up to 15 minutes. No time to overthink it. Iberia immediately donned the armor and promised himself, Itsuki, focus on your opponent. This time I won't be a burden. Father warned me that wearing it over 15 minutes brings a terrible side effect. I can save Dad within those 15 minutes, no matter what. With that, he dashed out like a race car. Back to the demon general. He was carrying Aiden away, while Aiden tried to talk to him to glean information. Is it really wise to relax like this? They'll catch up soon. In response, the demon general was supremely confident in his strength. Among humans, only a supreme savior could threaten me. But he's currently busy with the demon king. His words made the old man realize something. If even the demon king has been dispatched, they must have other targets. Should I bait him to speak? Acting on the thought, the old man said, You went through all this trouble just to capture me. The demon general almost laughed. Don't flatter yourself. You're not the only target. We have many others. From that remark, Aiden confirmed his suspicion and pressed on. Then you also intend to. Before he could finish, the demon general turned as if he'd noticed something and muttered, Annoying, these pests. At that moment, he began to spot Iberia, moving swiftly behind the bushes. Of course, old Aiden couldn't know that. He only wondered inwardly, is it Yasuke or Itsuki? If it's just one of them, there's almost no chance to win. No sooner had he thought that than Iberia leapt forward to attack him. He shouted, Give my father back. A cold light appeared in the demon general's eyes. After a momentary pause, he said, Another brat, what the hell are they doing? Return to Itsuki's battle. The fire demon still couldn't get over his shock at seeing the protagonist heal as if nothing had happened, despite his body having been charred black. How on earth can you heal to this degree? Fine, heal as many times as you want. The outcome won't change. Scarlet flame bullet, rapid fire. He shouted and unleashed a downpour of skills aimed straight at Itsuki. Our protagonist raised black ice shield to block the blows. Thus, a rain of skills slammed into the ground. The fire demon, seeing his attack hit, sneered, You dare face me head-on without dodging. Foolish. I'll turn you into a lump of coal right here. Too bad for him. When the flames cleared, Itsuki appeared with not a scratch on him. Flames at this level won't work on me anymore. You're the fish on the chopping block. With that, he activated Thunder Shock 3, darting forward like a lightning bolt and closing on the fire demon within a second, making him tremble. Still, he tried to reassure himself. His speed's up, but I've still got a fire shield. Across from him, Itsuki grinned like a demon. First, I'll peel your scales. I'll strip them off one by one. After saying that, he thrust both hands forward. Of course, the fire demon used his fire shield in time to block the skill. This guy, did he forget I have a shield? The monster wondered. However, the current shield couldn't withstand Itsuki's attack any longer. his hand punched through the shield and shattered it into who knows how many pieces. He laughed as if he'd gone mad. "Time to cook," Itsuki yelled again. The fire demon realized he couldn't beat Itsuki and thought about fleeing. "I gotta run. If he catches me, I'm toast." With no time to ponder, he turned and fled. But unlucky for him, he tripped over a rock and face-planted into the ground. Itsuki then slowly approached from behind. Sensing he couldn't escape, the fire demon turned and counterattacked. "Never thought someone like me would be overwhelmed by ordinary humans." Itsuki tilted his head and easily dodged the attack. The fire demon was now totally despairing. "Compared to a 0 rank, you're a monster." The protagonist focused power into his fist. System notice. Storage gem malfunction. Next attack has a 100% critical hit rate. Even the fire demon sensed the danger of this attack. He was so scared he almost wet himself. Without overthinking, Itsuki shouted, "You demon brat." Then he landed a thunder punch. The hit instantly splattered the demon's face. The fire demon's body slammed into the ground, creating a hefty explosion. In the end, his head was completely smashed to pulp. Itsuki looked at his body and said coldly, "Why did a critical hit happen right now? I wanted to mess with him more. Now I'm entering no self." It activated right after that critical hit, just like before. Could landing a critical automatically trigger no self? He glanced at the system screen and noticed his state was overclocked to 120%. Then he thought, "With my weapon and passive skills combined, my total stats have surpassed 2,000. Thinking that, he suddenly saw a green light rising from the fire demon's body. Is this the gem formed from the dead spirit beast's karma? Before Itsuki could react, the green light split into two and flew off in opposite directions. The protagonist quickly guessed, it's flying toward the forest. Is that karma seeking Yasuo? He glanced toward the other direction. Is that house the smithy? Because both the purple hound and Aiden are there. The gem should have split in two. Why is it still whole over there? As long as I don't cancel the summon, it'll be immortal as a familiar. Don't tell me Aiden already. Cut to Iberia's fight. Right now he threw a punch forward, but the general's layer of ice stopped. This made Iberia pause for a beat. He wondered, even a full-force blow amplified by the dragon armor can't pierce his defense. If one hit's not enough, I'll just keep hitting until it shatters. Across from him, the general's mocking voice rang out. What a foolish child. You still can't close the gap between our strengths. Beside them, old Aiden quickly recognized who was wearing the armor. Iberia, you idiot. I don't need your help. Take off that dragon armor at once. I warned you there's a heavy price for wearing it. If you don't remove it, I'll disown you. In reply, Iberia launched another attack and shouted, even if I'm cast aside, I'll still save father. Then he reminded himself, if Itsuki were here, he'd certainly do the same. The old smith had wanted to lecture his son a bit more, but the general immediately froze the old man's mouth. He said in a cold voice, is this what you call love? Mortals are pathetic and disgusting. I have no time to play with you. With that, he casually raised his hand and easily froze Iberia mid-lunge. Then he turned and left, issuing one final warning, know your place, brat. Aiden turned his head, trying to look at his son one last time with eyes full of tears. At this point, Iberia had been wearing the dragon armor for 3 minutes. Elsewhere, thanks to Itsuki killing that fire demon, the purple hound also got lucky. It leveled up from 19 to 20, and immediately broke free from the ice that had held it. At the same time, Itsuki ran up to the house. It leveled up again. Looks like the purple hound absorbed all that karma. Thinking that, he turned and asked, what happened to Aiden and that spirit beast? The purple hound only looked back, motioning for Itsuki to check for himself. With just a glance, his eyes widened. What the hell happened here? This terrifying wave of mana. I can't wait for Yasuke any longer. Without thinking twice, he sprinted toward the mana source at top speed. Meanwhile, the swordsman Yasuke had just successfully severed the white demon's hand, but it seemed unfazed by pain and swung back immediately, forcing Yasuke to raise his sword to block the blow. Even so, his body was still shoved backward. Seizing the moment, the severed hand of the white demon regenerated in mere seconds. Yasuke squinted, studying the situation carefully. The wound I made has already healed. A spirit beast with regeneration that fast, truly the worst match for me. Thinking that, he also felt a green aura spreading out in all directions. Is that karma? Has Itsuki already taken care of the other one? Then I guess I'll have to handle this myself. It can regenerate, but it keeps using its hands to cover its head and neck. That's definitely its weak spot. Now I can finish it off. With that thought, Yasuke swung his sword in a relentless flurry. First, I'll sever its hands. It takes at least a second to regenerate, meaning in that 1 second, its weakness is exposed. The instant he cut off both of the monster's hands, Yasuke's eyes blazed red. In a flash, he swung with all his might and cleaved straight into its body, sending the creature's head flying from its neck. Blood gushed everywhere. Finally, its massive body collapsed to the ground. Yasuke muttered to himself in annoyance. Unbelievable that a dumb spirit beast made me work this hard. I need to rendezvous with Itsuki as fast as possible. That ice-controlling spirit beast is the real problem. With that in mind, the swordsman dashed toward the smithy. Cut to the general's position. He noticed Aiden seemed to want to say something, so he stopped. Seems like you've been wanting to say something this whole time. Fine, speak. He waved to melt the ice over Aiden's mouth. The old man lowered his voice and pleaded, I'll accept any terms. Please spare my son. To that request, the general replied calmly, from this distance, I can no longer control that ice barrier. Besides, sooner or later, you'll have to obey us anyway. Anyway, I knew the moment I saw it. The armor that kid is wearing. You forged it from the Demon Dragon clan, didn't you? The Demon Dragon clan possess an incredibly tenacious life force. Even after death, part of their consciousness lingers within their flesh, blood, and scale. Those residual wills persist inside any equipment made from them. So if someone wears such gear too long, their consciousness will gradually be swallowed. Eventually, their entire body is possessed, and they become a true dragon. As if to prove the general's words. Right now, Iberia's armor had completely changed form. He had been fully consumed by the dragon armor.